Sup, my fellas. Don't forget to leave feedback, and enjoy the story. A lone figure collapses outside the disaster shelter as the demonic tide overwhelms the city. Amid swirling energy and colossal dragons, a figure awakens an extraordinary, god-level talent as the era of classes begins. Surrounded by jeering warriors, the protagonist endures scorn for being a priest. With energy surging around him, Yilin charges forward to launch a rapid counterattack. Red energy crackles around him as he warns of the deadly force behind his healing techniques. Surrounded by crackling red energy and gold chains, he announces the start of his catastrophic transformation. 8 years ago, a powerful rift tore open time and space above the city. Monsters invade the city and massacre humans as chaos engulfs the streets. The population plummeted as catastrophic losses mounted. Survivors began to name the catastrophe that changed their world. A massive demon seizes the unconscious figure as the words, "The magic tide," appear. A sudden shift in the magnetic field introduced a profession system that granted new powers to humanity. Humans can gain random talents and select various professions within the system. A figure is presented with 3 illuminated profession choices, each offering skills that can be used in the real world. The emergence of a new talent set the course for the professional's destiny. Society shifted to prioritize training and empowering professionals for survival and progress. A prestigious academy is introduced, designed to train the next generation by simulating real events through a system integrating game-like challenges of varying difficulty. An authoritative figure announces that the students have completed their studies and will now awaken their talents, marking the beginning of their journey into the copies. A figure commands the activation of a glowing magic circle, unleashing swirling energy and smoke. After years of study, the group is declared ready to become professionals. A character faces the illuminated 1001 Fire Guardian screen, steeling themselves for a life-risking mission to protect humanity. Students step forward with determination as the talent awakening ceremony begins. A determined student arrives at the academy for his long-awaited talent awakening. Awakening talent is essential for anyone aiming to become a professional. A text box explains the classification system for talents. A hierarchy of ranks, common, rare, and legendary, is introduced, highlighting the increasing level of power. A powerful rank is revealed as a figure in ornate armor stands surrounded by mystical sparks. A figure stands in radiant magical armor as their mythical rank is revealed. A proclamation announces the existence of a mythical rank talent unseen since humanity's awakening. Swordsmen and mages hold the highest demand in this world. A confident group of adventurers strides through a glowing gate, while a discouraged priest sits alone, ignored by the others. Other classes can easily clear ordinary dungeons alone with strong gear and skilled players, but priests remain dependent on teams. Even their support role can be replaced by mages or summoners in tougher challenges. Standing alone, the priest reflects on how his profession is ridiculed for only hiding behind others and providing support. Someone urgently grabs a sleeve to get Lin Ye's attention. 2 people discuss choosing a profession, with one insisting that the decision depends on discovering their talent after awakening. He responds defensively, smirking as he brushes off the comment. Mumu is formally introduced as a student at Jiang City's first professional academy while the crowd reacts with surprise. A crowd excitedly praises the appearance of the admired figure. One character pats the other's head, making her pout in annoyance. He stands quietly outdoors, resting his hand on her head as she remains silent. A fired-up crowd urges someone to take action as flames rage in the background. A figure on the rooftop insults another, calling him a freeloader and useless while others look on. One character glares forward and voices frustration about a rival's potential, while another observes silently. Mumu steps forward and forcefully warns someone not to go too far. A figure awakens a rare and powerful talent, drawing everyone's astonished attention as golden light surrounds them. A rare rank talent with a 50% amplification of strength skills is revealed, drawing excited reactions from the crowd. 2 characters walk past the shocked crowd and notice a commotion involving someone being confronted in the distance. A determined man fixates on his rival, eager to discover why he is favored by the gods. One character comforts another, urging her to ignore the others. Mumu confronts him about always ignoring other people's opinions. He confidently announces his intention to become the strongest. A lone figure stands determined as monstrous enemies surround him in the ruins. The 2 characters sprint through chaos, narrowly evading monsters attacking from behind. 2 adults rush down a ruined street toward an open shelter, one carrying a child and urging them not to be afraid. 2 people run for their lives as a furious dragon charges after them. Yilin glares ahead with fierce determination, ready to unleash his fury. A massive monster slashes forward with a devastating claw attack. One character lies unconscious on the ground while another recoils in shock from the aftermath of a violent blow. A monstrous creature seizes someone as a man urgently urges a child to run inside. Cowering in fear, the girl faces a monstrous creature about to attack. Yilin drags himself across the ground toward the smoke-filled entrance of shelter number 76. Someone urgently orders others to bring in the remaining survivors. A woman confidently extends her hand, inviting someone to join her family as another girl watches from behind. Mumu gazes outward in silence, lost in thought. 3 figures, bathed in soft light, walk hand in hand into the darkness as shattered glass shards float around them. A mysterious screen displaying the number 1128 and the name Lin Wei appears under a stormy sky as someone questions their ability to protect. Confidently holding someone's head, the character turns away and leaves, ignoring the agitated crowd. Mumu calls out to Lin Yi with a look of concern. A powerful strike sends the young man hurtling backward as hair whips through the air. Yi Lin channels powerful energy as he activates the glowing ritual circle. Yi Lin is stunned as he suddenly witnesses a cosmic phenomenon. A figure approaches a brilliant explosion of light, sensing they have reached the site of talent awakening. A hand reaches toward the radiant orb as cosmic light swirls around them. A figure releases a powerful surge of energy, launching a dramatic attack. A lone figure stands resolutely between a colossal blue dragon and a towering red dragon as their energies clash. A blinding explosion of energy overwhelms him as screeching and shattering noises fill the air. A character urgently decides to hide the newly acquired mythical rank talent after a glowing status screen announces its unprecedented appearance. A character floats amid swirling energy, activating a powerful skill that enhances and reverses all their abilities. A character activates a mana enhancement, reducing magic consumption by 10%. Yi Lin activates his conversion power, manipulating blue and red flames as the system announces that buffs and debuffs are reversed and hints at an upgrade upon reaching level 10. A dramatic announcement reveals the ability to reverse all effects on oneself and freely toggle a mythical rank talent. A confident figure stands inside a glowing barrier, questioning if enemies can ever defeat him as another casts a powerful protective spell. A forceful, glowing strike is unleashed as one fighter braces defensively. Two priests approach with glowing crosses, preparing to heal him and potentially strip away his invincibility. He realizes the secret behind hiding abilities as power surges through his fists. A hidden talent is awakened, stunning the crowd as the protagonist stands confidently. As they walk together, Mumu tries to learn more about Yi Lin's abilities, but he avoids giving her an answer. A student is mocked in front of the others for awakening a talent considered shameful. An urgent reminder is issued for a student to quickly choose a profession. A student is called forward to begin her talent awakening. Amidst the tense crowd, one character forcefully pushes another forward while urging them to be more gentle. Students who have completed their talent awakening gather at the statue to select their professions. The protagonist steps forward at the base of the grand steps, preparing to face the imposing statue. A majestic statue radiates golden light as a divine voice offers a choice of profession. He analyzes the power of reversing heaven and earth and decides to focus on overcoming his weaknesses. A hand swiftly selects the glowing card with the image of a holy figure. A prompt appears, asking the protagonist to confirm if they want to choose the priest profession. A ceremonial announcement proclaims that someone is the first student of this session to choose to become a priest. Yi Lin agrees to the priest's request with a confident smile. Golden energy swirls around the character as the profession change is confirmed. A surge of golden energy marks the completion of the profession change as the protagonist stands confidently with a massive cross-shaped staff. A game-like status window appears, revealing the protagonist's health, mana, attributes, and a unique mythical talent. The protagonist reviews detailed descriptions of new healing and mana restoration skills displayed on a magical interface. Focusing intensely, he unleashes the reversal of heaven and earth ability, as red energy crackles around him. A surge of red energy bursts from the relic as a demonic skull materializes at its center. A dangerous skill card is revealed, describing an ability that drains life energy and reduces health. He tests his skill and confirms that it reduces health rather than inflicting direct damage. Yi Lin demonstrates his devastating power, explaining that his attack bypasses all defensive armor. The speaker assesses that their attack is less powerful than a mage's but remains advantageous against foes with magic resistance. A hand inspects the ominous magic interface, analyzing the details of a corrupted spell. A demon girl demonstrates how her mana drain power can stop mages from using their strongest spells at crucial moments. He focuses intensely as he finalizes a clear strategy for the upcoming battle. A support skill meant to heal instead causes a surge of harmful magic, injuring the protagonist instead of helping him. Two armored onlookers mock the priest class choice as the resolute figure stands on the pedestal holding an ornate book. A legendary talent called Bionic Tears is awakened, signaling a pivotal change in the story. Mumu's legendary talent, Bionic Tears, is revealed, astonishing everyone around her. Rumors spread about the unmatched brilliance of the goddess and accusations against the priest seeking her favor. She looks up with a serious expression, pressing for a demonstration of the mysterious Bionic Tears ability. A commanding presence delivers a divine instruction to choose a profession. Mumu firmly declares that she chooses the mage profession. A mage is recognized for his legendary talent and potential to join the professional alliance. From a high vantage point, a figure in a red coat observes the building below, intrigued by a student who has chosen the priest profession. Yi Lin stands resolutely among the crowd, exuding an intimidating presence as ominous power emanates from the skeletal hand on his shoulder and the skull-adorned cross at his chest. An older man studies the young man's confident decision from behind the railing, intrigued by his resolve. An excited figure rushes energetically toward another, calling out. Mumu cheerfully invites the other character to enter the game instance together after choosing the mage role. Yi Lin firmly declines the offer, stating he already has his own plans. Mumu, looking anxious, demands an explanation as she confronts someone with concern. A swirling portal appears as people begin entering the newly opened Forest of Wolves instance. Students who have finished their talent awakening and profession change are instructed to form teams and prepare to enter the instance. A confident young man tries to recruit Mumu through another character, offering rewards in exchange for obedience to his commands. Yi Lin stares sharply ahead, his red eyes filled with suspicion. A defiant rejection escalates tensions as one person stands firm, supported by an ally while the group reacts with frustration. A stern man warns that teamwork is essential to survive the coming hordes of demons. A group of 4 students stands outdoors and greets the principal, who is dressed in a red cloak. A stern older man urges unity against demons, emphasizing that differences must be set aside. Yilin firmly explains that he prefers soloing instances for greater experience and rewards. An older man questions how soloing as a priest could be possible, his expression filled with disbelief. A stern older man warns someone in a cloak that dangers in the instance could lead to real death and urges them to consider switching teams for their own safety. He firmly insists on completing the solo run to level up quickly, turning down the principal's offer of help. He resolves to keep his divine talent hidden until his strength grows. An older man wonders why the cloaked figure stands with such unwavering confidence before the swirling portal. Yilin unleashes a surge of energy toward the swirling field. A warning appears, urging the player to join a team before entering the dangerous beginner's trial. With a confident, almost sinister smile and glowing red eyes, Yilin affirms his decision. A determined figure steps into the Wolf Forest instance under the full moon, beginning a new challenge. A foreboding sign warns that the Wolf Forest is a beginner-level dungeon filled with deadly wolves, urging newcomers to cooperate and avoid being surrounded. The protagonist contemplates the difficulty of entering Wolf Forest for the first time. The narrator explains that with good cooperation, casualties can be avoided and a B-grade rating is the optimal outcome. A healing spring allows professionals to recover their health during the trial, making it safer for novices but diminishing the importance of priests. Cornered by a pack of red-eyed wolves, he faces imminent danger deep within the dark forest. With a menacing glare, the protagonist warns that their enemies will die immediately. In the dark forest, he unleashes his god-level talent, determined not to settle for an ordinary rating. He sprints forward through the night, his cloak streaming behind him and a skull brooch glinting in the darkness. The protagonist resolves to enter the legendary Forbidden Land. Deep within the wolf forest, Yilin prepares to confront 3 snarling wolves in the moonlit darkness. A status window reveals the wild wolf's abilities and warns that these creatures attack in groups with bleeding effects that cause continuous damage. Wolf-like monsters lunge toward the resolute figure as he prepares to defend himself in the dark cave. A skill description panel appears, detailing the effects of the bleeding passive skill. He stands in a dramatic close-up, his confident smile hinting at a shift in control. Yilin channels a surge of overwhelming energy through his staff, unleashing a devastating attack. Descending from above, he strikes the shadowy wolf-like creature with a flaming weapon while casting healing. A figure unleashes a powerful plundering technique, engulfed by a dramatic pillar of red energy. The protagonist defeats the wild wolf with a powerful attack, earning experience points as red energy crackles around him. A massive shadowy claw slams into Yilin as he clutches the skull-shaped artifact. A powerful figure reverses a deadly attack, regaining health while standing protected behind a glowing barrier. A magic-charged hand seizes an opponent's wrist just below the cursed sword, halting their movement. Yilin unleashes a reversal technique, swinging his sword with blue energy to turn the tide of battle. A fierce magic user restrains the snarling wolf creature with glowing chains as her mana decreases. A command card is activated to immobilize a single enemy unit by clearing its mana. A magical force restrains the red-eyed wolf, easily subduing it with the confinement technique. A monstrous wolf charges across the rooftop as Yilin stands firm, raising his glowing cross in defiance. As the monstrous beast charges, Yilin braces himself and unleashes a healing technique. The wild wolf is defeated instantly by reversal damage, granting 10 experience points. He calculates that defeating all the monsters in the area will allow him to reach level 4. Unfazed, the protagonist mentally prepares to confront the final hidden boss despite their level difference. The system announces that the healing technique is ready to use again. A massive red energy attack strikes down the wild wolf, defeating it and earning 10 experience points. Yilin stands firm, declaring his readiness to face the enemy without hesitation. A status screen appears, signaling that combat mode has ended. Yilin stands beneath the starry sky, disables the reversal situation, and activates the clarity technique as energy glows around him. A magical interface appears, announcing that stats have been restored. A glowing status screen appears, announcing the character's level increase, enhanced attributes, and new skills in the forest. A hand decisively selects the option to allocate both free attribute points to intelligence on the glowing interface. He confidently assigns all his points to intelligence, aiming to maximize his healing abilities and mana regeneration. With unwavering resolve, the protagonist devises a plan to reverse the situation and deliver a decisive magical strike. A clock tower rises above the city as sunlight streams down, introducing the new setting. An authoritative man warns that this direction is off-limits during school, questioning the attempt to face the hidden boss, the level 5 Dark Descendant Wolf King. A stunned man stares in disbelief, struggling to process the unexpected turn of events. Yilin weighs the possibility that this individual's hidden talent could surpass legendary levels. One character expresses concern about Lin's chances, while another confidently proposes a bet on Lin breaking the record. 2 figures assess a candidate's performance while watching a projected screen in a large chamber, expressing doubts about her potential. 2 figures walk through the shadowy forest as one voices doubts about turning ambitious ideas into reality. A massive beast lunges forward, baring its fangs and claws in a ferocious attack. A burst of magical ice energy erupts as a powerful spell is unleashed. A wolf-like creature is hit by a powerful spear-like projectile, sending ice shards flying. A character is hurled backward as ice explodes above them. Sensing immediate danger, she turns sharply with alarmed eyes. Two wolves suddenly ambush her in the forest, forcing her to recoil in shock. Two panicked figures frantically flee as a new wave of mobs pursues them. A foot swiftly dodges as a blade thrusts upward from below. Mumu quickly moves to the front, urging the others to stay behind her as she prepares to protect them. Mumu unleashes a surge of energy as she activates her special attack. Mumu creates a glowing duplicate and releases a surge of energy with her outstretched hand. A magic user unleashes a powerful blast of icy energy from her staff, freezing the monstrous enemies. She raises her arm and announces that the area is now safe, though she still looks surprised. An older man in a red cloak delivers a critical lesson about the limits of talent without combat awareness, while a younger figure listens pensively in the background. A rabbit freezes in the grass, sensing imminent danger. A shadowy beast is knocked back as the pink-haired character stands ready for the next move. Yulin celebrates reaching level 3 and plans to defeat the remaining enemies to level up again. A loud impact shatters the tense silence of the nighttime forest. A golden-clawed hand grips his shoulder from behind just as he urgently reveals the location. He pushes aside the bushes and scans the area ahead with caution. A powerful Wolf King appears on a rock ledge, flanked by a pack as its status and abilities are revealed. The Wolf King is introduced as a ruthless ruler who commands the wolves of the forest to hunt and destroy any intruders. The monstrous Wolf King ambushes two terrified students, turning the area into forbidden ground after countless challengers have suffered or died. Hidden behind a tree, the observer watches as a pack of wild wolves gathers protectively around the Wolf King on the cliff. Animals sometimes leave their usual spots to find more convenient places. A wolf prowls cautiously through the forest at dusk, delaying its return to the lair. The enemy often leaves in small groups, creating chances to pick them off individually. Radiating intense energy, the man looms over the terrified beast, completely overpowering it. A shadowy figure defeats the wild wolf with a surge of red energy, earning experience points. Yulin formulates a plan to defeat the Wolf King by using lesser enemies to rapidly increase his experience. A hand seizes the sword as red energy surges around it. A cursed axe surges with red energy beneath the full moon, signaling imminent danger in the forest. After defeating the wolves, a system notification announces that his level has increased to 4. A monstrous creature releases a devastating energy blast. Yulin taunts his opponent as he brandishes a flaming sword crackling with sinister red energy. The protagonist confronts the Wolf King and initiates the final battle as the creature's stats appear. A deadly foe is introduced, with overwhelming strength and health far surpassing ordinary wild wolves, posing a lethal threat to new challengers. A glowing-eyed beast charges forward through a surge of red light. A devastating spear strike lands as healing and destructive energies collide in the chaos. A confident figure absorbs healing energy from the roaring spectral beast, feeling his strength return. Unfazed, he absorbs the beast's powerful attack, growing stronger with each blow. The healing technique's cooldown ends as a menacing beast glares forward, surrounded by red energy. He glances downward with a confident smile, questioning if the conflict has ended. A massive beast unleashes a surge of red energy as it confronts a determined figure wielding a staff. A massive beast snarls aggressively as its red health bar signals an imminent attack. Wolf King slashes at Yulin with a swift claw strike. A massive white wolf unleashes a powerful energy attack, knocking the young man to the ground. A monstrous creature bares its fangs, filling the scene with menace. The beast steps forward, demanding to know if its secret has been discovered. The Dark Descendant Wolf King erupts in a furious rampage, unleashing a devastating attack surrounded by flames and green energy. Yulin charges at the giant wolf spirit with his glowing sword, ready to fight. The healing ability is ready to be used as the character focuses intently. A massive red energy beam erupts from the canyon, lighting up the entire area. The protagonist defeats the Dark Wolf King, gains experience, levels up, and triggers the instant's reward settlement. A bronze chest appears in the forest, signaling a new reward has been obtained. A mission completion screen announces the defeat of 30 wild wolves without damage skills, a rating upgrade to level 555, and a reward of an advanced silver treasure chest. Examining the ornate weapon, he reflects on how reverse healing secured his SSS rating. A mechanical announcement board reveals that a student has completed the Wolf Forest instance with all hidden achievements and an SSS rating, leaving everyone in the courtyard stunned. 3 students stare upward in shock and excitement as an extraordinary talent is revealed in their class. An elderly man declares that someone has achieved an SSS rating and completed all hidden achievements, an unprecedented feat. Yulin reels in disbelief at the news of someone clearing the level alone without taking any damage. Mumu, shocked and anxious, realizes a new SSS level player has appeared in her class, far surpassing her own achievements. Yulin stands alone in the forest, evaluates his situation, and feels confident about his luck. With determination in his eyes, he braces himself to act. Yulin commands someone to open the treasure chest. A silver chest bursts open, granting a divine healing skill book, 5 attribute points, and a shadow dagger. Magical energy streams from the treasure chest into the floating mirror as the protagonist observes intently. A character examines the shadow dagger's stat window, revealing its powerful attack and special bleeding effect. The protagonist activates the divine healing skill, unlocking its restorative powers for nearby allies. A powerful curse skill is activated, draining health from all nearby enemies while inflicting a severe blood loss effect. The ability has a long cooldown and high mana cost, but these drawbacks are minor in the early stages. A massive area attack erupts, sending enemies flying through the forest. He confidently declares that his abilities have surpassed even the strongest class, highlighting unlimited cooldowns as a key advantage. He decides to sell the daggers directly to wealthy heirs to secure his own finances, no longer depending on family support. The protagonist gains 5 free attribute points and recognizes this as a significant advantage. He reviews the limited sources of free attribute points, noting that aside from leveling up, only challenge secret realms or hidden chests provide them. The stakes of the dungeon evaluation are set. Failing to reach S level means no attribute rewards, while SSS level completion grants an extra 5 points. He confidently decides to allocate all his extra attribute points to intelligence, committing to become the most powerful and destructive magic user. A glowing portal bursts open as Yilin urgently announces the arrival of the SSS Pro team. A lone figure steps out of the glowing portal as the onlookers react with confusion. Standing at the front of the crowd in his golden skull armor, the protagonist waits eagerly for the hidden rewards to be revealed. Mumu charges at the armored figure, demanding to know if they are responsible. A skeptical group questions Mumu's faith as someone returns alone, carrying a large ornate weapon. 3 laughing warriors are suddenly confronted by a mysterious figure holding a glowing orb. Yilin confidently offers a silver dagger to the group, prompting surprised reactions. A heated bidding war breaks out as several eager young men compete for the premium equipment, rapidly increasing their offers. Yilin confidently appraises the premium weapon, acknowledging its high price matches its exceptional quality. The auctioneer raises a giant key before the tense crowd as bidding escalates. An assertive bidder raises her arm and announces a bold offer of 100,000 alliance coins, capturing everyone's attention. The 2 armored men react in shock and distress to the announcement of a sky-high price. Yilin confidently explains that the premium dagger is worth the high price. A glowing, digital dagger appears above an outstretched hand as a supernatural pact is sealed. One of the adventurers asks about his level, and he calmly replies that he is level 5. One character is bombarded with excited questions about how they managed to reach level 5 in the dungeon and achieve an SSS rating. A group of cloaked figures express disbelief as they realize a student entered the dungeon without a team. A man questions whether a student could achieve an SSS rating alone in a beginner dungeon. A character boldly announces that the challenge must be completed solo, and without taking any damage, a feat that no top-tier professional has managed in the newbie stage. The group debates whether to involve the embarrassed figure any further as laughter and awkwardness fill the air. 3 hostile figures plot revenge against the priest they believe succeeded through luck or cheating. A stern figure in a red cloak announces to the gathered students that their tests are over and they are now trainee professionals with extraordinary abilities. An authoritative figure announces to the assembled crowd that the professional test will take place in 30 days. Yilin sits in front of the glowing screen, reflecting on what the future holds. Yilin stands determined, contemplating whether to fight as a hero against the oncoming demons. A determined figure announces a 30-day assessment, urging others to use school-assigned instances to reach at least level 10. He explains that the professional test requires teamwork and emphasizes that coordination is a crucial scoring factor. She firmly announces that her cooperation partner has already been chosen. One character explains that the quiet girl is actually clumsy, simple-minded, loyal, and easily deceived despite her aloof appearance. He stands resolute, silently vowing to protect her as she faces a formidable enemy. An adult affirms the family agreement while standing hand in hand with 2 children. One character reassures another while vowing to prevent a past tragedy, then announces plans to skip dinner and head to the wilderness instance. A magical sword crackles with intense purple energy as its power is activated. A game-like prompt introduces the Stone Cave dungeon, warning players about venomous scorpions and their dangerous poison. 2 figures arrive at the glowing entrance of the Stone Cave at night. The challenge screen details the mission to defeat the Poison Scorpion King, warns of its poisonous attacks, and cautions that it will become berserk if not defeated quickly. A hand points to the mission screen, urgently detailing the need to defeat the Poison Scorpion King quickly to prevent it from going berserk. The mechanics of challenge instances are explained, highlighting increasing difficulty, tougher monsters, stricter requirements, and greater rewards. A magical interface explains that newbie dungeons like the Stone Cave only offer normal and hard difficulty levels. Ignoring doubts, the protagonist confidently accepts the hard difficulty raid and aims for the highest rating as their companion watches with concern. Under the starry sky, she nervously admits her concern that her lack of damage might hold him back. A confident character reveals that there is a way to skip class in the dungeon. A worried girl questions if skipping class means avoiding monster clearance. Yilin studies the dungeon data on the wall and concludes that skipping class is possible based on his analysis. Mumu gazes upward, visibly impressed by the remarkable deduction unfolding before her. One character admits she has always known about Lin Ye's hidden strength. He devoted himself to researching monsters and cases from an early stage, but consistently struggled to pass theoretical exams. Everyone underestimated him, but now he stares ahead with unwavering resolve. A confident figure urges the other to stop daydreaming and move forward under the night sky. Startled by a sudden call, Mumu quickly responds and prepares to move. A character confidently declares unwavering faith that someone will become the hero who saves the world. Two figures materialize inside a glowing crystal cave, signaling the start of their dungeon exploration. They enter the wilderness dungeon as one character marvels at the scenery, while the other warns of its increased danger. A system alert announces that, due to a lack of members, the team will be forcibly matched with others as the protagonist prepares for the unexpected change. He realizes the crystal can forcibly connect this instance with other teams. He warns the group to stay alert, as they must contend with both monsters and rival competitors. Two figures leap away as a powerful explosion erupts in the cavern. A forceful stream of liquid bursts from his mouth as he reacts in shock and pain. A fierce fighter unleashes a surge of energy, leaving a terrified onlooker frozen in shock. He clutches his mouth, struggling to stifle his cries as blood pours through his fingers. The team realizes the hard difficulty of the wilderness instance is far more lethal than they anticipated. A stat screen appears, revealing the attributes and aptitude of a poison scorpion. The group braces themselves as a swarm of venomous scorpions blocks their path in the cave. A startled character freezes as two figures, one ominous and cloaked, approach inside the cave. A group urgently calls for help in the fight, invoking the Academy's mutual aid treaty, while one figure remains stoic and another appears startled as a skeletal hand grips his shoulder. Yilin coldly refuses to help, his red eyes glowing in the shadows. Two figures race through a shadowy cave, fleeing from their relentless pursuers. He warns the group that the scorpions fear water and can only attack at close range. A figure lands with a splash on the dark surface, instructing the others to follow closely and promising protection from the scorpions. One character firmly acknowledges the instructions, then quickly adds an important reminder. A character urgently warns that the approaching monster is highly sensitive to sound as they prepare to confront it. A determined fighter unleashes a powerful attack with a glowing, skull-adorned weapon. A massive red energy blast erupts from Yilin, crashing toward the monstrous enemy in the cave. One character excitedly questions another's impressive talent, but is quickly silenced as tension rises. A character studies the dungeon map and outlines the plan to bypass monsters by finding a safe route and exploiting a flaw in the dungeon. Two figures discover a glowing water spring inside the dark cave, confirming it is safe for humans to drink. Mumu hesitates on the rocky ledge as someone urgently orders her to jump into the swirling vortex below. She glares in silence, assessing the situation with unwavering intensity. Something crashes forcefully into the glowing cavern pool. She swims determinedly through the water toward the glowing object above. An injured hand clings desperately to the edge of a cracked cliff. One character investigates a skull-shaped artifact while another emerges from the water, startled. Gripping the mysterious stone, he prepares to unleash a menacing power in the darkness. Two fighters collide at the center of a massive crater, their fierce attacks unleashing shockwaves across the battlefield. A demonic presence materializes from the darkness, its glowing red face radiating menace. Three armed figures stand ready as a giant purple crab monster blocks their path inside the cave. A massive swarm of monstrous insects surges toward a swirling blue vortex as two figures stand at the cavern's edge, alarmed. A giant poisonous scorpion emerges in the cave, threatening anyone who dares to approach. With a confident smirk, the character taunts his opponent and dares them to attack while brandishing his weapon. A monstrous scorpion emerges from the darkness, hissing as energy swirls around it. Yilin steps forward, radiating a red aura as he threatens the opponent with a bold ultimatum. A towering, red demonic force materializes above as monsters shrink back in terror. A quest notification appears, announcing the completion of scorpion kills and the reward of 2,000 experience points. The group stares in shock as they realize the priest's overwhelming magic easily surpasses their combined efforts against the scorpion. A mage unleashes a devastating ice spell, channeling energy through the tear of biomimicry. A surge of blue energy erupts, obliterating everything in its way. A quest notification appears, instructing the player to kill 50 poisonous scorpions to earn 500 experience points. A status screen announces the defeat of the scorpions, and a level up with a free attribute point. Bathed in a radiant glow, she announces her rapid level up as another person watches warily from the background. A status screen appears, revealing a character's magical class, stats, and abilities. With fierce determination in his eyes, the protagonist announces they will next face the poisonous Scorpion King. The poisonous Scorpion King pushes forward through the water, undeterred by its natural fear. An ice spell hits the poisonous Scorpion King, dealing 10 damage. An ice spell strikes the poisonous Scorpion King, dealing 10 damage. Mumu anxiously questions how they can defeat the poisonous Scorpion King after seeing their attack barely make an impact. One character urgently explains that the monster's weak point is its life core in the second segment of its abdomen as they prepare to attack. Two figures leap at the giant armored creature as a blinding explosion erupts between them. A massive energy arc slices through the air as one figure attacks, with another standing supportively behind. A glowing figure unleashes a massive energy attack, sending a swirling burst of light and water across the area. Two allies coordinate urgently as one creates footholds, and the other prepares to lead them across the turbulent water. A devastating raid technique strikes the poisonous Scorpion King, dealing 150 damage as red energy surges across the battlefield. An armored monster with glowing red eyes stands its ground despite its almost empty health bar. Yilin attacks the glowing-eyed monster, pushing forward in their fierce battle. With urgency in his eyes, he gives the crucial signal to act. He unleashes a powerful ice spell, sending a surge of freezing energy across the battlefield. The giant scorpion raises its body to attack, exposing a glowing weak spot on its abdomen. A devastating blow lands on the poisonous Scorpion King, inflicting 1000 damage. After defeating the poisonous Scorpion King, the character celebrates as a reward notification appears, confirming victory and experience gained. A triumphant quest completion screen announces a level upgrade to 555, a golden treasure chest, and 5 free attribute points as rewards for defeating the dungeon boss and clearing all challenges without being poisoned. Bathed in golden light, the character achieves level 6 and gains new abilities and skills. 2 figures stand ready with a glowing magical mirror as one warns the other about the imminent boss encounter. A shirtless man forces 2 defeated warriors to kneel and beg desperately for mercy. Yulin delivers a stern warning, telling everyone to keep what happened today to themselves. He warns someone to stay silent with a confident smirk. A commanding figure threatens their adversaries as both stand firm amid swirling energy and a menacing sword. 2 figures enter a hidden, golden teleportation chamber, ensuring no one else can witness their next move. 2 figures stand in awe before a glowing, winged treasure chest. A glowing treasure chest opens as one person commands it and another watches in awe. A status window appears, announcing the acquisition of new skills, equipment, and stat points as rewards. Mumu is astonished to learn about the 5 free stat points and realizes why the power level is so high. An information box reveals the hunting sword's stats and special abilities. The magical effects and attributes of the wind boots are revealed. A powerful skill book called Poison Bubble appears, revealing its abilities and requirements for use. A glowing emerald ring is introduced, showcasing its ability to reduce all skill cooldowns by 10%. The group inspects a pile of treasure, focusing on an emerald ring that stands out as the most valuable find. One character offers a glowing skill book to another, who hesitates because it contains a poison skill rather than the ice magic she already uses. A girl explains that after choosing her skill stats as a mage, she can only learn ice attribute skills and is incompatible with others. A hidden talent called 5 Elements Master suddenly activates, startling the character as a notification panel appears. Surrounded by flames, the shocked girl suddenly awakens a hidden power while the man watches her transformation with curiosity. Yulin explains that quickly collecting skill books with different elements could create a decisive advantage over other mages. Mumu reveals her trump card and urges everyone to leave. 2 figures walk side by side and step into a glowing portal as one refuses to give advice about stat points. One figure reluctantly concedes as the atmosphere shifts to resignation. A group of anxious adventurers hesitates at the glowing portal, fearful of entering the wild dungeon. 2 armored figures in the crowd react with excitement as they admire someone ahead. As 2 figures walk together, onlookers gossip about one's surprising recent achievement and the sale of a valuable item. A yellow sports car screeches to a halt, its tires spinning as it arrives dramatically. A yellow sports car crashes nearby as 2 young men recoil in shock and fear. A confident young man boasts about a girl's attractiveness while standing beside a flashy yellow sports car. Mumu urgently pulls Yulin through the forest, insisting they leave immediately. Mumu voices her disgust for a wealthy man who exploits his power and mistreats others. A pink-haired girl calls out to stop a young man from leaving. A confident man steps forward and introduces himself as the sole heir to the Huang group. 2 characters gossip about a student who skipped classes but receives top-tier silver-ranked equipment and is rumored to have exceptional talent. A group spreads damaging rumors while a confident figure confronts them, insisting there's no proof and relishing the attention. One character abruptly claims to have a boyfriend to reject someone, leaving another character confused. A man steps forward to shield the uneasy woman from a sneering stranger, brushing off the insult about their appearance. A hand wearing a bracelet forcefully pushes someone aside. Weapons clash between the protagonist and a dark-robed opponent, while a concerned supporter watches from behind. Yulin unleashes his warrior skill, Charge, driving a glowing fist attack at his opponent. A supernatural force surges as the reversal ability is activated, turning the incoming attack against its source. A powerful, bloody attack strikes the man squarely in the chest, leaving him in agony. The injured character crashes to the ground, writhing in pain as another observes. A furious figure confronts his opponent, demanding to know what trick was used against him. Yulin defensively insists he did nothing as he crouches beside the downcast figure. One character confidently reveals his priest class while another watches in shock, trying to understand how the previous opponent was defeated. Yulin rushes forward, fist glowing with energy as he launches an angry attack. The protagonist recoils in terror, overwhelmed by a sudden and shocking event. One character confidently tests the plunder skill's healing reversal, causing the other to collapse in frustration. Yulin easily defeats his opponent and remarks on how little effort it took. A wounded young man, surrounded by onlookers, angrily demands to be released and threatens retribution, warning that fighting with skills is forbidden among the awakened. A narrator highlights the arrival of a priest who easily defeated the heavily armored Mr. Huang. Amidst the crowd, a skeptical student questions how someone could have reached level 5 on the first day by solo clearing both a secret realm and a wild dungeon. A suited man apologizes for his friend's behavior and discusses rumors about someone's powerful, hidden talent. The furious man, kneeling and clutching his chest, demands that someone teach a lesson to the unconvinced opponent, escalating the confrontation. A man in a suit angrily throws torn papers at a startled young man sitting outside. The young man collapses in shock, losing consciousness as his bandage slips from his forehead. A suited man warns that the young master of the Huang group will likely seek revenge after today's events. Yulin receives a card offering money and assistance, but firmly rejects the proposal to avoid the other person. Amidst swirling dark energy and a sinister skull-shaped aura, Yulin prepares to unleash his catastrophe skill, determined to test his true combat strength. Online posts reveal a supposed speedrun strategy, rare items, and heated debate over the legitimacy of the Emerald Ring and dungeon clearance claims. One character questions whether their strategy can fetch a high price on a professional forum, while the other confidently continues typing on a laptop. A group of adventurers hesitates before a glowing portal in the treacherous cave, realizing the harsh conditions make teamwork nearly impossible. 4 people crowd around as one inspects a glowing phone, debating whether to buy a suspicious item after noticing someone else has already purchased it. A payment of 5,000 Alliance coins is received twice in quick succession. A massive hammer crashes down, shattering the icy ground. He raises his hammer in triumph as the SSS grade victory notification appears. Spectators react with excitement and skepticism to an unexpectedly successful experiment, debating its authenticity. A series of notifications confirm the arrival of multiple Alliance coin payments. Several teams triumphantly clear the stone cave dungeon with the highest SSS grade, celebrating their success by the portals. An achievement notification announces an SSS grade, revealing an unexpectedly simple way to skip classes. A series of payment notifications confirms the rapid arrival of multiple Alliance coin deposits. A crowd rushes to see a glowing poster that promises secret tips and free attribute points from a mysterious figure. Mumu sits atop a throne surrounded by gold, thrilled as she discovers that another 100 orders have brought in 500,000. A grand building rises under the clear sky as the scene shifts to a new location. 2 people analyze encrypted data on a digital screen, discovering the hacker's IP traces back to Jiang City's professional academy. A sly character suggests that something unusual occurred at the academy this year. Someone mentions that a new person is very interested in the Great Sword and wants to place an order. Someone reacts in shock upon learning that the Great Sword is being sold much faster than expected. 2 people quickly arrange to meet at the school dungeon entrance to finalize a trade. 2 people stand together, celebrating a recent financial success and discussing how reasonable pricing and valuable content have attracted widespread promotion. He strategizes about clearing more dungeons and acknowledges that their current equipment will eventually need upgrading. A caped figure warns that without combat awareness, even the best equipment won't keep someone alive in the trials. One character questions another about prioritizing strategy and earning money instead of training before the test, while the other remains silent. He smirks with quiet confidence, anticipating what comes next. He explains that he needs the money to protect the people he cares about. A character reflects on the protection they have received. A young man reflects on his lonely past while gaming alone in a dimly lit internet cafe, realizing that coming to this new world is his good fortune. He reflects on the happiness and safety he found with loving parents. After the magic tide ended, the boy remembers how his relatives treated him cruelly and eagerly plotted to take his parents' inheritance. A group of hostile adults argue over inheritance while threatening to mistreat the defiant boy standing before them. Unable to fight back, the character chose to escape to avoid exploitation and abuse. After planning only to survive and seek revenge, the protagonist is taken in by caring relatives who help reclaim the family inheritance and earn his trust. The relatives were taken to court and punished for their actions. Yulin pauses to watch a group rush into the building, reflecting on how much his life has changed thanks to the help he received. He explains that his goal in making money is to repay them. He stands amid the flames and vows to use his strength to protect the 3 most important people to him, determined not to repeat past mistakes. He hesitantly approaches and initiates a conversation, his uncertainty clear. A young woman in armor kneels and introduces herself, asking if she has found the person selling the hunting sword. Outside a modern building, one character anxiously explains a dead phone while the other skeptically confirms their identity, marking their first in-person meeting. One character tearfully insists on her identity while another analyzes her impressive physique and speculates about her extraordinary strength. A man activates a holographic display of a hunting sword and instructs the buyer to inspect its attributes, warning that there are no returns after purchase. Yulin unleashes a swift, powerful sword strike charge with blue energy. Energy gathers as a determined figure unlocks hidden power. A hand swiftly seizes the handle of a sheathed sword from the wall. She leaps into the air and unleashes a powerful sword attack, energy crackling around her. Someone recognizes the overwhelming power and confirms it belongs to the big brother. In the marketplace, someone questions the surprisingly low price of a rare silver-rank greatsword while another calmly explains its true market value. One character sheepishly admits she has never understood money, while the other looks on, unimpressed. One character pays for the purchase while advising the other to check prices in the future, and the recipient gratefully accepts the help. Someone expresses gratitude for being able to purchase an affordable greatsword. A notification announces the receipt of 80,000 and the upgrade to gold card status, while someone immediately requests cash on delivery instead. One figure waves dismissively while the other, glowing with magic, prepares to leave. A glowing projectile strikes Yulin in the back of the head, catching him completely off guard. A surge of unknown power envelopes the protagonist as a special buff activates, granting the ability to upgrade dungeon loot chests for the next 24 hours. She confidently reveals her unique talent and eagerly asks to join the team for the trials. A rare, nearly invincible luck talent is revealed as she stands surrounded by glowing coins and flaming fish. A hooded figure channels a powerful buff onto the ornate box, raising the chance for even those with weak abilities to unlock legendary or divine rewards. Yulin questions whether anyone else has been informed about the effects of the talent. The girl becomes flustered and urgently asks if the talent has any limitations. A character explains that the power can be used only 3 times a week and only on one person each time. One character sternly warns another to keep a secret to avoid danger, prompting an anxious agreement. A serious warning is given about the danger of his rare ability being exposed, suggesting it could lead to imprisonment and loss of freedom. A powerful group offers protection and alliance, warning that the organization is plagued by internal conflict and danger. Surprised by unexpected permission, she leans forward with excitement. A confident man introduces himself and invites someone to join his team. The group heads toward the building to meet their new teammates. Walking outdoors, one character excitedly celebrates making it to the front row and impressing others by wielding a great sword despite an unassuming appearance. In a striking library, the team meets a new muscular teammate and introductions begin. A fan excitedly praises Mumu as she introduces herself and shakes hands, while another person observes quietly. The character stares ahead in tense, silent alarm. One character questions why they are being stared at, while another watches closely as a pink-haired girl protectively holds her. The group decides to take a break for a meal before resuming their dungeon exploration. One of the girls quickly asks which dungeon they're talking about, catching everyone's attention. A nightmare-level goblin dungeon appears, signaling a new and dangerous threat. A determined individual volunteers to enter the menacing dungeon alone, planning to guide the others to earn free attribute points. 2 adventurers fiercely attack a powerful monster in a high-risk dungeon, unleashing both physical and magical assaults. One character warns against recklessly challenging the nightmare-level dungeon, while the other confidently reassures them. One girl urgently warns another about the dangerous goblin dungeon, emphasizing that even experienced professionals have been seriously injured. A flustered girl hastily runs out of the bookstore, leaving a surprised boy behind. One character reassures the other about taking on a difficult dungeon and suggests they go home to eat first. One character pretends to agree with the other's demand while secretly planning to act alone that night. Mumu questions whether Lin Yu was persuaded too easily. A newcomer steps out of a portal into the cavern, gripping a staff-like weapon and surveying the area with determination. Rumors spread about a newcomer who solo runs dungeons, with a picture taken at the Academy's dungeon teleportation point fueling excitement. Online chat users argue over the true identity of the student who solo cleared the dungeon, speculating whether it was a powerful mage or swordsman, while a young man with the ID label swordsman appears on screen. Online users debate the identity and abilities of a mysterious newcomer who solo cleared a dungeon, speculating about their background and impressive achievements. One character turns to the other, breaking the silence by urging them to eat, while the other remains absorbed in their phone. One character angrily points and shouts while the other stands smugly, triumphantly holding something up. A lavish feast is set on the table, showcasing a steaming roasted chicken surrounded by gleaming side dishes. The group sits together at the dining table, enjoying a meal and expressing their gratitude. 2 men sit at a table, discussing the smooth outcome of a recent trial. A young man encourages flexibility and warns against stubbornness while giving advice at the table. One character calmly reveals that the person who complained is sitting right at the table, causing another to react with embarrassment and frustration. Someone pours soup into a bowl while expressing a hope for another to act like Momo. 2 people enjoy a cheerful meal together, sharing a sense of contentment. One character teases another, who sits beside them looking irritated and defensive. One character teases another during the meal but quickly reassures the adults not to worry. He firmly states that he will not attempt anything beyond his capabilities. A hand places a bank card on the table, offering support and reassurance. Seated at the dining table, one character pushes a credit card back toward another, insisting they keep the money because he has already earned enough. She warns that facing the trials will require more spending and threatens anger if her advice is ignored. He nervously raises his hands, trying to calm the situation. One person hands a credit card to another, creating a tense moment. He holds the blue card to his chest and reflects on how well he is doing, feeling grateful to his parents. 4 people sit together at a sunlit table, quietly savoring a hard-won moment of peace. A resolute figure grips his skull-adorned weapon and silently vows to become stronger as shadowy enemies gather near a looming castle. A determined figure steps toward the swirling, electrified portal, ready to enter the nightmare-level dungeon. At Huang Xiaofeng's house, someone reacts furiously to Zhao Qiheng's betrayal. The man in the hospital bed angrily rejects the suited visitor's claims of having helped him, escalating their confrontation. The patient jolts upright in the hospital bed, startled, while a silent figure stands nearby. A hand accidentally spills liquid from an ornate cup onto a saucer. A furious man shouts insults and smashes an object during a heated argument. A furious man threatens to beat the young master, blaming himself for ever agreeing to watch over him. A man cruelly mocks another, revealing a painful truth and ordering them to leave. A furious man shouts a harsh rejection at someone standing sternly in the foreground. A mysterious newcomer gains notoriety for his rumored solo dungeon feats and guide sales, drawing attention and inspiring fan groups among students. Suspicion rises as the rarity of 2 powerful newcomers appearing in Jiang City is questioned. A man urgently calls for reinforcements, instructing his allies to arm themselves and promising to supply anything they lack. A man issues a threatening order over the phone while a shadowy figure quietly observes from behind. A man steps into the dungeon's misty forest, sneezing as he grips his large axe. A status screen reveals the Goblin Dungeon's escalating dangers and warns that only those who reach the final layer will earn rewards. The Goblin Dungeon is notorious for its extreme difficulty, discouraging even skilled adventurers from attempting to clear it. Seizing the opportunity for valuable rewards, the protagonist rushes through the corridor to access high-level chests. Two armored goblin soldiers block the path as the protagonist faces them with a spear, ready for battle. A character suddenly reacts with shock as a glowing green light illuminates their face. A surge of red energy erupts as the timer begins and the protagonist prepares to face the challenge. Monsters swarm toward the entrance, preparing to attack within seconds. The protagonist swiftly attacks a goblin in the dungeon while testing a new method for quickly gathering and eliminating monsters under strict time constraints. The protagonist battles the Goblin King in the dungeon's 5th layer while fending off relentless goblin attacks. Within 30 seconds, the protagonist rapidly defeats the goblin soldiers in the forest clearing. Yulin charges into the dungeon corridor, swiftly approaching the goblin captain as he tracks his progress against his earlier estimate. Yulin charges forward and unleashes a burst of divine energy from his glowing spear at the approaching goblins. A figure unleashes a devastating red energy attack, rapidly breaking through the first layer in under 4 minutes. A golden status window appears, announcing that divine healing has been upgraded to level 2 and displaying detailed character stats. The lone figure swiftly clears the first dungeon layer, standing victorious over a pile of monsters. The figure, engulfed in a blazing red aura, wipes out every monster on the 2nd layer of the Goblin Dungeon. A resolute figure stands before the ominous, red glowing gate marking the entrance to the 5th layer. An imposing goblin ruler sits on his throne and confronts an intruder who has teleported into his territory. The protagonist enters the secret realm and immediately encounters the boss, noticing the absence of other monsters. The Goblin Dungeon Lord slams its golden spear into the ground, unleashing a massive earthquake crack attack. A heavily armored enemy launches a fierce attack, prompting the defender to prepare for a swift dodge and minimize incoming damage. A surge of dark energy erupts as the massive, skull-topped weapon is raised, signaling an imminent attack. A male figure quickly reverses the devastating attack, restoring his health and unleashing a counter-strike with a glowing weapon. A confused monster notices a sudden increase in health points. Yulin strikes the towering goblin with a devastating reverse healing technique, causing massive damage. A monstrous figure bares its sharp teeth and glares with glowing red eyes, revealing clear hostility. A monstrous orc is struck by green lightning and screams in agony. The protagonist reverses the Goblin King's skills, rapidly healing and gaining a surge in attack power while becoming immune to knockback. Frustrated after his attack fails, the green-skinned character realizes his skills have no effect. An urgent notification appears, revealing that the Goblin King has gone berserk as the protagonist stares ahead in shock. A powerful monster summons a horde of minions as the protagonist readies his staff to face them. He prepares to fight defensively, holding back his strongest technique as energy crackles around his glowing sword. A golden skeletal hand lunges toward the startled protagonist, forcing him to recoil in alarm. An armored figure commands a brutal attack, demanding that no skills be used so the target dies quickly. Surrounded by hostile monsters, the caped figure braces as the group prepares to attack with sheer force. An unseen force issues a daunting challenge in the darkness. A lone fighter braces himself as a horde of goblin-like creatures rushes toward him. He swiftly evades a barrage of coordinated attacks from the green-skinned enemies amid the chaos of battle. A volley of arrows is unleashed as goblins launch a coordinated attack. Struck by multiple arrows in midair, the wounded figure defiantly taunts the attacker and refuses to yield. Surrounded by flying arrows, he activates Aura Conversion and rapidly restores his health while holding his defensive stance. Yulin presses his hand to his shoulder as his healing power closes the wounds. The enraged monster recoils as its attempt to kill the human fails. Surrounded by enemies, Yulin raises his cursed sword as red energy flares ominously. A powerful red energy attack sweeps through the enemies as a devastating technique is unleashed. A fierce hero slashes the armored Goblin King with a glowing red sword, dealing massive damage. A cocky young man mocks the enraged orc leader, challenging him to a fair duel and questioning his warrior's spirit. A fist crashes down with force as the demand for a direct confrontation is made. A figure unleashes a devastating red energy attack on the armed opponents in the ornate hall. The demons recoil in terror and rage as they witness an unexpected power manifest before them. Standing atop a massive cross-shaped sword, a figure unleashes a surge of red energy that shakes the surroundings. A devastating crimson beam blasts through the cathedral, tearing it apart as darkness engulfs the sky. A surge of red energy bursts from the building, threatening to destroy everything in its path. A monstrous goblin leader lets out a furious roar as the Goblin Legion is completely destroyed and 1,000 experience points are gained. The Goblin King collapses in defeat as his strength and will to fight fade away. A surge of dark energy rips from the armored enemy as Yulin unleashes the reversal healing art to drain his opponent's power. A triumphant notification appears, announcing the defeat of the Goblin King and a new level gained. A system notification announces the Nightmare level Goblin Dungeon is cleared and reward settlement is starting. A notification announces that all hidden conditions have been met, upgrading the treasure chest to Platinum level and raising the rating to SSS rank. The protagonist marvels as a powerful blessing upgrades his treasure chest to platinum level, giving him enough time to attempt the dungeon again. A hand decisively selects the option to open the treasure chest on the magical interface. A list appears, announcing the acquisition of powerful skills, equipment, and attribute points as major rewards are received. A powerful Holy Light skill book, radiating magical energy, is discovered. A powerful flame pot item is introduced, capable of inflicting 300 damage when thrown. A powerful blink stone is introduced, revealing its ability to boost all attributes and grant a short-range teleportation skill. A radiant skill book is revealed, detailing a powerful healing and protection ability for qualified priests. A legendary golden bow appears, its power and abilities revealed as it hovers in a radiant light. The protagonist examines a collection of powerful platinum-ranked items and skills, calculating their combined advantages for the upcoming battle. A powerful group skill is unleashed, instantly overwhelming the armored monsters as a massive red energy surges from the cross-shaped weapon. He allocates all 15 free attribute points to intelligence through the virtual interface. A game notification announces the unlocking of the Glory of the Stars skill, equipping the Blinkstone, and a 20-point increase to all attributes. After conquering the dungeon, the protagonist reviews his upgraded status and newly equipped gear. Yilin corners his opponent with a determined glare. Mumu confronts Yilin under a tree, accusing him of pretending not to know why he's at the dungeon. She closes her eyes and exhales deeply, showing her exhaustion. One character confirms clearing the nightmare-level goblin underground city while another listens intently, holding up a cross-shaped pendant. Two figures arrive at the electrified dungeon portal, ready to enter. Mumu looks up in anxious silence, beads of sweat forming as she braces for what comes next. A relentless pursuer corners his target at a massive, electrified portal deep within a rocky cavern. Through a sniper scope, two figures argue heatedly as one mocks the visible target for inviting trouble. From inside the car, one character urges someone to deliver a beating while another looks on in shock. Yilin surveys his surroundings with intense focus, silently assessing the situation. One man forcefully grabs another by the head, causing the frightened victim to cower in fear during the intense confrontation. A man in a suit harshly scolds a distressed student who clutches his head in frustration. A surge of green energy gathers as he reveals he was ready for this moment. Late at night, Yilin searches intently for crucial information on his computer. A reward selection screen appears, offering rare items in exchange for 8,000 Alliance coins. Players react in awe as Yilin's record-breaking performance on the Nightmare level sets a new standard, making him the focus of admiration and envy. The panel reveals that the strongest test student, the seller of the hunting great sword, and the one who achieved the SSS rank are all the same person. Online users cast doubt on the evidence of the priest's achievements, debating whether he could have soloed difficult dungeons and questioning details about his talent and profession. Game-like notifications announce coin rewards and requests to purchase valuable items. Yilin stares tensely at his phone, silently reacting to an unsettling message. A notification confirms a deposit of 500,000 Alliance coins, raising the account balance to 1,500,000. Sitting in the dim room, he reviews his disappointing earnings but reassures himself that the real value lies in his hard-won progress. A status screen announces that the Koi effect buff will last for 15 more hours. He sits at the desk, calculating his remaining recovery time before preparing for the next challenge. A confident man enters the dimly lit room and encourages someone to jog to improve their fitness. People arrive at the lakeside walkway and begin strolling under the moonlit sky. Breathing heavily, he walks alone along the nighttime pier, distancing himself from the crowd. A futuristic car bursts onto the scene, kicking off a high-speed chase. He turns his head sharply, tense and alert as he senses something approaching in the cold air. A car hurtles down the road, screeching to a halt as it faces a lone figure standing defiantly in its path. Two men confront the protagonist by a parked sports car at night, issuing a warning and inviting him to go with them. Amidst the darkness, the protagonist asserts his readiness to face any trouble that comes his way. A tense confrontation unfolds as one figure demands a duel and threatens consequences if the challenge is refused. A furious threat is made against Yilin's family, leaving him visibly shocked and alarmed. A character taunts the other with a smug smirk, daring them to find his home address. One character confronts another with a bold challenge, while a third reacts in shock to the escalating argument. One man demands that no one interfere as he challenges his opponent to a one-on-one fight, boasting about his superior gear. Yilin confronts the situation after realizing there is more than one helper involved. Two figures quickly agree to proceed with their original plan while someone watches them from the background. The protagonist confidently challenges the two men to confront him together, as he waits in his car by the waterfront at night. One man threatens the other, promising swift regret as tension rises between them. Yilin glares at his opponents, and threatens to force them to the ground. With a menacing glare and glowing red eyes, he threatens to make his opponent's life worse than death. The scene shifts to a tranquil night, revealing mountains under a full moon. The car races through the shadows as its passengers make a desperate escape. A car stops abruptly, its headlights cutting through the smoke as it arrives with urgency. A group of armed assailants blocks the road at night, forcing three people who just exited their car into a tense standoff. A confident figure proposes a one-on-one fight as a tense crowd gathers. Yilin charges forward and unleashes the diamond-level wind shadow sword against the hostile crowd. He smirks and mocks his opponent, showing no sign of intimidation. Yilin confronts his opponent with a smug, menacing threat. Yulin unleashes a furious sword attack, cutting down several armored opponents in the night. Yulin drives a glowing dagger into the magic circle, summoning dark energy that swirls around his arm. Yulin leaps over several attackers, evading their sword strikes with impressive agility. A fierce fighter unleashes a devastating sword attack that rips through the ground. Facing overwhelming numbers, he prepares to unleash reversal of heaven and earth. A man mocks his opponent, laughing as a massive explosion strikes the ground nearby. Sinister red energy engulfs the ornate cross, corrupting it with dark power. An armored man recoils in shock as a massive sword crashes toward him, forcing a desperate defense. Blood spurts from the wounded knight's mouth as he staggers back, while another armored figure watches in alarm. A man reels on the ground, overwhelmed by an unexpected and powerful attack. A mysterious technique instantly shatters the gold-level gear, leaving everyone astonished. The armored group, encouraged by their wounded leader, prepares to launch a coordinated attack against the priest. Multiple attackers unleash a barrage of powerful techniques as the priest stands ready at the center with his staff. In the red-lit shadows, the protagonist smirks with clear confidence at his opponent. A blinding red explosion erupts at the center of the battlefield, unleashing a devastating surge of energy and swords that leaves everyone in shock. Surrounded by glowing red chains, Yulin unleashes a devastating technique that fills the area with a hellish aura. Sinister skull spirits, bound by glowing chains, surge forward in a frenzied attack. Glowing red chains impale two struggling figures as the brutal attack fills the scene with agony. A wounded character collapses in shock, realizing they were instantly defeated. He turns away in frustration, convinced that depending on money is safer than trusting others. The protagonist steps forward and reveals a powerful diamond-level suit, announcing its immense value and activated attributes. A character stares in shock, realizing the immense financial power and legendary status behind the auction and the rare suit. A rival charges forward in a burst of energy, vowing to defeat Yulin and force him to kneel. Standing atop the cliff, the protagonist taunts the defeated enemies and challenges any remaining opponent. Someone steps over a collapsed opponent on the ground. Yulin threatens his opponent with a confident smirk, daring him to beg for mercy. Yulin swings his skull-adorned weapon at his opponent while taunting him. Yulin angrily prepares to deliver a threat. Yulin launches a devastating Shadow Wind sword attack at his opponent on the ruined battlefield. Yulin swings his sword, releasing a massive wave of glowing blue energy. Yulin recoils in shock and raises his blade defensively as a sudden threat appears. A character realizes something is wrong as a powerful energy slash erupts during the tense battle. A powerful technique instantly defeats all the golden armored opponents, leaving onlookers in shock. A character is stunned by the unexpectedly high damage inflicted. Amid a surge of red energy, Yulin unleashes a monstrous, inhuman power that resembles the demonic beings from the magic tide. A shocked defender struggles to keep up as his opponent moves with unexpected speed despite his own powerful armor bonus. Yulin lunges forward and unleashes a glowing blue energy slash, determined to end the fight with one blow. Yulin easily overwhelms his shocked opponent with a decisive attack. He prepares to strike by activating his reversal damage ability, aiming to exploit a weakness in the armor. A powerful red slash strikes the armored opponent, shattering the upper armor and nullifying its total attribute bonus. He stares in panic at his damaged diamond divine gear. A furious, armored figure erupts with blue flames and charges forward, brandishing a glowing sword at a distant foe. Yulin unleashes a series of powerful sword attacks, cutting through enemies on the battlefield. A figure suddenly leaps down from above, launching a fierce attack at the two armored characters below. Wounded and desperate, the leader urges his allies to hold their position in the tense forest. His eye widens in shock as he realizes something unexpected. A character is slammed to the ground by an unknown technique, dropping their sword and reeling in pain. A confident figure activates a surge of magical energy, their hand glowing with power. Yulin unleashes a powerful attack with his staff, easily breaking through his opponent's defenses and gaining health. The victor demands the defeated opponent surrender, sign over valuable equipment as an apology, and promise never to cause trouble again. Yulin, drenched in sweat and rage, refuses to surrender while shouting defiantly in his damaged armor. Yulin unleashes his skill, obliterating the opponent's magical defense crystal in a flash of red energy. Yulin launches a powerful energy attack in a furious attempt to overpower his opponent. A fierce energy blast erupts from Yulin as he launches his signature attack toward the ground. A massive explosion erupts, unleashing a surge of destructive energy across the area. A menacing figure leans in close, mocking his beaten opponent with cruel laughter. A powerful, glowing slash attack strikes Yulin and sends him reeling. Yulin charges forward, channeling green energy through his hand as red and white power swirls around him. A surge of healing energy restores a massive amount of health as the protagonist confidently activates a powerful recovery skill. A glowing green energy envelopes a hand as bones rapidly realign under its power. Yulin recoils in pain and threatens his attacker, who looms over him with a menacing red energy. Yulin glares fiercely, declaring his hatred for being threatened. Yulin unleashes a powerful technique, surrounded by a red aura as intense energy erupts around him. Red energy swirls as he confidently prepares to continue draining his opponent. A red-haired character hurtles downward, unleashing a furious blast of energy. A muscular man in ornate armor urgently shouts a warning as danger approaches. A determined figure channels a glowing green energy into the injured man sprawled at his feet. He clenches his fist with force, channeling intense determination. A devastating surge of energy blasts through the area, leaving the onlookers stunned and questioning if they have angered a priest. A boot decorated with a skull slams down, sending blood splattering across the ground. A colossal pillar of red energy crashes from the stormy sky, unleashing catastrophic destruction. The armored man reels in shock upon hearing that little Huang might be dead. A hidden camera with a glowing red light secretly records from within the dense bushes. Armed groups face off in a tense confrontation under the moonlight as rumors about criminal dealings spread. A male character is violently struck by a glowing red energy attack, bewildered by the mysterious skill. A competitive ranking screen appears, highlighting a strong mage's position and questioning the source of their courage. An armored man flaunts his glowing equipment, while another person watches with resentment. A brutal showdown is announced as the arrogant second generation faces crushing defeat. A green glowing figure devastates a heavily armored opponent with a simultaneous healing and damaging attack, leaving the crowd in awe. He stands resolutely amid swirling red energy, gripping his golden shield as tension builds. Two young men excitedly piece together rumors and speculate that the mysterious priest has awakened a top-tier talent. Two students examine evidence on their devices, trying to uncover the true identity of the god-level player linked to Jiang City. A girl urgently defends someone's identity online while sitting under a blanket, her face lit by her phone. Someone presents clear evidence while accusing the person above. An anxious girl worries that she might lose her chance to team up with a powerful figure now that others have discovered him. A group chat erupts with fans proclaiming that a priest has shattered class barriers by outclassing warriors and inspiring a revolution. Online commenters condemn a privileged student for using his father's influence, and call for him and his accomplices to be punished. As the stock value of Huang Corporation crashes, the public erupts with accusations and demands for accountability. An upset girl demands her parents punish someone she believes has gone too far. He raises his cup and warns Mumu to stop. She delivers a stern warning about the dangers of abusing power, while he listens in silence. Mumu calls out for her mother, her eyes filled with longing. While watching the broadcast of the intense fight, Mumu questions whether they should intervene or let him handle it alone. A man seated before a shadowy panel evaluates the impressive potential of someone who has not yet taken the professional test. A gloved hand forcefully presses a red button on the device, initiating an abrupt pause. A man surrounded by red energy remarks that awakening such a powerful talent only to become a priest seems wasteful. A confident figure argues that an extraordinary talent deserves immediate admission to the professional alliance. A confident man proposes admitting Lin Yi into the alliance ahead of schedule. Two women agree that urgent alliance admission is necessary for global stability. A sinister man taunts someone in the shadows, questioning his resolve about his son. A confident man encourages others to view the situation as an opportunity and urges them to take action. A stern man with glasses sits at his desk in tense silence, lost in thought. A tense man in a suit publicly apologizes for his son's actions and promises to resolve the situation through company arrangements. One figure stands over their defeated opponent, who pleads desperately from within a shattered, glowing crater. A plea for mercy stops him as he turns to see a helicopter approaching in the night sky. A suited man rushes over and urgently announces that the chairman of the Huang Corporation wants to speak. Battered but emboldened, he taunts his opponent with the promise of his father's arrival. Yulin defiantly rejects the Huang Corporation chairman's attempt to intimidate him, insisting he show up in person. A man in a suit bows deeply and pleads for forgiveness, offering a digital tablet as compensation. A stunned character reacts in disbelief to someone bowing to another person. A furious man confronts the calm protagonist about the shocking claim that his father will apologize. Time passes, marked by a glowing blue transition across the scene. A man in a suit approaches and confirms an important meeting is about to begin at the foot of digital stairs. A weary man in a suit and glasses confesses responsibility for Huang Xiaofeng's actions. A man earnestly offers compensation and requests the group hand over Huang Xiaofeng for strict discipline. Unconscious and battered, the protagonist collapses from exhaustion as the call to support the trial echoes. The protagonist accepts the offer but insists on discussing the details of the compensation. The protagonist demands 3 sets of unrestricted diamond equipment for a priest, a mage, and a swordsman. A figure demands an additional 5 million alliance coins, standing before a towering pile of gold, blue armor, and a large sword. A man in a suit reacts with shock as unexpected news is revealed. A man with glasses anxiously reveals that finding 3 level-free diamond sets for different classes is nearly impossible across the entire country. A man in a suit explains that obtaining 3 sets of level-free diamond equipment will take a few days, but promises to arrange farming in special dungeons and secure extra support from the alliance. A battered figure is escorted out of a helicopter by stern men, while someone angrily complains about having to clean up the mess again. A man in a suit holds a glowing device to his glasses and begins scanning the area. A hidden surveillance camera is detected in the woods through a digital targeting interface. A cautious hand reaches toward the glowing surveillance camera hidden in the bushes. A man in glasses, accompanied by bodyguards, announces the end of the broadcast and informs viewers about a forthcoming compensation discussion on tomorrow's live stream. Realizing the alliance has noticed him, he grows wary and questions if they have already discovered his unusual talent. One man offers access to over 50 secret dungeons near Jiang City as part of the negotiation. Multiple powerful factions with long-standing rivalries control Jiang City. He assures that a month will be enough. A man is stunned as he learns that over 50 dungeons were cleared in a single month. Two men in suits react with shock as they question whether a newcomer could accomplish such a surprising feat. On a dimly lit road, one man arranges a team dinner for the next night, promises to address online rumors publicly, and instructs another to live stream the event. A character analyzes the depth of Lin Ye's strategic planning. An older man confidently praises the limitless potential of someone off-panel. A finger hits the button, abruptly ending the video. Under the moonlight, the protagonist receives a warning and reflects on the complicated nature of Huang Tianqi's family. Yilin firmly refuses to discuss the family matters and stands his ground in the dark forest. The scene shifts to the renowned five-star restaurant Yezilin, famed in Jiang City for its international chefs and exceptional reputation. The restaurant offers private rooms to all guests, highlighting its dedication to customer experience. The group is escorted down a grand staircase into an exclusive venue where every guest, regardless of their order, receives the same VIP treatment. One character warns the other to stay cautious at the banquet despite an earlier apology, but receives a confident reassurance in response. He quickly realizes the apology is a calculated move to secure his favor. A waiter ushers two guests through the doors of room 888 for a reserved meeting. A well-dressed man with glasses invites the newcomer to sit at the table. The guests are welcomed to the table and invited to sit as the meal is about to begin. A formally dressed man with glasses offers a remorseful apology for his son's malicious actions. Mumu reacts in shock to the man's unexpectedly humble attitude. She is taken aback as she realizes an unexpected quality in someone. Two girls are stunned as they learn the surprising truth about Huang Xiaofeng's father. The protagonist reflects on how a parent's devotion can drive them to make calculated decisions, considering the chairman's willingness to humble himself for his child. Yilin firmly states that he will forgive past actions if there is genuine remorse and future restraint. Two characters seal their alliance with a firm handshake. A suited man receives permission to present the items as everyone in the elegant room watches attentively. A man inspects the Demon Emperor's regal attire set, analyzing its impressive stats and compatibility with his current gear. A swirling red aura intensifies as the staff wielder reveals that the supposed healing ability doubles the reverse damage. He leans back and declares his satisfaction with confidence. Mumu smiles in awe as magical armor materializes before her. She studies the floating diamond-grade gear, realizing the immense investment behind their display. She gratefully accepts the new gear, ready for what comes next. The conflict is resolved as the two men shake hands, signaling acceptance of the apology and prompting everyone to disperse. Four people sit around the table in a warmly lit room, engaged in a serious meeting. Mumu enjoys her meal, looking cheerful among the flowers. The meeting ends as one character offers to escort the other past the reporters outside. A character presents the nightmare level pass to the Land of Bones and promises additional dungeon resources. Yilin clenches his glowing fist, activating his power with confidence. Paparazzi gather with cameras ready as they eagerly anticipate someone stepping out. A crowd swarms the corridor, bombarding the two with questions about the rumored solo dungeon achievement. Sparks crackle as Yilin strides forward, making a dramatic entrance. A wounded man writhes in bed as violent demonic energy engulfs him. Dark energy swirls as he unleashes a mysterious power. An injured man confronts a mysterious presence as dark energy gathers around him. A towering demon emerges from the shadows, boldly declaring its formidable rank and power. Lying injured in bed, the protagonist glares up and angrily confronts someone, expressing bitter disappointment. A defiant human taunts the shadowy figure, mocking its defeat and warning of its return to the abyss. Injured and defensive, he insists his retreat was strategic as a shadowy figure looms over him. The shadowy figure challenges his resolve with a menacing glare. A shadowy presence tempts the desperate man slumped over his glowing tablet with an ominous offer. A towering demonic presence offers Yilin overwhelming power as dark energy swirls around him. A shadowy figure is blasted away as the character unleashes a powerful attack, forcing the enemy to retreat. An injured man rises from his bed, angrily rejecting an offer and defiantly dismissing pity. A shadowy figure restrains his violent urge, waiting for the right moment to act. A lone figure stands amid swirling dark energy, listening as a mysterious offer is made, to call upon the name Mei Gao when ready. A monstrous shadow offers immense abyssal power, promising to transform its target into an unyielding fallen being. A dangerous dungeon called the Land of Bones is revealed, marked with a nightmare-level warning. The group advances through the shadowy cavern as one member asks another about the remaining uses of their awakened talent this week. The Land of Bones is revealed, a desolate area encircled by countless dormant skeletons. A magical warning appears, cautioning that entering will awaken dangerous creatures who see intruders as prey. A raised finger signals the beginning of an important announcement. They discuss how to better manage and conserve valuable resources for future challenges. The group surveys the vast treasure in the dungeon, unimpressed since their diamond-grade gear already surpasses anything found here. A dangerous dungeon with catastrophe-level difficulty is about to open, promising greater rewards but even greater risks. He considers acquiring a weapon that could help overcome the transition period or be sold for a high price. He outlines 3 main objectives for the dungeon: earning attribute points, acquiring a platinum weapon, and completing an SSS-level strategy on nightmare difficulty. Mumu playfully assures the other person that she will only intervene if they make a mistake. 2 figures climb a cliff strewn with giant bones as they approach the ominous dungeon known for its high difficulty. A system message explains that 4 conditions are required to achieve an SSS rating. Deadly objectives are set: defeat the final boss Undead Knight, and eliminate all undead skeletons. A warning is issued against using the holy sword to suppress all undead in the land of bones. A group of armored skeleton warriors advances as the requirement to keep the holy sword above 60% durability before clearing the dungeon is revealed. A nervous girl explains that while the land of bones is easy to clear on lower levels using the holy sword, she is facing the nightmare difficulty for the first time. Mumu questions whether a game could still be called Nightmare if a 300% restraint damage cheat were allowed. After planning to sell their dungeon loot for snacks, one character hugs her companion, while another reacts with playful resignation. He raises his ornate weapon, commanding everyone to watch as red energy swirls around him. He bites his finger, drawing blood. A drop of blood falls from a hand and cracks the ground. A wounded figure uses blood to draw the skeletons toward him, forcing them to ignore the holy sword's barrier while others watch from above. Blood erupts from his chest as he enters a state of continuous bleeding. He collapses to his knees, coughing up blood as all his attributes are suddenly weakened. A group of skeletal warriors hastily pulls back as a distant figure intimidates them. Mumu urgently throws a pain relief herb pill to someone while shielding a younger girl. A hand grips the green stone tightly as energy surges around it. A determined figure absorbs dark energy as shadows and a skeletal pendant swirl around him. Robotic enemies surge through the rain toward the glowing pillar as a hooded figure races to intercept them. With health and vitality critically low, the protagonist barely escapes a relentless pursuit by undead skeletons through the darkness. Mumu anxiously wonders if they should go up and help. Mumu insists that they should trust him completely. A blade slices through an arm, spraying blood as the attack lands. Yulin struggles to fend off giant skeletal monsters as his health drops dangerously low. The group arrives at the ominous entrance of the Land of Bones dungeon, ready to begin their descent. A powerful healing spell is activated, instantly restoring health multiple times. A group of skeleton warriors suddenly react in surprise to something unexpected ahead. Bathed in red light, the protagonist unleashes a devastating counterattack against the advancing skeletal monsters. Dark energy surges as Yilin's eye glows fiercely, signaling the release of his ominous power. A torrent of red energy obliterates the skeletal horde in a violent onslaught. All undead skeletons are instantly defeated. A figure stands atop the shattered ground, surrounded by a fierce green aura, making a dramatic entrance. Two figures stand at the edge of a massive pit, staring into its dark depths. Two startled women look up as a sudden blue light signals an unexpected threat. He braces himself and prepares to descend into the shadowy depths. A powerful undead night boss bursts from the cave, forcing the two adventurers to brace for battle. A furious skeletal knight, radiating green energy, charges forward on a skeletal horse while issuing a deadly threat. A monster skull engulfed in spectral flames hurtles forward as a devastating attack is unleashed. A surge of red energy erupts as Yilin unleashes the reversal healing art. A surge of force erupts as the sword slams into the ground, unleashing a devastating attack. A devastating red energy attack slams into the monstrous skeletal figure. The armored skeletal monster suffers a massive blow, losing 500 health. With a surge of red energy, the attacker effortlessly overpowers his opponent. A devastating surge of divine magic crashes down, unleashing catastrophic damage. The undead knight collapses as its shattered armor and broken weapons scatter across the battlefield. A notification announces that the undead knight's power increases as a passive skill activates. A sinister skull creature summons dark forces from the shadows. A wave of undead creatures rapidly regenerates as the shocking resurrection is announced. Undead warriors, clad in glowing armor, rise from the ground as the figure in the center summons them on the barren battlefield. A skeletal knight on a ghostly warhorse charges forward, threatening the human with a final ultimatum. A sinister smirk forms as red energy crackles around him. Hidden behind a rock, two characters observe the battle as one mocks the enemy's inability to heal effectively. She declares that with a surge of power, she can defeat them in just 3 seconds. A surge of energy erupts as the spellcaster annihilates the undead with a decisive attack. A skeletal, demonic figure recoils in shock, startled by a sudden event. Yulin launches a fierce attack, activating the reversal healing art, plundering technique to drain his opponent's health. A spectral skull streaks downward, unleashing a powerful attack amid the chaos. The dungeon boss falls, triggering an explosion of energy as the protagonist claims top-tier rewards and an SSS rank for completing all hidden conditions. The protagonist stands empowered in magical armor as their upgraded stats, equipment, and powerful abilities are displayed. Yilin is praised for his performance, while two teammates are noted for not contributing and receive no experience reward. She freezes in shock, struggling to process the unexpected revelation. After successfully defending the Holy Sword's shield in the Land of Bones dungeon, a unique stone sword key is awarded, granting access to the perilous Land of Death. A catastrophe-level dungeon key is revealed, leaving the group stunned as the final task vanishes and a chest reward prompt appears. Mumu discovers that a hidden one-time dungeon key exists in the Bone Soup dungeon. He explains that the exclusive dungeon key can only be used once, causing both the dungeon and its rewards to disappear, making it a highly valuable asset. The hierarchy of dungeons is explained, revealing that the most dangerous and rare ones are controlled by professional groups. Beaming with excitement, she eagerly asks if one-time dungeons offer better rewards than regular ones of the same level. She enthusiastically explains that one-time dungeons offer significantly better and personalized rewards. He questions whether even the highest-ranked professionals have ever kept the shield's health at 100%. The group eagerly prepares to open the treasure chest, curious about what rewards await inside. He laughs nervously and answers yes. A gold chest bursts open, granting 2 powerful gold-level skills. A platinum chest bursts open, releasing 10 attribute points, the Hound's Fang, and the Meteor Staff. One character offers the Meteor Staff as a potential new weapon, while the other hesitantly considers the suggestion. The sly girl reassures the group that gaining 10 free attribute points is already a win, while the pink-haired girl laughs nervously, and the others listen. A hand activates the stat screen, instantly boosting intelligence to a new high. One character hands the Meteor Staff to another, and instructs them to equip it for its compatibility with their Earth attribute. The group evaluates their advantage in the professional test and debates their next destination. A figure is teleported into the dungeon to gain experience and reach level 10. 2 figures receive instructions to tackle the dangerous land of bones for valuable experience as they stand before a glowing skull entrance. With clenched fists, she asserts her readiness. One character urgently pulls another away from an unseen threat, warning of imminent danger. His eye widens as he suddenly realizes something crucial. A tense standoff unfolds as one character steps protectively in front of another, confronting 2 figures approaching on the mountain path. A man threatens a terrified girl with a knife, demanding to know if they took the stone sword key. A hostile group confronts the pair in a rocky clearing and demands they hand over the stone sword key. 2 figures stand ready to face each other, tension rising as a confrontation looms. An assassin seizes Mumu from behind and threatens her with a knife to force compliance. A furious character glares intensely, demanding to know why. A defiant girl launches a powerful upward kick, sending her armored opponent flying. Yulin unleashes a surge of fiery energy from his hand, his glare intense and threatening. A sudden blast of red energy forces Mumu to recoil in alarm. Mumu lunges forward and brings her massive sword crashing down with tremendous force. A figure wreathed in red flames confronts 2 opponents, one of whom stands ready beside a fallen ally. With a fierce glare, he demands the antagonists release her or face deadly consequences. Mumu sits defiant on the ground, coughing as she endures the encroaching magical flames and taunts her attacker. A sudden red energy attack slams into Yulin's torso, leaving him reeling in shock. A violent explosion hurls a figure backward through the air. A hooded man pushes forward through the mist, ignoring a muscular man's angry shout to stop. A young fighter, radiating sinister energy, stands victorious over a convulsing enemy as another approaches with her sword ready. A furious woman struggles against restraint as a fiery apparition looms above her, unleashing supernatural power. 2 figures stand over a defeated enemy, warning the cowering would-be robber to leave as red energy swirls around them. A man threatens his enemy with a malicious grin, declaring they will regret their arrogance in hell. At a brutal command, 2 men surge forward, one crackling with blue energy, the other conjuring searing flames, ready to eliminate everyone in their path. A fierce attacker charges forward, unleashing a fiery assault and prioritizing the defeat of the main target before dealing with the others. Mumu angrily questions a teammate's disregard for their group's safety. With a tense expression and blood on his face, the man orders his allies to fall back. Someone senses an ominous magical presence approaching. A character unleashes a catastrophic attack, channeling abyssal power to confront enemies who have sacrificed their humanity for demonic strength. A group braces themselves at the center of a blood-red magic formation as massive fireballs crash down toward them. Amid a fiery explosion, a cloaked figure taunts their helpless opponent. A hooded man orders his companion to steal their target's equipment. A shadowy figure unleashes a surge of energy with a swift weapon attack. He stands firm, completely unaffected by the powerful blow. A hooded man is caught off guard as someone suddenly charges at him from behind. A desperate survivor urges a companion to heal quickly after witnessing their group killed instantly. The shocked man struggles to comprehend how the priest, despite being underleveled, unleashed such overwhelming power. A menacing figure radiates an overwhelming, inhuman aura, stunning everyone nearby. A hooded man dashes through the storm, urgently telling others to run. Yulin charges at his enemy, vowing not to let him escape after collaborating with demons. A colossal, fiery apparition erupts above the battlefield, forcing 2 terrified figures to cower beneath its overwhelming power. A devastating surge of red and white energy blasts into the ground, causing a violent eruption. The male character unleashes an uncontrollable surge of red energy, overwhelmed by its agonizing force. Reversal skills with enhanced damage are powerful enough to instantly defeat even a high constitution boss at nightmare level. Standing atop the rock, the confident figure declares that even professionals 5 levels higher are doomed as their health can be wiped out. 2 armed figures urgently debate whether to hide the bodies, fearing their enemies might soon discover them. A news broadcast announces that 2 fallen ones have escaped from prison. Yulin inspects the fallen opponent's belongings, noting the mix of platinum and gold equipment with locked attributes. He examines the glowing sigil on the severed hand and realizes only fallen ones can use it. With fierce determination, he affirms his readiness to act. A powerful, glowing sword is revealed as the gateway to the Giant's Demise Forest is announced. He reacts with satisfaction upon obtaining the Calamity-level dungeon pass. A group of adventurers approaches the infamous level 10 dungeon, Giant's Demise Forest, which no raid team has cleared for years. The Dark Curse Knight stands as a formidable obstacle, forcing elite teams to unite and face the peril of the Giant's Demise Forest for more than just rewards. The adventurers eagerly claim the key to the Catastrophe-level dungeon after their flawless first-time clear. A hand clenches a sharp purple object, setting aside its secret for another time. The group arrives at the edge of the giant's demise forest, facing a vast chasm. Mumu eagerly asks if they can go to the place she's excited about. The group prepares to enter the dungeon as soon as the cooldown ends. They plan their next move, determined to reach level 10 in the dungeon and secure a pass to the Forgotten Nest as ominous red eyes watch from the darkness. The group debates how to dispose of the fallen enemy's body to avoid leaving any evidence. She considers how much easier it would be to dispose of the bodies if someone in the group were a summoner. One character nervously tries to break the tension by addressing the other two, who remain anxious and unsettled. Carrying two unconscious opponents, Yilin suggests throwing them into the dungeon to make them vanish during its cooldown. One character enthusiastically points out an unexpected function of the dungeon, while another is caught off guard in the background. The group prepares to return to the academy for rest before heading to the next destination once their abilities are ready. A woman smiles as she affectionately pats the head of a cheerful girl who pumps her fist with excitement. After preparing for the upgrade exam, the group takes a break to enjoy a meal and discuss their plans to earn more alliance coins. She savors a colorful dessert, her face lighting up with pure joy. Two people enjoy a meal together and agree to visit this place again when they have free time. Mumu insists on saving money for equipment instead of spending it on food and entertainment. One character eagerly insists on paying the bill at the table. With a confident smile, the leader assures the team they will have enough funds next time. A waiter tells the two diners that their bill has already been paid by someone else, leaving them surprised and curious. A wary observer notices a mysterious figure confidently seated at the table and questions their identity. A confident man with white hair and a monocle introduces himself as an official from the Professionals Alliance and the head of Lingyun's sect. A student introduces himself and his teammates to a silver-haired man while shaking hands. A composed, silver-haired man extends an invitation to join the Lingyun sect and gain early entry into the Professionals Alliance. The group reacts with shock and curiosity upon hearing about early entry into the alliance. He hesitates, worried that accepting the offer without taking the test will make others suspect favoritism and question his abilities. The character firmly rejects the offer and states they have no intention of joining any sect. One man acknowledges the other's refusal and notes that strong individuals have their own reasons as they share a drink. Yulin confidently invites someone to join the alliance while sipping his drink. A confident man extends an open invitation for assistance and formally challenges the newcomer to a duel upon arrival. The young man smirks, intrigued by the challenge posed by the Lingyun sect. Surrounded by swirling magical energy in the courtyard, the two prepare as a new round of challenges begins. Mumu charges forward, engulfed in blazing phoenix-shaped energy. A system message announces the activation of a special buff that upgrades chest rewards for the next 24 hours. Yulin uses the pass and key to activate a portal to Giant's Demise Forest. A high-level dungeon portal called Giant's Demise Forest opens as a magical interface announces its activation. Two figures advance toward a massive, glowing portal at the heart of the dark forest, preparing to enter the deadly Giant's Demise Forest. The group enters the ominous Giant's Demise Forest, preparing to face a perilous dungeon with unparalleled difficulty. Spectral fallen soldiers charge forward, initiating their attack. Mumu tells Yilin to move ahead while she and her allies unleash bionic tears to confront the lesser enemies. A glowing figure strikes the stone golem midair, inflicting massive critical damage. She suddenly realizes her power has changed. The fighter unleashes a series of powerful attacks that inflict double the damage on the shadowy enemy. A figure raises his hand and activates a healing spell, channeling energy through his fingers. As an urgent warning is shouted, a student quickly dodges an enemy attack in the dark, wooded battlefield, demonstrating the effectiveness of the new equipment. A fierce fighter dives from above, delivering a crushing blow to the shadowy monster. Mumu leaps aside, narrowly avoiding a devastating purple energy attack from the armored figure. A determined figure unleashes a wave of poisonous bubbles in a fierce attack. Mumu unleashes a fiery attack, slashing forward with flames swirling around her. A figure is obliterated in a violent explosion, scattering debris in all directions. A sudden gust of wind disrupts the moonlit forest, sending leaves and branches flying. Ominous purple energy swirls through the dark forest as the group readies their weapons and urgently warns each other to stay alert. Yulin urgently warns everyone as dark, swirling energy signals the first boss's arrival. An imposing armored knight appears, displaying intimidating stats and a list of powerful skills. A surge of energy explodes across the battlefield as a devastating attack is unleashed. Mumu grips her staff tightly, anxiously watching to see if the enemy has been defeated. With fierce determination, he refuses to surrender. The team quickly coordinates their positions as they prepare to weaken the monster and inflict continuous damage. A massive armored weapon wreathed in purple flames crashes down with overwhelming force. A fierce combatant unleashes a blazing slash as their shadowy opponent counters with a toxic poison bubble. A powerful spear strike inflicts massive damage and severe status effects on the white-armored knight, turning the battle's momentum. A heavily armored figure unleashes a surge of knight abilities, dramatically boosting health and defenses. She realizes the enemy becomes invincible when its health drops to 1/4. She braces herself, struggling against the overwhelming strength of the first boss. One character prepares to distract the enemy while instructing the others to avoid drawing its attention as a powerful skill is about to be unleashed. A cloaked figure brandishes a spear and aggressively challenges the glowing armored opponent in the dark forest. Surveying the area, He evaluates the vantage point and anticipates a long-range attack from a skilled opponent. A figure in shining armor activates a lion-shaped energy shield that blocks 300 physical and 300 magical damage. A figure unleashes a devastating radiant javelin attack, crashing down with explosive force. A devastating blast erupts, scattering debris and energy across the scene. A shadowy figure unleashes a powerful transformation, gaining immense strength as red energy surges around him. A heavily armored figure inspects the mysterious blue energy, puzzled by its presence. Yulin unleashes the reversal healing art plundering technique, sending a surge of energy at his shadowy opponent. Realizing long-range attacks are ineffective, Yulin rushes in to prepare for close combat. A heavily armored figure surges forward, unleashing a fierce, spirit-powered charge attack. A surge of energy erupts as the protagonist activates the blink skill and dashes forward. Yulin releases a surge of supernatural power, launching the reversal clarity art confinement technique at his opponent. Yulin activates the flickering stone, instantly teleporting forward with a burst of lightning energy. Yulin reveals that his opponent has already fallen into his trap as red energy swirls around him. A fierce clash erupts as one fighter seizes the chance to counterattack, exploiting the enemy's weakened state after its holy light skill fades. Yulin strikes decisively as his opponent, drained of protective skills, stands vulnerable amidst fading purple energy. A lone figure armed with a spear confronts the towering purple beast under the tense night sky. A chained, flaming armored figure blocks the way as one character brandishes a weapon and shouts a warning. Surrounded by red energy, he confidently unleashes a powerful reversal skill with his weapon. A colossal beam of red and white energy slams into the ground, triggering a violent explosion. The team defeats the White Spirit Knight, gains experience, and levels up, realizing the dungeon's high difficulty after their victory. The group recognizes that, despite their powerful equipment, they could not have survived without crucial support that prevented them from taking damage. The group prepares to ascend the mountain, following the guide's instructions toward the second boss. He scans the area, confused by the lack of signposts guiding him. Vines lash out and seize both characters, suspending them high above a chasm as they realize they have triggered the dungeon's special teleportation trap. One character warns another to roll before landing to avoid being flagged as injured by the dungeon as she falls toward the ground. A hand releases a surge of red energy, unleashing a powerful supernatural force. A magical barrier forms as the group braces for their confrontation with the legendary Curse Teacher. A cloaked figure is suddenly ambushed by a high-speed attack, putting the group in immediate danger. Mumu urgently calls out to Yulin, her face tense with worry. A blonde girl shouts desperately for her boss, her face filled with panic. A menacing armored knight radiating dark energy appears in the forest and challenges the cloaked figure. Under a sudden, unseen boss attack, the protagonist braces himself and relies on his special ability to survive. The giant armored enemy unleashes a powerful, magic-infused attack on the smaller cloaked figure as the battle intensifies in the dark forest. A masked figure is hit by a devastating energy attack. A powerful, homing attack hurtles toward two startled defenders as an ally urgently orders them to block it head-on. A fierce girl launches a powerful wave of flames at her opponent. A fiery orange figure struggles to withstand a massive shockwave as it clashes with a powerful blue energy wave. Mumu collapses to her knees, bleeding heavily as a flaming sword burns in her grip, while another woman recoils in shock at the damage sustained. An armored figure channels swirling blue energy, preparing to unleash a powerful technique as their movements begin to stiffen. A worried ally quickly gives a healing potion to the injured fighter, realizing he cannot use his priest skills right now. A fierce blast of radiant energy erupts as the attack is unleashed. A massive, fiery sword attack crashes down with overwhelming force. A surge of destructive divine energy explodes across the scene, signaling the onset of catastrophic power. A character unleashes a powerful healing art, activating the plundering technique as red energy engulfs the scene. She realizes that even their strongest attack barely damaged the enemy, despite their upgraded gear. Mumu unleashes a barrage of poison bubbles and ice spikes, attacking with both elements at once. The ice prison violently shatters as energy erupts from within. A heavily armored figure endures a devastating magical attack and loses a significant amount of health. Yulin descends rapidly, his eyes glowing red and his clawed, energy-wrapped hand ready as he announces the threat's arrival. Yulin hurls a devastating surge of red-black energy at his unseen foe. A fierce sword strike from Yulin crashes into the giant armored enemy, sending red energy slashing across the battlefield. A masked warrior unleashes a powerful upward energy slash at an airborne opponent. A dark figure unleashes a triple energy slash, striking the opponent and rapidly restoring health. A mysterious purple pendant radiates an intense, ominous energy. A digital display pinpoints a critical weakness on the man's neck as he tenses in alarm. Two figures clash in midair as one unleashes a critical attack. A sudden burst of energy erupts behind the two women, causing them to react in shock and alarm. Green healing energy flows around his hand as he recovers from his injury. Clenching his glowing, cursed hand, the protagonist braces himself to resist the powerful curse. An armored figure unleashes a devastating attack while two defenders brace themselves to resist. The Dark Curse Knight focuses all attention on the priest. One character urgently commands to stick to the plan as another prepares to face a massive attack. A courageous fighter charges forward, unleashing a powerful technique to draw the enemy's attention and protect his allies. Two fighters launch a coordinated magical counterattack against the armored boss, exploiting its reliance on skill-based damage. Amid a flurry of battle, the fighter assesses the calamity-level boss's overwhelming defenses and urges the group to hold out a little longer. An armored figure triggers the aggro transfer skill, drawing enemy focus. Mumu hides behind a tree as the armored figure searches the area for her. A devastating blast strikes the armored warrior, causing a massive loss of health. Yulin steps forward and challenges the armored enemy, making it clear that the fight is between them. Yulin steps forward, radiating a red demonic aura as he pledges to shield his teammates from every attack. A furious figure unleashes a devastating, crimson energy attack, aiming to annihilate the opponent. A heavily armored figure slams a massive spear into the ground, unleashing a surge of ominous purple energy that scatters debris. A powerful transformation surges as a menacing armored arm is engulfed in swirling energy. He freezes in shock as he suddenly realizes something unexpected. The defeat of the Dark Curse Knight triggers a victory notification, awarding experience points and lowering the dungeon's calamity level. Yulin unleashes a surge of blue energy as the others watch in shock. A game system notification announces the flawless defeat of the dungeon boss and grants a unique summon reward. One character, wide-eyed and gripping another's arm, reacts in shock to the revelation that the powerful entity known as Curse Teacher was defeated, can still be summoned to clear dungeons, and that the dungeon's difficulty was reduced. The team celebrates their flawless victory over the boss, recognizing the impressive rewards earned with the help of a luck buff. Mumu reacts with excitement as the system messages continue, wondering if something even more impressive is about to happen. A radiant golden portal appears as the entry pass for the Catastrophe level dungeon is granted. One character confidently reveals that defeating the Curse Teacher is necessary to obtain the entry pass for the Forgotten Nest, surprising the other. He considers the possible consequences as he plans to complete the hidden task and alter the dungeon setup. The group leaves behind the defeated Curse Teacher and advances along the glowing golden trail toward the final boss in the mystical forest. The group advances along the shadowy path toward the glowing skull, knowing only the giant remains deep in the forest. The dungeon's second boss, Dark Curse Knight, is revealed as the main challenge, while the final boss is a massive but unintelligent brute. A stone tablet reveals the stats and mysterious origins of an unknown giant creature. Two teammates review their plan and ready their weapons as they prepare to attack the target's left foot. Three adventurers prepare to confront a massive monster, quickly discussing its attack patterns and planning their approach. One character confidently proposes using Curse Teacher to handle the difficult task, surprising their armed companion. A powerful armored knight, surrounded by blue energy, is summoned to the battlefield. With urgency, the decisive leader commands the ally to take action. A monstrous armored figure is knocked back by a sudden, powerful attack as debris scatters through the air. A decisive figure unleashes a powerful, glowing attack against the monstrous enemy. An armored figure launches a devastating fiery attack at the monstrous enemy. Glowing lines illuminate a vulnerability as someone activates a weakness detection ability. Yulin unleashes a series of powerful, energy-charged sword attacks, filling the air with intersecting slashes. The team activates powerful buffs and prepares for a coordinated attack as energy swirls around the raised greatsword. The protagonist launches a series of powerful attacks, striking the monstrous pink creature with a fiery sword as it releases toxic bubbles. A devastating blue energy attack explodes outward, striking the monstrous figure surrounded by converging sharp objects. Shrouded in red energy, he unleashes a powerful finishing attack. A massive burst of red energy explodes outward, engulfing everything in its path. The team defeats the dungeon boss, earning experience points and leveling up. Yulin unleashes a surge of flame-like energy, his expression unwavering with determination. An excited supporter announces the protagonist's level up as he stands empowered by golden energy and a glowing emblem. The challengers are stunned as the dungeon upgrades to SSS rank and they gain multiple level ups in quick succession. After completing the dungeon, upgraded diamond and platinum reward chests appear, ready to be opened. One girl celebrates another's remarkable luck with a hug while a teammate explains that her good fortune is the reason she was added to the group. A diamond chest bursts open, granting powerful rewards and bonuses to the entire group. The group receives platinum chest rewards, gaining attribute points, new equipment, and rare items. A selection of powerful equipment and skills is introduced, each offering unique enhancements and effects. He examines the glowing magical emblem and tests his new skill with growing interest. A lone figure unleashes a devastating crimson wave that sweeps across the battlefield, dealing heavy damage and inflicting random debuffs on all nearby enemies. He studies the glowing weapon and realizes his reversal talent does not convert team buff skills into harmful effects. He activates the reverse skill, dispelling his own debuffs, boosting his speed, and turning Rising Tide into a debuff applicator against enemies. He considers the unpredictable nature of the effects, weighing possibilities like attribute reduction, healing reduction, or control debuffs. Yulin masters the Rising Tide skill and considers focusing on dispel techniques for greater control. Flaming energy surges around the figure as he demonstrates overwhelming magical power with his staff. Yulin realizes he can use his reversal ability to alter the very nature of skills. The group prepares to leave the dungeon as one member plans to report the disappearance and the dungeon's decreased difficulty to the academy. He braces himself, fully aware that his actions will draw significant attention. The following morning, shocking news erupts in the principal's office. An older man reacts in shock upon hearing that Lin Yi defeated the Dark Curse Knight in the Giant's Demise Forest. An older man behind a desk informs two younger individuals that someone achieved SSS rank in the Calamity level Giant's Demise Forest, lowering the dungeon's difficulty after completing the final task. A crucial item, the entry pass for Forgotten Nest, is revealed. A white-haired man with a monocle informs the group that only 73 human professionals have entered the Forgotten Nest so far. The deadly challenge claimed 24 lives, while the rest gave up without making it halfway. Examining the evidence with determination, he concludes that another attempt is impossible. Frustrated by the restrictions, he kneels on the ground and clenches his fist, struggling to accept that a second entry pass is unavailable or the level limit has been exceeded. They discuss the strict requirement to enter at level 15 and the Alliance's commitment to support, but emphasize that success inside depends entirely on him. An elderly man reflects on how all the Academy's students owe someone their gratitude. Three men debate the decision to hold a commendation ceremony and discuss how their earlier proposal to seal the dungeon was rejected. A stern man with glasses announces that students unable to face difficulties will be eliminated, as the Alliance will not support those unfit to be professionals. A stern man at the desk discusses how the Dark Curse Knight has discouraged generations of students. He deflects the question with a sly smile, holding his fan. Mumu urgently reports to the principal about unexpected trouble involving Lin Ye's team. Online outrage erupts as forum users accuse the dungeon explorer of making deals with demons and demand severe punishment. Mumu firmly defends Lin Ye's reputation in front of the group, highlighting his achievements and status as the Academy's pride. Mumu desperately pleads with the officials to help Yilin. A determined man activates a glowing holographic interface to begin verification. Online commenters accuse the priest of fraud and demonic collusion, casting doubt on his abilities and demanding an investigation. Two adults argue about whether to disqualify a student accused of being a fallen one, with one demanding proof and the other defending the student's innocence. A white-haired man offers to accompany the pink-haired woman to investigate the teacher's situation. A man smirks and casts doubt on whether the teacher actually exists. A silver-haired character proposes that the Alliance, the school, and the Huang family release a joint statement to address damaging rumors, but warns it may not be enough. The protagonist steps forward and requests a demon aura test. Officials announce at a press conference that the source of the rumor has confessed, disproving claims of an internal leak. An official stamps documents regarding the alleged deal with demons as a camera records the process. A tense crowd confronts the lone figure on stage, demanding answers about the demon aura test and questioning the Alliance's credibility. Yilin arrives for the demon aura test, attracting attention and suspicion from onlookers. The crowd falls silent, tense with anticipation as everyone waits for what will happen next. Yilin confronts the reporters, telling them not to be reporters if they're so scared. Reporters close in and bombard the distressed woman with accusations, demanding answers. Someone urges the others to stop talking and pay attention to the live testing. Armed guards escort a man toward the Holy Judgment Array as a machine activates for demon aura testing. Yilin, radiating determination, puts on his jacket and prepares to move forward. A guard activates the demon aura detection test as Yilin stands calmly within the glowing interface. He reassures the other person that most professionals have confidence in their strength. Yilin powers up, intrigued as he comments on the situation. Surrounded by a glowing energy aura, he reassures his ally and activates his power, focusing on not worrying those who trust him as his status displays 50%. Yilin faces the threat of immediate arrest as he stands confidently before his challengers. Golden energy swirls around as the power level reaches 85%. The gauge reaches full power as the two men watch anxiously. The test confirms there is no demon aura or contamination detected. A man in tactical gear promises to print the report immediately while addressing someone off-panel. The test results confirm zero demon aura contamination, leaving the crowd in disbelief. The crowd is stunned as the priest's incredible power sparks admiration and speculation about his true abilities. The protagonist boldly announces he will reveal his attribute points and level, daring anyone with objections to confront him alone or together. A frustrated young man leaps from his bed, reeling in disbelief as he suspects foul play behind the shocking news. Yilin leaps out of the window, rushing to warn someone in the street below. Carrying groceries, the protagonist walks down the street, unaware that someone is secretly following. A stern man spies from behind a door, criticizing someone for indulging in snacks and milk tea instead of grinding dungeons. Yilin anxiously scans the area, unaware that someone is watching him from the shadows. One character delivers a sudden, forceful kick to another's torso, escalating the confrontation. A man in sunglasses angrily confronts someone, while another young man watches the tense exchange unfold. An assertive man in a white suit confronts a confused young man on the sidewalk and warns him. Two young men stand together as one urgently brings up the abyss demons, but the other dismisses the concern. Two figures are pulled into a glowing portal as the others watch from inside the cave. An agitated man urgently warns his companion about a looming threat and insists they report the incident to the Alliance immediately. Yilin confronts someone, questioning the credibility of their story about resisting an abyss demon and reporting it to the authorities. The young man scoffs at his hidden enemies, mocking their inability to face him openly and refusing to submit. One character loudly boasts about being the best in every way, while another stands by looking irritated and uncomfortable. Despite his attitude, he managed to resist the demon's temptation. Yulin asserts his intense hatred for abyss demons and confidently boasts that his talent surpasses anything they could ever achieve. Ignoring the angry outbursts behind him, Yulin carries his groceries and leaves the confrontation. Someone decides to contact Wang Tianqi and arrange for his confinement again, feeling frustrated by the ongoing noise. Yulin pauses outside, noticing something unusual below. Yulin discovers a message on his phone revealing that the person spreading rumors has been caught. Two students exchange urgent messages exposing a classmate who spread rumors and resold edited dungeon guides, while one demands proof. Yulin issues strict orders over the phone to block someone and address rumors by preparing evidence for an official announcement. Standing outside the building with shopping bags, he negotiates exclusive dungeon guides in exchange for information from his group. A hand sends a voice message preview about the upcoming Land of Bones skip class guide. A legendary achievement is announced as the group reacts in shock and admiration to someone maintaining the Holy Sword's HP at 100%. A shadowy figure declares that anyone involved with knockoffs will be banned from receiving future guides and orders swift action against resellers. A hooded figure urgently commands the deletion of all fake guides while typing at a computer in a dark room. A stern warning about permanent bans and accomplices appears on the screen, making the tense girl at the computer even more anxious. A frustrated young man slams his fist onto the laptop, demanding to know why they can't just save some alliance currency. She reacts angrily to a message on her phone. Yulin stands defiantly, as his original dungeon guides are credited and the actions of a dishonest reseller are condemned. An armored skeleton attacks a sword-wielding opponent, while demands for unfair rewards spark outrage. A group aggressively blocks a rival user from their chat to secure exclusive access to coveted strategy guides. Eager to join the secret group, he types his request into the computer. Two young women discover a high-paying offer on a phone, prompting immediate excitement and focus. Carrying groceries up the stairs, the protagonist prepares for the next challenge while considering joining a guide group for dungeon strategies. A wave of excitement erupts as fans clamor to join the guide group, declaring their admiration for the protagonist. He notices a sudden surge of people joining the group and reacts with confusion. He explains that targeting an opponent's weakness is often more effective than using brute force. A character outlines a plan to protect future earnings from potential rivals. He returns home with groceries and unlocks the door using his phone. Yulin brings up a holographic status screen to review his current stats and gear. A glowing status screen reveals the character's impressive stats, equipment, and array of powerful abilities. The character studies a glowing screen and learns about a powerful skill that reverses and enhances all effects. A finger slams down on the glowing red button, activating a critical function. A male character reviews the powerful effects and upgrade conditions of his newly enhanced skill as a system notification appears. Yulin reviews his rapid intelligence growth and plans to increase his base stats, prioritizing intelligence before focusing on secondary attributes. Yulin contacts an ally through a digital interface to request high-level priest equipment and accessories. A man reviews the mission options, decides to accept only the gold-level task, and confirms the arrangement. 10 minutes later, the character reviews a selection of magical equipment and decisively chooses the priest weapon, bone necklace, and white bird jade pendant, declining the shoes as unsuitable. A collection of forging stones and a glowing hammer surge with energy as they are summoned for an upgrade. While secretly planning his next move, he listens as the nervous man reports the total cost of 2.4 million alliance credits. A triumphant announcement of 2.4 million alliance credits rings out as he gazes upward with a confident, sly smile. The bone necklace's stats and effects are displayed in a golden frame, highlighting its impressive qualities. A powerful magical pendant called the white bird jade pendant is introduced, revealing its effects and abilities. A powerful staff called the starry healing staff is introduced, highlighting its abilities and requirements. With determination, the protagonist channels powerful energy as he begins the forging process at the glowing forge. The forging ritual succeeds, upgrading all equipment to level 10 and boosting their stats. Yulin finishes his preparations and gets ready to move forward. A figure prepares to enter the perilous land of death, anticipating unpredictable loot and lurking dangers. Yulin senses movement and quickly turns his attention toward the doorway. He enters the room and is startled to find someone just out of the shower, wrapped in a towel. She recoils in shock, eyes wide and sweat beading on her face. Wrapped in a towel and flustered, Mumu confronts someone about unexpectedly coming home while explaining she used their bathroom because her hot water isn't working. Yulin hesitantly offers to help while appearing uncertain. Mumu nervously asks for a moment to discuss something important. One character urges the other to dry off and change clothes before proceeding, showing concern for their health. One character hastily dashes out of the room, urgently asking for more time while another stays behind, resigned. Two people sit on the sofa as one explains that Xiaobai is struggling with the Great Sword class despite receiving new gear. She confidently demonstrates her skill by wielding the Great Sword with ease. He considers finding a hero's certificate to help her change classes and plans to consult Wang Tianqi, but knows she must decide if she truly wants this. As one character tries to leave, another abruptly stops them. He confronts the other person, suspecting there are unspoken motives beyond Xiaobai. She hesitates, struggling to find the words as she turns away. One character sits calmly while the other, blushing and frustrated, angrily demands to know how their secret was discovered. One character laughs while the other, embarrassed, demands they stop. Mumu expresses her concern that their relationship has grown distant since the awakening of a new talent. The protagonist reacts with surprise to unexpected news. She quietly acknowledges the deep history they share, reflecting as she holds the broken stick. Two partners run joyfully through a field, confident that awakening their talents has only strengthened their trust and teamwork. She clutches her ornate weapon, voicing her worry that she is no longer needed. A figure cloaked in red energy glares downward, openly resenting the menial tasks assigned to him. She admits her growing insecurity about falling behind and feeling useless to the team. Yilin gently reassures Mumu, who turns away in distress. One character watches another run ahead, feeling increasingly helpless and left behind. Mumu, overcome with emotion, insists on becoming independent. A determined mentor enforces strict training rules, banning junk food and setting early morning workouts to improve reaction speed. Confused and anxious, the girl questions if agility is simply about stacking points. One character confronts another about having enough points while the other bursts into exaggerated tears. One character hands over a glowing, heart-shaped object as a gift, leaving the other surprised and amazed. Yilin confidently recommends an item, explaining that it will be especially useful during the transition period because the doppelganger's ability can double its effectiveness. She gazes at the glowing heart-shaped energy above her hand, feeling a surge of encouragement. Mumu firmly announces she will stop eating snacks, while her mentor thinks she still needs encouragement to mature. One character reaches out and gently clasps hands with the other, signaling a moment of trust. Mumu urgently demands that the professor test the potential of her bionic tears, catching him off guard. Mumu eagerly lists her many household skills, striking a confident pose as an ethereal maid version of herself appears above. An aggressive attack erupts as one figure violently assaults another amid the chaos. Mumu slips through the door, glancing over her shoulder with unease. Mumu greets the visitor enthusiastically while another person smiles in the background, expressing gratitude for their arrival. A worried figure urges another to rest before entering the dangerous land of death. A system notification grants a powerful luck buff, while the protagonist urges his companions to take a break and enjoy themselves. The portal to the land of death bursts open as the stone sword key is activated, leaving the onlookers stunned. He steps forward into the ominous portal, activating the land of death at its highest difficulty. Startled by the revelation of a catastrophe-level threat, she urgently confronts Yilin. Standing before the ominous dungeon portal, the protagonist assesses the extreme danger and prepares to advance into the land of death. Swirling with red energy, the character unleashes the reversal of heaven and earth technique, preparing to shift the battle's momentum. Multiple powerful enemies begin to awaken as the life energy triggers a series of dangerous alerts. A massive undead legion awakens in a cavernous stronghold and launches a relentless attack. A chained holy sword wreathed in red flames appears, granting overwhelming power against the undead as a character reacts with dry skepticism. He firmly decides against using it. The requirements to clear the land of death are revealed, setting the stage for a dangerous 2-hour trial against undead forces and powerful dungeon bosses. A dark armored figure unleashes a devastating attack with a glowing staff as a giant skeletal entity releases a surge of red energy. A lone figure unleashes a massive, fiery attack that devastates the group of armored enemies. Armored skeletal enemies are consumed by supernatural flames and writhe in agony. Crimson energy erupts around Yilin as he unleashes a catastrophic reversal of divine healing, summoning a destructive force under the raging storm. A massive explosion destroys the undead legion in an instant as the staff-wielding figure stands at the center of the devastation. After upgrading his gear, he easily wipes out the elite undead soldiers in just 1 second without needing to use his ultimate ability. A new wave of the undead army surges forward, blocking the path to the death altar. Yilin smirks as he receives a glowing green potion from his supportive teammates. A set of powerful items is urgently selected to boost speed, agility, and constitution for the next 5 minutes. Yilin charges into the fray with glowing red eyes, unleashing dark magic as the battle intensifies. A wounded fighter staggers across the battlefield as swarms of shadowy enemies close in beneath the looming, monstrous nest. A fierce figure shrouded in shadows activates a devastating technique, unleashing a fiery aura. A furious figure unleashes a devastating, blood-red scythe attack, scattering armored enemies. A demonic figure unleashes a soul-scorching attack that overwhelms the enemies, weakening, poisoning, and stunning them until the undead army is completely annihilated. The black water pulls back as he stands firm, gripping his massive weapon. A towering altar summons undead creatures while a monstrous giant, armed with a massive axe, stands guard as the dungeon boss. A determined man uses a magical technique to imprison a giant zombie in glowing chains, preparing for his next move. The protagonist charges forward with his sword to attack the red demons. A figure unleashes a barrage of devastating reversal techniques, flooding the area with chaotic, explosive energy. The death altar is destroyed, halting undead summoning in the area, but 2 new zombie butchers emerge after the giant zombie butcher's defeat. The monstrous skeletal enemy is torn in half, sending blood spraying everywhere. A powerful energy attack defeats the split zombie butchers, awakening the Skeleton King and Undying Lich. Assessing the aftermath of battle, the protagonist confidently concludes that soloing remains possible despite the heightened difficulty. He calls for the Curse Master, determined to get help. A powerful Dark Curse Knight is summoned amid crackling lightning and a spectral dragon, ready for battle. A shadowy armored figure descends atop a massive undead dragon, leading a swarm of flying minions into the assault. A winged creature flies over jagged mountains, approaching under the cover of night. A fierce figure charges into battle atop a plunging dragon. Yilin ascends the jagged staircase toward the throne, where a shadowy figure waits amid swirling ominous energy. A powerful skeleton king appears, radiating dark energy and commanding an army of undead. A powerful undead lich appears, its abilities and sinister nature revealed on a status screen. A dark, armored figure commands a spectral knight wreathed in blue lightning to attack. A massive armored figure towers over Yilin, forcing him to his knees amid swirling smoke. The protagonist reacts with disbelief to the mention of the Curse Master. Yilin orders the colossal spectral warrior to attack. A massive weapon crashes into the ground, unleashing a burst of red energy and shattering the surface. The monstrous figure recoils in shock, her wide eyes and sharp teeth revealing intense horror. A warrior unleashes a glowing sword attack at a shadowy, magic-shrouded enemy. A devastating blue energy slash sends a character crashing hard into the wall as their health drops to 144. A menacing figure unleashes a surge of dark energy, their sharp-toothed grin glowing with green light. A figure releases a surge of blinding green energy from the cliff as horned creatures scramble toward the light. Several horned demons rush forward in a sudden, aggressive attack. A heavily armored figure activates a glowing curse shield, instantly reflecting the enemy's magical attack back onto the monstrous foe. A figure pleads for the Skeleton King's support as the immense skeletal creature looms over the frozen landscape. A cloaked figure strikes down with a massive sword, leaving an opponent's leg bloodied and broken on the icy ground. A skeletal monarch with glowing eyes whips around in shock, sensing an imminent threat. A combatant raises his sword and unleashes the reversal of Blue Sea Tide, transforming the battlefield into a blood-red sea of the undead. The Skeleton King suffers massive damage, entering withered and weakened states as his health rapidly drops. An armored fighter launches a rapid series of devastating slashes, hurling their opponent backward in a surge of energy. An imposing armored figure appears as a character crashes down amid lightning, ready to confront a powerful enemy. A massive curse explosion strikes the long-haired character, catching her off guard. Dark clouds swirl ominously, concealing everything from view. A monstrous figure unleashes a devastating green energy attack called Black Hole. A violent surge of green energy bursts from the cavern floor as two figures leap away to avoid the attack. A massive armored figure suddenly turns in confusion amid swirling smoke. A monstrous figure unleashes a surge of icy energy, preparing to attack. A masked, armored figure launches a devastating blue energy attack at the monstrous enemy. A stunned figure recoils as a powerful command to replace the Skeleton King at the abyss and echoes through the crackling energy. A vengeful figure sacrifices his soul to cast a powerful curse, condemning the woman to eternal damnation. As the crackling figure at the center of the explosion begins to self-destruct, Yilin urgently warns that she intends to take her enemy down with her. A devastating ice spell erupts as the undying lich sacrifices itself, unleashing a cataclysmic burst of freezing energy. A massive, jagged ice formation erupts from the ground as a character recoils in shock. The armored warrior crushes the undead foe, shattering it into icy fragments. A devastating magical attack crashes down on Yilin, leaving him overwhelmed. A shadowy figure with glowing green eyes emerges, unleashing a wave of red energy and threatening greater despair. A notification panel announces that the dungeon boss has been defeated, the portal is open, and the group can now exit and receive their clearance rating. A surge of healing energy flows from the caster to the towering armored figure. A glowing armored figure activates a powerful ability, feeling invigorated by his restored condition. A massive explosion engulfs the area as the death altar is completely destroyed. A heavily armored knight raises a glowing spear and summons a massive shadowy dragon overhead. The group confirms the altar's destruction and decides to move on to the next area, leaving cleanup for later. A dragon-shaped shadow soars over the threatening mountains, signaling the start of a perilous journey. With determination, he announces that only 2 bosses remain. Standing atop the armored beast, the protagonist thanks the Curse Master for saving time and effort. The armored figure blushes shyly, radiating a bashful energy. Massive ice spikes rain down from above, striking the black dragon relentlessly. A massive dragon bombards the rocky battlefield with a relentless barrage of shattering ice attacks. Blue crystal shards fly as the protagonist quickly shields himself after being warned they've been spotted by the enemy. An armored figure charges directly at the massive dragon as blue crystals shatter around them. A massive undead dragon, emanating deadly ice magic, materializes behind the protagonist, revealing its formidable abilities and origins. A powerful undead archer known as the Death Maiden is introduced, revealing her formidable skills and dark transformation as a massive undead dragon looms overhead. Yilin boldly taunts the towering Curse Master, questioning whether the secret realm or their opponent is more terrifying. A massive magical attack engulfs 2 monstrous enemies, instantly reducing their health. A glowing spear pierces the furious figure as she reels from a sudden attack and lashes out in anger. A massive dragon unleashes a freezing breath attack as Yilin stands ready with his staff. He clenches his glowing armored hand and prepares to launch a surprise counterattack. An armored figure crashes down amid a surge of blue energy, sending debris flying. The woman taunts her opponent, unfazed by the attack and radiating confidence. A hand snaps a sharp blade in half, displaying overwhelming strength. Glowing with green energy, the character absorbs attacks and gains powerful buffs, dispelling a frozen effect while greatly increasing movement speed and attack power. Shocked by the failed attack, The archer reacts in disbelief as her arrow does not stop the opponent. A female character shouts a warning as a towering figure unleashes a surge of glowing energy. A lone figure withstands a massive dragon's surge of blue energy, gaining a sudden boost in health. Amidst a surge of energy, the character shatters the ice and rapidly regains health while dispelling multiple frozen effects. Armed with her bow, she readies herself as a dark armored figure approaches from behind. A startled female archer quickly aims her bow at the nearby armored intruder. She draws her bow, black energy crackling as she prepares to unleash a powerful attack. A swift, armored enemy dodges the arrows as the archer reacts in surprise. Bracing himself, he desperately resolves to prevent his opponent from getting any closer. An armored figure summons a massive wall of undead to block the enemy's advance. A figure in glowing armor swings their weapon, releasing a surge of blue energy in a powerful attack. A fierce combatant unleashes a powerful blue energy attack, sending armored enemies flying. A crowned woman is restrained by glowing chains as her health plummets and silence magic takes effect. The vampiric woman drains life force with her sinister powers, rapidly restoring her health. Mumu charges at the armored opponent and attacks with glowing blue chains. Mumu charges at the armored opponent, unleashing a furious blast of purple energy. A powerful enchantment charm is activated, unleashing its control over a creature for up to 60 seconds unless dispelled by the Death Maiden's demise. A suicide command is issued, causing the armored figure to suffer massive damage as the enchantment forces continuous attacks. The armored figure surges forward, unleashing a wave of dark energy. A determined figure draws her bow and unleashes a powerful ice attack. An icy attack hits the Black Curse Knight, inflicting heavy damage and reducing its speed and power. A freezing attack envelopes the armored enemy in shards of ice, drastically slowing their movements. Yilin urgently orders a switch to defense mode as he braces for imminent danger. An armored knight summons a massive black shield, greatly reducing damage taken but sacrificing speed. The female warrior lunges forward, launching a blazing attack aimed past her opponent's shield. A powerful blue energy strike destroys the enemy and drains the red health bar completely. A powerful attack shatters the electrified shield as its defenses weaken. The sinister woman radiates dark energy as she threatens to eliminate her opponent and their companions next. A powerful woman is seized and trapped by a sinister magical technique. Yilin glares furiously, his face illuminated by a menacing red aura as he confronts his opponent. Yilin unleashes a powerful healing skill, breaks free from negative effects, and boldly challenges the towering armored foe. Black-red tendrils suddenly lash out and ensnare her, leaving her struggling in terror. As blue energy crackles, the attacker demands to know why their adversary still stands after the onslaught. A mysterious armored figure emerges, their visor glowing with blue light. A surge of blue energy erupts as a dragon-shaped attack crashes into the armored enemy, sending them flying. A fierce warrior unleashes a devastating, glowing attack with a skull-emblazoned weapon. A massive red energy attack crashes down as the protagonist raises his staff atop the rocks. A powerful figure stands over the death dragon's corpse as red energy swirls and the others react in shock. A furious character unleashes a powerful burst of energy while shouting in anger. A surge of red energy bursts from his eye as he invokes a catastrophic reversal of divine healing. A powerful energy strike defeats the Death Maiden. In the chaos of night, the armored figure splits the team to cover both the northwest and southeast sides, urging swift action. A heavily armored warrior cuts down monsters with glowing blue slashes, confident that clearing the altars will soon end the dungeon challenge. A powerful skill is unleashed, turning the tide against the monstrous horde and ensuring the group can complete their objective with time to spare. He stands victorious atop a pile of defeated skeleton warriors as darkness and red energy swirl around him. The system announces that all undead creatures in the land of death have been exterminated, completing the first 4 task requirements. Sensing danger, the protagonist looks up sharply, instantly alert. A system message announces the imminent descent of the two-winged angel Kuro and unlocks the 5th specific task, Fate's Choice, as a swirling vortex glows dramatically. A colossal, radiant winged figure descends over the temple, filling the scene with blinding light. A radiant armored angel offers a burning sword and presents the choice to accept divine grace in exchange for surrendering the holy sword and all absorbed undead souls. He prepares to strike as he confronts the monstrous projection. A notification reveals the existence of a hidden boss and presents 2 high-stakes choices that could drastically affect the quest rating. A character realizes that the SSS rating is not the highest and wonders if the existence of the Omega level is a secret kept from other professionals. Floating in a cosmic realm, the protagonist critically analyzes the secrets behind dungeon evolution and humanity's current limitations. 2 armored figures brace themselves as they confront a towering, multi-eyed celestial entity outside the cathedral. Someone stares intently, focusing all attention on something critical. A celestial entity banishes the Dark Curse Knight in a burst of light, forcing a retreat and triggering the summoning cooldown. A character braces himself as he confronts a powerful, overwhelming presence and urgently searches for a projected ally. A glowing magical feather floats gently downward through the light. A radiant angelic figure with 2 wings descends in a burst of holy light, its overwhelming presence warning that it is a dangerous opponent. A regal armored figure commends the protagonist for defeating the undead and demands the holy sword coronet of red flames as the price for leaving. He stands with his staff raised, demanding a reward for defeating all the undead creatures. With a piercing gaze, he challenges the authority before him. An angelic figure warns the human to leave and not interfere, while the human internally questions the angel's motives and methods. A hand reaches out and interacts with a glowing screen covered in swirling symbols. Yilin confronts his opponent, radiating power as a red aura swirls around him. Yilin defiantly unleashes a powerful spell, channeling energy through a glowing red orb. An imposing angelic figure denounces humanity's defiance while brandishing a flaming shield. A devastating dark red energy attack is unleashed, striking the powerful angelic warrior with the plundering technique. Yilin glares fiercely, silencing his opponent as red energy flares around him. A man with glowing eyes summons a surge of holy power as lightning crackles around him. A colossal golden energy beam slams into the ground, engulfing the two figures in a devastating explosion. Yulin launches a savage attack with his spiked, skull-adorned weapon, sending debris and blood flying. Yulin crashes down with electrified force, shattering the ground in an explosive burst of energy. He charges through the lightning barrier with unwavering determination, sword in hand. Lightning crackles as the radiant figure unleashes a devastating attack, taunting their opponent for revealing weaknesses. Yulin channels a surge of lightning and strikes with his sword, launching a devastating attack at his unseen opponent. A fiery, powerful attack collides with a giant weapon in a dramatic counterstrike. A green aura surrounds the character as his health surges by 1678 points. Yilin recoils in confusion, startled by an unexpected revelation. Divine lightning crackles as one combatant unleashes a fierce attack, while the other braces for impact. A shadowy figure stands at the center of a glowing magic circle and unleashes a powerful thunder spell. Red energy surges around the swordsman as his health rapidly regenerates. A surge of energy erupts as the protagonist activates a powerful ability with his gauntlet hand. A furious fighter unleashes a blazing attack that deals massive damage and grants a powerful boost. A wrathful angelic figure unleashes a devastating wave of holy energy in a display of divine judgment. He dispels the angel's attack with ease, realizing that the projection is less formidable than expected. His attacks fail to inflict any harm as his opponent continues to heal, leaving him furious and bewildered. Yulin stands surrounded by glowing green energy as he reminds others of his past victories over former bosses. A stunned character demands to know if their opponent is truly invincible after witnessing him withstand a devastating attack without injury. Standing firm on the icy ground, the confident figure mocks the threat, claiming the attacker can do little more than damage his hair or clothes. Yilin's eyes blaze red as he unleashes the reversal of Blue Sea Tide. A blood-drenched surge of power cripples the angelic projection, leaving it slowed, weakened, and unable to retaliate. A surge of dark energy erupts as he activates the Catastrophic reversal spell. The projection of the two-winged angel Kuro takes massive damage from a bleeding debuff and staggers under the assault. A devastating dark attack strikes, leaving one character severely injured and her health bar nearly empty. The injured character on the ground glares upward, struggling to speak through pain and accusation. A fierce surge of red energy erupts as a devastating plundering technique drains 2505 health from the target. The dungeon boss is defeated, triggering the completion of the Land of Death, and awarding a diamond-grade clearance chest. A diamond-grade chest appears as all hidden conditions are completed and the highest rating is achieved. The dungeon collapses as the cloaked figure triggers the exclusive reward for achieving the top rating. A mystical sword called Flashing Moonshade appears, signifying the acquisition of a unique growth weapon. The protagonist inspects the legendary weapon Flashing Moonshade, unlocking new abilities and a surge of power. A magical weapon absorbs cleric weapons to evolve, gaining enhanced attributes and new abilities. A mystical green blade is revealed, radiating energy as its healing powers and special abilities are unveiled. A swirling red energy erupts as the destruction form activates, transforming into the destruction blade and unleashing both physical and massive magical damage. A mystical weapon activates its moonshade form, unleashing physical damage and restoring health while unlocking a new ability. A phantom moon jellyfish is summoned, radiating energy that heals nearby allies and cleanses them of negative effects. A surge of red and black energy tears through the city as a devastating skill is unleashed, dealing massive damage to all enemies in range. Shadow energy engulfs the figure as he activates Rift Moonshade, transforming and preparing to strike or heal with his glowing blade. He examines the weapon's new form, intrigued by its potential to surpass diamond grade as energy swirls around the glowing sword. 2 diamond chests are opened, granting 20 free attribute points, a frost bow, and an ancient dragon necklace. A treasure chest bursts open, showering the area with powerful equipment and rare items. A character reflects on gaining a perfect piece of armor and an unbeatable strategic skill. A determined figure allocates all available points into intelligence, boosting stats to match a level 20 professional as a glowing stat screen displays new abilities and equipment. Hovering above the shattered ground, the protagonist declares that this is only the beginning of his ambitions. With the luck buff still active, the figure contemplates raiding a level 10 dungeon while approaching the glowing portal. A young man waits in the forest, gripping a wooden weapon as he prepares to confront his approaching rival. He spins around, demanding to know who is behind him. A furious enemy threatens Yilin with a glowing weapon, declaring this will be his last day. A furious figure lunges at their adversary, blaming them for the loss of their reputation, relationships, and future. Yulin effortlessly restrains his attacker, questioning the escalating consequences of the incident. Yulin attacks his rival, furious about the betrayal involving illegal guide sales and defamation. Dark energy engulfs him as he grits his teeth, struggling to withstand the unbearable pain. Yilin charges forward in a furious burst of uncontrolled energy, unleashing a berserk attack. Alarmed, the protagonist detects a sudden surge of demonic aura. Yilin swiftly overpowers his attacker with a decisive kick. Yilin's eyes glow as he loses control in a surge of fury. A shadowy figure overwhelms and humiliates a terrified man, engulfing him in dark energy. Several students violently gang up on a boy lying helpless on the ground. A woman delivers a harsh dismissal and walks away, leaving the young man devastated. Yilin endures harsh public humiliation as a crowd accuses and belittles him. Overwhelmed by fury, he faces a sinister figure who tempts him with unimaginable power. Kneeling amid swirling dark energy, he desperately begs Lord Megael for the power of the abyss. As dark energy engulfs him, he violently rejects his humanity and begins to transform. Yilin accuses his ally of being corrupted by the abyss demon. A muscular man, empowered by dark energy, faces off against a determined opponent who warns him to stop or face deadly consequences. Citing the professional code, the determined figure prepares to use lethal force against the abyssal corruptor. A menacing figure threatens with a massive, dark-bladed weapon crackling with energy, taunting the protagonist and declaring this moment as retribution. A fierce swordsman unleashes a devastating horizontal slash infused with dark energy at his opponent. Gripping his bleeding side, the protagonist staggers as the abyssal power saps his strength and inflicts a relentless wound. Bleeding from his side, Yilin summons a powerful energy with determination. A hand catches the glowing blue blade mid-swing, stopping the attack with a surge of energy. A powerful, glowing sword attack is unleashed as the combatant asserts dominance over his opponent. Yilin strikes his stunned opponent with a powerful, glowing sword attack. A wild-eyed character mocks and threatens their opponent, brandishing a bloody blade. He decides not to use his strongest ability immediately, aware that hidden enemies might flee and alert others if they discover his advantage. A fierce blow lands, instantly reducing the monster's health by 531 points. A wounded young man staggers back, shocked and desperate after suffering a devastating slash that pierces through his defenses. He downplays his strength with a smug grin, casually brandishing a glowing blue dagger. He confidently outlines his superior magical awareness and urges his opponent to use their ally as bait for the demons. With a swift, decisive motion, the protagonist slashes his opponent's chest, forcing a pained cry. A figure with a glowing red eye demands mercy for Chao Yuan. With a surge of energy, he commands the others to lure the demons into the trap. A frustrated figure dismisses the failure of their transformed pawn as dark energy swirls above the tense confrontation. A heavy-set man seizes his target with a surge of dark energy. The character considers how Lin Ye's death could shatter Huang Xiaofeng's mental state and create an opportunity for invasion. One character considers recruiting another as a means to secure an alliance with a powerful army. With a menacing grin and glowing red eyes, he chooses the darker path, gripping his blade tightly. A menacing attacker delivers a brutal strike, catching the young man off guard and leaving him wounded. Yilin unleashes his power in a fierce clash as the battle escalates. A character channels swirling green energy, rapidly restoring health. Yilin instantly tenses, glaring with glowing eyes as he prepares to counter an unexpected threat. The protagonist exposes his opponent as a disguised abyss demon, escalating their confrontation. A hostile opponent armed with twin swords threatens Yilin, warning that powerful reinforcements are on the way. A confident figure rests his spear on his shoulder, confronting an anxious opponent in tense silence. A menacing figure offers a dark ultimatum, urging the others to join their side. He realizes his plan has worked and smirks confidently. Facing the demon-possessed opponent, Yilin confidently demands to know what the abyss demons can offer him. A powerful figure floods the area with dark energy, pressing the attack as their opponent struggles to withstand the force. A powerful figure unleashes abyssal energy on the dark city street, drawing the interest of the cautious observer. A confident figure conjures blue energy and revokes someone's ability while referencing a past confrontation. A menacing figure confronts another, unleashing the overwhelming power of the abyss. With a smug expression, the protagonist mocks his rival's failure. Yilin boldly challenges the shadowy figure, declaring his identity with unwavering confidence. A man erupts in frustration, unable to comprehend someone's reckless actions. The demon grows furious as the observer realizes its intelligence rivals that of Huang Xiaofeng. Yilin insists that the abyss power should go to him instead of someone who would only become a target for the alliance. A character's face is shadowed as a glowing red eye flares, signaling the release of a sinister power. A shadowy figure declares his plan to infiltrate the alliance's leadership and unleash chaos upon the world. Yilin confronts the mutated figure, demanding to know why he wants to destroy the world despite his popularity. Yilin recalls how his parents sacrificed themselves to distract the monster, while the empowered ignored them, leaving him to survive alone. Furious and disillusioned, he condemns humanity as corrupt and deserving of destruction. A wild-eyed young man bursts out in manic excitement, unable to contain his overwhelming enthusiasm. A monstrous figure convulses as dark energy and black tendrils overwhelm his body. A hand shrouded in dark energy bursts forth as the command to reveal the true self echoes through the air. A shadowy figure extends an offer of supreme abyssal power to the battered protagonist, surrounded by swirling dark energy. A monstrous figure hurls a devastating energy attack, declaring the intent to annihilate the world. Yilin stands resolutely as he receives a surge of mysterious power. A surge of dark energy gathers as the protagonist summons the Blade of Moonlight. Red energy erupts as he triggers destruction mode, signaling the start of his attack. A hand seizes the staff as a surge of energy erupts. A monstrous figure, enraged by a sudden blow, accuses its opponent of fighting unfairly. A fierce blow strikes the Lyohu demon, reducing its health and triggering a temporary damage boost under the Moonlight's blessing. Yilin launches a fierce attack with his sword against a monstrous purple creature, unleashing a surge of energy. A monstrous creature suffers a massive health loss as shadowy energy attacks it. A determined character activates a powerful damage buff, unleashing a surge of energy against the undead. The abyssal demon, now weakened and burning with only 40% health, suffers a sharp decrease in attack power after a fierce assault. A monstrous enemy staggers as a human unleashes an overwhelming surge of crimson energy, forcing it back. A catastrophic reversal spell unleashes red energy that strikes a monstrous creature, causing it to scream in agony. The abyssal demon writhes in agony from the bleeding debuff as a desperate call for backup is made. One combatant exposes the other's inability to escape using a shadow clone as a violent clash unfolds on a blood-red surface. The restrained figure screams in agony, accusing their captor of orchestrating a trap to expose their true form. A sinister aura swirls as he confirms his dark power, his eyes glowing red in the shadows. A demonic figure unleashes the Hand of the Abyss, launching a furious attack at the defiant human opponent. A figure swiftly evades a powerful, red-streaked attack as the skill misses and no damage is dealt. With his sword raised, the protagonist launches a sudden aerial attack on the stunned demon. A massive red claw attack strikes the airborne opponent, inflicting severe damage. A wild creature taunts triumphantly after landing a successful hit. With a surge of energy, Yilin steps forward and delivers the decisive blow to the weakened enemy. A surge of dark energy erupts as the protagonist activates the reverse healing art. A massive red energy attack erupts downward, engulfing everything in chaos. A system notification announces that the Abyss Demon has been killed. The Blade of Moonlight absorbs the Abyssal Demon's soul and upgrades, greatly increasing its power. Yilin inspects the glowing sword, questioning whether growth weapons can absorb souls from any creature or only from abyssal demons. Startled by the chaos, several people react anxiously as someone is discovered lying on the ground. A tense moment unfolds as the weapon absorbs the defeated demon's soul while the group prepares to report the incident and await the arrival of the city patrol. Armed guards rush in and order everyone to disarm as Yilin hesitates, caught off guard by their sudden arrival. An armored figure threatens immediate attack while releasing a surge of green energy. Yilin prepares to unleash his power as a glowing weapon materializes beside him. A figure stands near the sword as swirling energy gathers around it. A man unleashes a glowing green paralysis spell, assuring his target that it's just standard procedure. Paralyzed by magical chains, the protagonist is calmly detained by city security officers without resistance. Authorities examine the battle marks, assist the injured, and question residents for information. Medical staff rush to evacuate the wounded person on a stretcher as orders are given to stay focused. Authorities restrain an unconscious student suspected of abyssal corruption. A panicked man shouts in alarm as he reacts to sudden danger. A massive abyss demon corpse is revealed on the ground, shocking everyone present. A man receives shocking news that the level 20 abyss demon was apparently killed by the long blade professional they just restrained. A fierce sword strike lands as the protagonist questions why only a skeleton remains of the enemy. Two armored men stare ahead in disbelief as they witness something unimaginable. A group of onlookers reacts with shock as they realize a student has defeated an abyss demon. An armored figure steps forward and formally introduces himself as the captain of the first squad from the Abyss Demon Extermination Task Force. A stern armored man interrogates someone about eliminating the abyss demon and subduing a corrupted student, holding up a glowing green crystal. Under questioning, the protagonist admits to stopping a classmate who transformed into a demon and tried to kill him, then asks how the demon was captured. He explains that the entity observed its target from a distance, possessed a failed candidate, and pretended to offer power before revealing its true form. Three armored men recoil in shock as they struggle to believe what they've just heard. A student about to take the professional test demonstrates unexpected skill by confidently wielding a glowing, blue, flame-wrapped sword against a cunning abyss demon. Someone recounts how a single fighter defeated both an abyssal corruptor and an abyss demon's true form, precisely stopping just short of killing the corruptor, an achievement far beyond what any normal student or low-ranking professional could manage. Two armored guards detain the protagonist with mystical restraints and order him to come to the Alliance's branch. A uniformed man urgently insists that Lin Yi is not an ordinary student, emphasizing his notable reputation. A red-haired man grips his arm and addresses the group with urgent concern about the situation. Yilin walks alone through the crowded crosswalk, processing the disappointing news that his plans must be delayed due to strict procedures. Realizing his buff will be wasted, he looks on with resignation. Yilin confidently explains that his earlier test results give him a major advantage in the professional exam and expresses support for the fight against abyss demons. The red-haired character stands with arms crossed, scowling as another figure approaches for a confrontation. A commanding officer cancels the investigation and surveillance on Lin Yi, ordering the abyss demon case to be postponed until after his test. A man urgently protests, questioning how they can violate standard procedure. The man hesitates, realizing that releasing the captive could result in direct punishment from headquarters. A stern man assures that support comes from the highest authorities and references the influence of the famous Curse Master. He completed the challenge alone without injury and secured the qualification for Forgotten Nest, leaving the armored group in shock. One character quietly wonders if the rumors about the other's extraordinary talent might actually be true, especially if it can counter the Dark Curse Knight. Yilin is told he no longer needs to be investigated and should focus on his own tasks. A uniformed man reassures others that professional help is available if needed. A stern man in tactical armor demands an answer at sword point, surrounded by armored guards. Yilin stands ready with his sword, demanding to know if the current issue is related to the previous incident reported by Huang Xiaofeng. Yilin calmly reveals that the demon Megao targeted Chao Yuan after failing to tempt Huang Xiaofeng, connecting the two incidents. A stern man reveals that testing has confirmed an extremely rare Abyssal Corruptor Genius constitution. He reveals how effortlessly he deceived the Abyss Demon, while another person kept mentioning his name. He deduces that the demon intends to replace him and manipulate its target again after its initial plan failed. A holographic man praises the two young adventurers for their achievements, and assures them he won't interrupt their progress. The man firmly asks to clear the area for a confidential discussion. A holographic leader commands the group to evacuate the area, assigning one team to leave first and directing another member to handle the equipment. A commanding officer orders the action team to form up and secure the area. Two armored agents urgently acknowledge incoming orders through their glowing earpieces in the city. The two figures unleash a powerful move that sweeps through the area, dispersing the crowd. The armored man apologizes and returns a glowing item to Yilin, who accepts it calmly. A digital barrier activates, isolating the area so the young man can speak securely. A character reveals the spectral moon shade, explaining it was gained from defeating Death Valley and that it absorbed the Abyss Demon's powers. A stern older man in a decorated uniform confronts someone with a pressing question. He notes that even the best libraries lack information about self-improving weapons. Walking alone through the library, he wonders if all self-improving weapons can kill real enemies like Abyss Demons and level up. A stern man reveals that self-improving weapons are extremely rare and their details are classified. A figure explains that self-improving weapons gain experience by defeating dungeon enemies, not by killing monsters in real life. He realizes he is the first person to experience this phenomenon. A scarred man in uniform thanks another for sharing vital information with the Union. Holding the glowing sword, he asserts that the spectral moon shade is the first weapon of its kind but suggests others may follow. A new mystical sword appears, signaling that more powerful weapons will soon emerge to help humans fight the Abyss Demon. A man in a white uniform warns someone not to share confidential information. Yilin stands firm with his glowing sword as a wall of ominous red eyes looms, signaling the envy and danger his rare possession attracts. 5 shadowy figures gather beneath a golden emblem and discuss strengthening the Union's future. A scarred man informs the group that he will report the issue to his superiors, assuring them the Union will treat it with urgency. The protagonist receives instructions to complete a professional exam before the Union will contact him. A blinding burst of mysterious energy erupts, shattering the darkness. One character hands an object to another, moving the situation forward. A red-haired man enthusiastically welcomes the newcomer, inviting him to join the Union, while the younger man responds politely and prepares to leave. A mysterious golden artifact is revealed in close-up. A character at the meeting asks for Tianqi's opinion while a dossier with a photograph lies on the table. A man at his desk praises a young person's exceptional talent and composure, comparing him to another prodigy. A stern man challenges the reputation of the silver-haired figure by questioning their leadership status. Two men discuss Lin Ye's unique ability to acquire specialized weapons against demons. Yilin stands imposingly with a dark, clawed hand over his shoulder as Mumu gestures forward, joined by another girl wielding a massive sword. A sinister energy seeps across the floor beneath the two seated figures. A massive dark portal rips open in the sky above the city. A dark entity emerges as the news of Mei Gao's death echoes through the shadows. A menacing sky looms over jagged mountains as the death of Mei Gao is announced. A monstrous claw bursts forth, unleashing a surge of dark energy into the swirling smoke. A lone figure steps quietly into the room, carrying a bag. He steps into the empty living room and announces his return. Mumu eagerly examines the ornate paper, her excitement growing as she studies its mysterious markings. One character stands behind the couch, awkwardly scratching his head as he hesitates to speak, while another silently watches from the foreground. She leans forward with her hands around her mouth, ready to yell. He suddenly notices a disturbance and sharpens his focus. Someone quickly spots the person hiding behind the sofa and calls them out. One character playfully teases another about slacking off and secretly eating snacks, prompting a defensive response. Mumu proudly announces that she has reached level 10, displaying her achievement. He recoils in astonishment as someone moves with unexpected speed. One character eagerly seeks approval for recent progress and asks to team up for dungeon exploration the next day. One character pinches the other's cheeks to check if she stayed up all night, but she quickly denies it. He realizes that Mumu spent the entire night grinding in the dungeons for his sake and looks at her in surprise. Mumu confidently reveals that the object she holds is actually the imitation tear. She explains that whenever the tear fights alone, she gains any new skills and rewards the tear obtains. Mumu relaxes on the sofa, casually explaining that she decided to try something. He urgently demands clarification about whether the tear has any distance or time limitations in fighting the domains. A character is shocked to learn that the massive blue dragon can clear dungeons on its own without guidance. Mumu informs the group that the target is currently in the dungeon called Lockless Nightmare. They discuss the boss nearing defeat and the ability to monitor and control domains during the fight. One character boasts about having a devoted helper as another uses a glowing blue energy to assist him. Two characters discuss the endless stamina of the dungeon tear, with one questioning its limits while the other mocks his curiosity. While reviewing the training results, one character decides to revise the other's level-up plans, causing visible annoyance. She reacts with shock as her plans to level up are unexpectedly questioned. One character analyzes a device and explains the need to assess talent, equipment, and skills to determine the best leveling strategy, while another stands quietly in the background. Mumu agrees to send the information immediately. He requests her height, weight, and body measurements, leaving her visibly shocked and embarrassed. One character recoils in shock as the other nervously tries to justify their actions during the attribute recovery attempt, leading to an awkward misunderstanding. Yilin explains that using one's attribute improves the imitation tier's performance and helps maximize its benefits. A fierce pink-haired fighter unleashes a devastating attack, knocking down armored opponents amid the chaos. Yilin analyzes the risks of minor mistakes in high-level dungeons while reviewing strategies on his phone. One character, visibly flustered, demands privacy about her measurements and orders the other to turn around. Yilin instructs someone to ask Baiji if she is willing to share her data for a profession change. She acknowledges and respects the other person's decision to keep things private. One character angrily confronts another about wanting access to other people's data, while the other sits silently, avoiding eye contact. The door bursts open with a powerful crash. Yilin, flustered, admits under pressure that he just wants to help his teammates improve. One person encourages the anxious girl on the bed to relax as she prepares for her measurements. She demands to know what could possibly matter more than becoming stronger. Frustrated by the situation, one blindfolded character questions whether they really need to take actual measurements, while another remains silent beside them. Two embarrassed characters share a steamy bath, exchanging shy smiles amid the bubbles. Visibly annoyed and flustered, she hesitates with the measuring tape, questioning if she really needs to take precise measurements. Mumu flicks the pieces away, clearly irritated. Mumu measures her chest with the tape and frowns in disappointment at the lack of change. One character glares in frustration, while the other taunts her with a smug expression and a glowing digital timer. Mumu panics, fearing her secret will be exposed and her reputation ruined. A character suddenly spots little Mumu and gets an idea. Mumu smugly declares her plan to use someone else's measurements as her own, but abruptly starts coughing. Mumu confidently activates her imitation tier talent, releasing a surge of red energy. A figure surrounded by pink energy awkwardly attempts to scare someone. Mumu grins maliciously as she looms over her captive, gripping a rope and preparing to restrain them. Mumu lunges forward and forcefully measures the stunned, pink figure with a stick. A door bursts open and the protagonist spins around in shock. He watches closely, trying to figure out what she's doing. 10 minutes later, the confident character hands over the completed test sheet with a warning not to share it. He scrutinizes the data sheet and questions whether there is an issue with the information. One character holds a sheet of paper and questions the accuracy of information given by another. Flustered, she quickly insists that the information is outdated from her last physical exam. One character insists that inaccurate data will undermine their strategy while the other listens in silence. One character is startled as another urgently scribbles on a piece of paper. Someone confidently changes their answer on the paper from 60C to 80B. One character flicks another on the forehead, causing a surprised reaction. Yilin urgently asks if Baiji was consulted, and what her response was. Mumu reacts with annoyance after hearing that her request was refused. One character recalls that Bai insisted the big boss shouldn't be bothered with such a troublesome issue. Mumu reflects on the generous rewards she has already received and hesitates to ask for more. Mumu smiles and holds up a phone displaying a physical exam report to prove someone else's sincerity. He grows suspicious, considering the possibility that someone is trying to lure him in. She explains that he avoids causing trouble and fears being seen as distrustful. A teammate transmits an important form to another while she watches attentively. Yilin initiates a conversation, looking ahead with curiosity. A pink spirit appears as the group observes the results of the newly acquired summoning skill. He stares ahead in disbelief, stunned that another person is able to summon. One character raises her hand emphatically and insists that the situation is different, while the other listens intently. Mumu explains that spirit summoning only works in secret realm dungeons and highlights her unique ability to be revived, unlike other spirits. One character admits uncertainty about others' abilities, prompting the listener to reflect and acknowledge understanding. Determined to move forward, the group decides to enter the dungeon and test its effects directly. The group cautiously enters the lizardmen's territory, watched by lurking enemies hidden in the forest. A status window appears, detailing the high fertility, tactical skills, and potential threat posed by the lizardmen. Mumu reacts in astonishment as Yilin reveals his newly transformed priest weapon. Yilin offers to let someone test the cursed sword, displaying confidence as he holds the glowing, skull-decorated weapon. A powerful attack hurtles toward the surprised opponent as a spectral figure appears behind her. Surrounded by glowing green energy in the forest, Mumu absorbs life energy, visibly gaining strength. One character confidently boasts and prepares to demonstrate a skill while the other reacts with intense determination. A determined figure activates the soul summoning bell skill, unleashing swirling magical energy from a glowing hand. A ghostly female figure summons a magical bell, filling the scene with ominous energy. A system notification announces that the bionic tier has used the soul summoning bell, attracting an unknown spirit that is about to descend into the dungeon as an ally. Alert and gripping his weapon, he quickly looks upward, sensing an imminent threat. A colossal spirit guardian materializes amid a surge of magical energy. A massive armored tree guardian looms over a solitary figure in the mystical forest, ready to confront any challenger. He assesses that the boss, despite being classified as gold quality, possesses stats that surpass the gold level. The armored figure analyzes the soul summoning bell's mechanics, noting its similarities to the curse master item and the challenges in obtaining and using it. The girl's unique talent lets her instantly summon the massive golem without any cooldown. Yulin observes as his companion inspects the glowing tree, realizing its power rivals half a divine level talent. A determined figure urges another to quickly test something in the dark forest. Mumu eagerly agrees to help in the forest. A towering tree guardian surges forward as Mumu orders it to attack the lizard men from above. Monstrous creatures face off against a giant, glowing golem in the dark forest. A towering, green-eyed figure radiates energy as it turns and utters a chilling warning about ants. A powerful armored figure unleashes a devastating energy attack against the demonic beasts. A devastating explosion engulfs the mountain in a blinding surge of energy. A dramatic game-like window reveals the effects of the Heaven Strike skill, detailing its powerful damage and knockdown impact. The tree-like creature delivers a final judgment, radiating ominous energy as it looms over its target. He narrows his eyes, recalling that Heaven Strike is similar to a skill once used by the Goblin King. Assessing the golem's enhanced attack, the cautious figure braces for a powerful and wide-reaching strike. One character asks for permission to fight, while the other turns toward him in surprise. A determined figure insists that another teammate hold back and watch as the next boss fight becomes a test of the Great Tree Guardian's solo abilities. He confidently clarifies that he is referring to the bionic tiers while standing in the dark forest. Mumu freezes in shock as something unexpected catches her off guard. Mumu stands her ground and forcefully refuses, as a glowing spirit-like figure looms behind her. Yulin anxiously asks if she can be revived, questioning the finality of their ally's fate. He commands the Great Tree Guardian to wait, then unleashes the Blade of Destruction to face the threat himself. A figure stomps down with overwhelming force, causing the ground to shatter. Leaping through the air, he charges at the towering, wounded tree-like creature with his weapon ready. Yulin charges in and delivers a heavy blow to the monster, inflicting significant damage. He quickly assesses that a basic attack won't be enough to defeat the enemy in one strike. With a swift, brutal strike, the lizard man guard falls dead at Yulin's feet. Mumu reacts with astonishment to the unexpectedly high damage from a basic attack. A focused fighter slashes a monstrous creature with a glowing sword, sending blood flying. He demonstrates his ability to inflict long-range damage by reversing the numbers on healing skills. The unique power of Spectral Moonshade is explained, revealing that its attack speed boosts only work against common monsters, not those immune to physical damage. Dark energy crackles around the skull-themed weapon as a forbidden reversed healing skill is activated. Yulin unleashes a decisive, electrified attack that instantly defeats the dragon-like creature. Yulin's eyes glow with intense purple light as he unleashes his hidden power. Crackling with electricity, a hand prepares to unleash a devastating attack. A massive energy blast strikes the area, rapidly draining health as two figures endure the onslaught. As the notification announces the Lizardmen group's defeat and Lin Ye's increased strength, Mumu resolves not to fall behind. A fiery spirit rallies the massive tree guardian to launch a joint attack against their enemies. Yulin confidently activates the Blade of Salvation, transforming his weapon as he prepares to focus on healing. Surrounded by swirling energy beneath a giant clock face, Yulin unleashes the combined power of Moon Shadow and Oath of Ocean and Moon. A fortified gate looms ahead as two intruders face hundreds of Lizardmen warriors preparing to defend their tribe. As the two prepare for battle against 300 Lizardmen guards, one analyzes the threat, while the other commits to keeping the Great Tree Guardian alive through healing. A glowing figure commands the massive Tree Guardian to charge at the walls and destroy them. The massive Tree Guardian accelerates forward, charging directly at the two reptilian enemies. A heavily armored figure unleashes a devastating, energy-charged strike with a glowing weapon. Mumu charges forward, unleashing a powerful magical attack as a spirit form materializes behind her. Surrounded by monstrous enemies, a character activates Moon Shadow form, becoming invulnerable and surging forward with incredible speed. A burst of magical energy erupts as glowing jellyfish-like creatures are summoned, instantly clearing all debuffs from both caster and target. A radiant healing ability is activated, rapidly restoring health to both the user and a large tree-like creature as energy swirls around them. A towering, lizard-like creature with glowing red eyes bursts onto the scene, instantly commanding attention. A determined figure summons the Great Tree Guardian, urging it to unleash its full power. A fierce, tree-like figure unleashes a powerful attack on a group of reptilian monsters. He realizes that bionic tears can act on its own without further input from Mumu. An ethereal figure materializes beside the protagonist as the Great Tree Guardian obeys only her commands. The massive Tree Guardian prepares for battle as its strengths and weaknesses are assessed. A character assesses that another fighter relies on close-range abilities and will struggle against highly agile opponents. With his eyes glowing red and energy swirling around him, the protagonist activates the Blade of Destruction after testing most of Spectral Moonshade's skills. A powerful figure unleashes a devastating, fiery energy attack. The dungeon boss collapses in defeat as the system announces the victory. A sentient tree-like entity pauses, sensing a familiar and unsettling power nearby. Yilin confronts the massive tree golem in the misty forest, ready for whatever comes next. A towering guardian asks for a favor before returning to the spirit realm, while the protagonist realizes the guardian is a sentient being summoned from another world. He realizes the guardian's summon can only be used once, and cannot be revived if it dies. The true nature of the menacing figure is revealed as an intelligent illusion created by a summoning item. The figure stands unfazed, revealing that even death cannot stop his endless resurrection. Yilin confronts the massive, glowing entity, demanding to know its intentions as he prepares to use his power. Yilin eyes his target suspiciously, openly questioning whether they pose a threat to humans. A hidden, overgrown lair filled with strange green energy is discovered. A desperate plea is made for someone to bring the speaker's master to the forgotten lair as a skeletal hand emerges from the ruins. A confident figure reveals that the special mark grants entry, and suggests bringing another person with the same authority. Yilin demands to know the identity of the mysterious figure and their master. He confidently singles out the magical pink creature before the glowing tree entity. A figure presents a glowing green blade while modestly claiming to be just an ordinary soldier. As the armored golem blocks the forest's path, one figure urges the other to get up quickly. A glowing interface announces the dungeon is complete and prompts the party to open a silver chest. Before responding, he pauses to examine the mystical barrier surrounding the wooden structure. As they attempt to leave, a glowing barrier with skull motifs suddenly blocks their escape. A girl in the forest turns toward a glowing pink spirit, sensing something is wrong. One character explains that a professional's talent is controlled by the awakened, and that awakening a talent is essential for becoming stronger. A voice explains that a summoned creature's existence depends on its master's survival, while a menacing, glowing beast stands alert. A mysterious figure reveals that bionic tears can summon and control creatures from another realm. A shocking revelation is made that she possesses the pass granting entry to the Forgotten Lair. Yilin grows increasingly concerned as he suspects that Sumumu's true nature could threaten all of humanity. A determined protector prepares to confront the monstrous entity threatening humanity. The leader instructs the group to return or clear other dungeons as he handles an urgent matter. A glowing, ethereal figure suddenly materializes beside Yilin, capturing his attention. She looks up anxiously and demands to know what is happening. Yilin informs his companion that he might be delayed. Yilin calls someone and asks if they are available. The scene shifts to the 20th floor of the Tiandu building in Jiang City Center, establishing a new location. A stern man pours tea and questions the visitor about the urgency of their meeting. Yilin firmly questions his eligibility to enter the Forgotten Lair in front of the Alliance. A man in a suit pours tea and suggests that information about the dungeon has been deliberately withheld. He narrows his eyes with determination, ready to seize the opportunity just presented. He takes a sip from his cup and questions whether concern for his mental state is the reason for insisting he pass the exam first. He exhales sharply, realizing the situation has taken a dangerous turn. A shadowy figure hints at the dungeon's extreme difficulty while offering to reveal more secrets. A deadly dungeon entrance towers above heaps of slain challengers, warning of the extreme danger inside. The two discuss why only highly skilled individuals with top-tier gear and abilities continue to enter. Defeating the dungeon boss grants legendary equipment, while solo completion rewards mythical gear and skills. He considers that others are trying to keep him humble. Yilin hesitates inside the dark cave, realizing that overconfidence here could lead to instant death as he faces a monstrous shadow. Yilin asks about the required level to gain entry, his attention fully fixed on the answer. A serious man warns that the minimum required level is 15, but advises waiting until level 20 and synchronizing all equipment and skills before proceeding. Yilin assures the other person that he will prepare carefully and take the task seriously. In a tense office meeting, two men discuss the Alliance's urgent efforts to investigate and track the increasingly active Abyss demons and evil fallen. A group discusses the recent appearance of the White Clown and the infiltration of spies as they plan their next move in the encampment. A masked figure warns the group to prevent past tragedies from happening again. Plans are about to change as one man warns the other to stay alert and watch for his messages. The Alliance places the city on high alert and begins quarantining professionals suspected of corruption. A stern-looking man explains that the existence of the threat was kept secret to avoid worrying students before the professionals' exam. A squad of 4 armed operatives advances cautiously down the corridor with weapons at the ready. One man reassures the other to focus on exam preparations, explaining that the threat of Abyss demons and potential spies is under control. He takes a sip from his cup and prepares to ask another question. A summoning ritual begins as a sentient creature from another realm emerges, raising concerns about its loyalty. The man responds curtly, refusing the request. He recoils in shock, eyes wide as he processes the sudden event. A mystical woman manifests in a glowing aura and calmly reveals that talents and professionals are one and the same. She passionately describes talent as an innate power essential to one's being, emphasizing its importance. A mystical entity explains that any summoned being cannot harm the summoner. A golden armored figure explains that, despite appearing independent, absolute obedience is required. During a fierce test in battle, Even powerful mind control could not force the summoned warrior to attack its own summoner, as it broke free from its restraints. While discussing the threat of summoned creatures, one person questions if even an abyss demon could be handled. A cloaked figure reveals that some abyss demons have allied with humans, volunteering to serve as spies against their own kind. One man questions another about gaining an unusual talent, but the other quickly redirects suspicion by claiming it was a teammate, not himself. He weighs the risk of the Alliance discovering his intentions as he considers the consequences of bringing bionic tears to the Forgotten Lair, while recalling how a summon being recognized his entry pass and offered to join him. A suited man with glasses leans forward and questions whether the object also has the pass. Yilin hesitates, doubting whether the information he received is actually true. One man reassures the other that he may take the item as long as the Alliance is informed in advance. A glowing entity is being evaluated inside a high-tech summoning chamber as the Alliance considers its origins and potential. An authoritative man explains that the Alliance will support and invest in talented individuals rather than investigating them. He admits his frustration about feeling powerless over the situation. After Yilin finishes his questions, the man across from him asks to begin his own. A document containing the autopsy report of Mei Gao as an abyss demon is revealed. An official reveals that a special magical attack was identified as the true cause of death. A grotesque figure collapses as all its cells and organs fail at once, leaving its body smoking and lifeless. A stern man behind a desk questions someone off-panel about possessing an anti-heal talent, while holding a file labeled number 31 Mei Gao. Yilin reviews the documents and reveals that his awakened talent is anti-heal. A man with glasses ends the argument confidently. Three men confront each other as one is aggressively questioned about his involvement in Mei Gao's wounds and whether he truly deserves recognition. Caught off guard, he scratches his head in confusion. A man at the desk challenges the other's awareness about the bounties on abyss demons. An elder presents a glowing crown as a symbol of recognition for defeating an abyss demon. A man informs the young protagonist about an upcoming ceremony where valuable rewards, including platinum rank equipment and rare items, will be offered. Yilin asks for time to consider before sending his list. The protagonist respectfully requests permission to leave so he can join his teammates for dungeon clearing. Yilin receives encouragement from an older man as he prepares for his professional exam. A man in a suit urges someone to achieve first place for the honor of Jiang City. Yilin nods with determination and promises to do his best. The young man calmly confronts the older man about placing bets, making him laugh nervously. The academy stands quietly under the warm afternoon sun, signaling the start of a new scene. Someone notices a figure searching the courtyard and calls out to ask why they are looking for them. A cheerful girl turns and smiles brightly, catching someone's attention. She urgently hands over a thick folder of documents, determined to convince the person off-panel. He reflects on the trust placed in him and resolves to make a careful plan to protect his ally. One character reassures the other and promises to guide them to the next challenge once their talent improves. He advises the other person to consider changing professions based on his calculated data. Filled with excitement, she eagerly promises to prepare for the upcoming task. One character dashes ahead down the city street, determined to continue before their fatigue reaches its limit, while another calls out in concern. Suppressing his frustration, the mentor decides not to criticize and lets the kid continue undeterred. Someone reviews physical data and previous battle records while another stands ready for combat, gripping a massive sword amid swirling energy. A lone figure analyzes detailed gameplay data at a glowing computer in the dark. Reviewing the data, he notes that Baiji's information is unreliable due to the small sample size from the last instance. Yilin critically assesses that Baiji's only notable contribution so far is the luck buff. A character prepares a strategy to help someone pass the job transfer test without exposing her abilities. A lone contender prepares to battle a monstrous obstacle in the job transfer test, knowing that luck alone will not secure victory. A hidden community operates in the depths of the underground city. A hand forcefully puts out a cigarette amid swirling smoke. A man in sunglasses announces that Lord Mei Gao has been killed. The armored man declares his intent to hunt down the person responsible for Lord Mei Gao's death. A menacing figure proposes eliminating their target to his accomplice in the shadows. A confident young man warns that revealing abyssal power will quickly attract encirclement by Alliance spies. Two figures interrogate a restrained captive, pressing him with questions about the impossibility of escape. A woman calmly questions who will take command next and whether the assassination plan should proceed. A stern man in sunglasses commands the muscular, bandaged man to carry out the order. Unfazed by the recent death, the man confidently suggests using cunning tactics to advance their plans. A sinister man conjures a flaming skull artifact, preparing to sabotage the final test. A dangerous artifact is introduced, capable of transforming any secret realm into a disaster-level challenge and summoning its boss permanently. An unseen force will intervene to handle both the original target and the extra student. A man questions the master's choice to use a valuable item, suggesting they could gain powerful equipment or win by attacking together. A large, bald man reacts in shock to a sudden event. A powerful figure interrupts the assassination attempt, confronting the startled group with a burst of energy. Yilin confronts his opponent, accusing them of eagerly offering themselves up. Leaning back with a wine glass, Mumu tries to defuse the tension with playful words. A woman playfully teases someone for always making fun of another's straightforwardness. A muscular man glares intensely, bracing himself to confront an approaching threat. One character lashes out at a teammate, blaming the group's troubles on a newcomer and escalating the tension at the table. An imposing man towers over someone, aggressively demanding they stand up. A muscular character bows deeply under a spotlight, desperately begging for forgiveness. One character seizes another by the head and forcefully urges them not to give up, insisting they are stronger and capable of more. A surge of green energy erupts, engulfing the scene as a woman reacts in alarm. He suddenly jerks his head around, instantly alert to an unexpected threat. A man in sunglasses forcefully restrains a bald, muscular man by gripping his head. Two figures bow as a powerful supernatural entity materializes before them. A commanding figure announces that a new abyss demon and an evil fallen will take charge following Mei Gao's death. A shadowy figure surveys the gruesome aftermath, surrounded by piles of bodies and a blood-red scene. One man nervously admits they have heard of it, while the other watches the tense exchange. A man in sunglasses boasts about a massacre that claimed thousands of lives, calling it a great achievement. A shadowy figure confronts someone with a challenging question amid swirling green and black energy. A figure firmly refuses to participate in any further actions unless the white clown leaves or is eliminated, citing the threat to their lives. A dark, shadowy figure looms over a tense group gathered around a table, heightening the sense of danger. A man in sunglasses stands tense and sweating, visibly unsettled by the ominous atmosphere around him. A hooded figure surrounded by swirling green energy delivers a menacing proclamation. A cloaked figure reveals that White Clown will not intervene and has come to Jiang City to take over the mission to assassinate Shang Guanyan. A surge of ominous green energy erupts between the two figures, signaling the start of a powerful event. A powerful figure is tasked with escorting Huang Xiaofeng to Underground City, supported by a shadowy ally. A monstrous figure is being recruited as a powerful partner for his rare genius. A shadowy figure commands the group to eliminate Lin Yi after completing their tasks, warning them to stay hidden. The eye-wildering descender is hurled into the secret realm to begin the final test. The enhanced boss monster suddenly attacks, aiming to eliminate the fighter before anyone can intervene. Two men debate whether pursuing Lin Yi is worth using a rare item that creates diamond-level equipment. A muscular man boasts that once they obtain all the diamond-level equipment, the Lord will be able to kill anyone he wants. Despite the threat, the figure's level is revealed to be only 20. A man evaluates the current threat and suggests reserving the bewildering descender for a more significant opponent. A shadowy figure reveals that Lin Ye's recent qualification makes him a more valuable target than the leader of the Lingyun sect. A tense man warns that all of Shang Guanyan's secret protectors have joined him, making an attack by their group unlikely to succeed. A man accepts a sinister mission from a shadowy supernatural figure radiating green-black energy. A monstrous figure rises from swirling abyssal energy, declaring that only success in the mission proves worthiness for greater power. Four figures kneel together, firmly vowing to fulfill the mission. At a public ceremony the next day, an announcer praises a student for defeating an abyss demon and presents a certificate of commendation. A group of students discusses impressive rumors about a top-performing student's future as they watch Mumu confidently standing in the courtyard. Someone questions why Master Lin Yi has suddenly drawn so much attention despite their prior research. A character discusses the ongoing rumor that someone was the influential figure on the forums, though it was never confirmed. Mumu anxiously voices her doubts about whether the abyss demons can actually defeat their opponent. Someone confidently dismisses the threat of the abyss demons, assuring that they are too weak to challenge professionals directly. Mumu sits in frustration, worrying about her ally's safety and hoping the alliance can protect him from the forces of the abyss. On the outdoor stage, the principal prepares to present a certificate as Yilin steps forward to receive public recognition. The principal presents a glowing magical book to the young man, who humbly accepts the honor on behalf of all professionals fighting the abyss. A facilitator unveils an array of platinum-level equipment and skill books, stunning the crowd and leaving the protagonist in awe. Yilin carefully prioritizes powerful, irreplaceable equipment, deciding he doesn't need to take everything. He assesses the 4-piece set, noting it can't be disassembled or easily replaced, and considers the platinum ring's lack of cooldown reduction despite its strong attributes. The equipment is missing the active flash skill, hindering rapid movement. Frustrated by the lack of progress, he laments over the wasted potential of the valuable platinum equipment. He stares in shock as he realizes something crucial. He confidently selects the Belt of Invigoration, Boots of Swiftness, and Holy Light from the glowing artifacts. A powerful Belt of Invigoration is introduced, showcasing its impressive stats and unique healing effects. A pair of Boots of Swiftness appears, revealing their powerful agility and speed-enhancing effects. A powerful Holy Light skill book appears, detailing its platinum quality and impressive restorative abilities. A burst of golden light surrounds the protagonist as he recognizes the legendary skill of the White Spirit Knight. A powerful figure unleashes a reverse skill that threatens to drastically reduce the enemy's attributes. A glowing hand triggers the activation of a powerful skill book. The protagonist demonstrates the combined power of the Boots of Swiftness and Ancient Dragon Necklace, impressing the onlookers with his attributes. The teacher ends the award ceremony and instructs the students to study and prepare for the upcoming examination as one student holds a glowing magical object. An older man explains that the Alliance has arranged protection and public exposure to make it harder for the Abyss forces to attack, while the young man listens and acknowledges the plan. An older man sternly asks about preparations for the final professions test, which is in 3 days. Yulin sets a clear goal to upgrade all equipment to level 10 and ensure every teammate passes the test. A glowing magical shackle snaps shut around his wrist, catching him off guard. An older man reacts as an emergency alert flashes from the device on his chest. An elder demands to know the identities of the young man's teammates, and urges him to follow for a private conversation. The principal questions the student about the identities of potential teammates while reviewing their documents. He dismisses any worries about one person but voices his concern for another. A girl's talent profile is evaluated, revealing her underused potential and her desire to change professions. An elderly man explains that being chosen as a teammate means having unique strengths, but the exam will remain fair. Fiery energy swirls around her as she channels her power, determined to prove herself in the exam. The older man hands over a sealed letter and instructs the younger man to focus on preparing his team for the upcoming exam. Yulin pulls a mysterious document from an envelope, his eyes widening in surprise. An older man presents a significant reward to the younger man, explaining it is also tied to their alliance's plan. A girl unleashes a devastating energy attack against the lizard man monsters in the cave. Under intense training, one mentor urges the trainee to trust her judgment and react faster as she swings a flaming sword. A monstrous dragon-like creature hurls a massive green fireball, unleashing a deadly attack. A fighter unleashes a devastating sword strike surrounded by a burst of green energy. A heroic figure charges forward with a blazing sword to confront the armored enemy descending from above. He urgently urges someone to act without hesitation, affirming their chosen angle is perfect. With a decisive, glowing sword strike, Mumu splits the monstrous beast cleanly in two. She thrusts her arm upward, summoning swirling flames with unwavering focus. Surrounded by swirling energy and glowing fish, the girl receives the goddess of luck's gaze buff and exhales in relief. A radiant figure grants a powerful blessing to the armored young woman as she opens the treasure chest. A golden aura swirls around him as his newly upgraded ability is revealed. A character enthusiastically explains that the treasure chest increases the chance of getting rare, profession-appropriate items and reduces the number of attempts needed for a guaranteed reward. He realizes that the Hand of Luck is a unique passive skill that only she can possess. One character stands disappointed after gaining nothing, while the other examines her repeated rewards from the treasure chest. She eagerly showcases her new equipment and skills, emphasizing that every choice was made following his advice. The mentor reassures the student about the final test, and the student nods in determined agreement. Mumu smiles and kneads her gloved hands together, clearly amused. He quietly analyzes her performance, reconsidering his assumptions about her strength and suitability for the great sword class. One figure confronts another in a barren landscape, questioning whether she is truly committed to changing her path, as a large sword stands between them. Mumu panics and clutches her chest, struggling to respond. One character nervously questions if she did something wrong while the other raises his hand to reassure her, clarifying that he actually likes the great sword. One armored figure acknowledges the other's dedication and varied efforts to become a strong greatsword warrior while offering a supportive grasp. They reassure the younger girl, emphasizing that choosing a profession shapes her future. She is warned that her body is unsuited for the greatsword path and continuing could cause permanent harm, but she presses on alone despite the risks. Startled and frightened, she gasps in shock. He warns that changing professions is not that easy. She warns that the single-player dungeon is extremely dangerous and offers no guidance as the girl prepares to face it alone. One character reassures the other that overcoming this challenge will change her future battles, emphasizing that she will remain part of the team regardless of her choice. She lowers her gaze, overcome by memories of her fallen captain and teammates. She explains that her buff abilities usually only work on herself as the other character listens with apprehension, gripping a massive sword. He explains the significance of the marked map while his companion listens closely. They prepare to face the next boss, setting their plan aside until after the battle. A determined girl announces her decision to participate in the profession change, facing her mentor. She staggers forward, struggling to stay conscious as dizziness overwhelms her. A figure approaches another beneath a massive glowing portal, announcing that they've been waiting for half a day. Mumu grows frustrated as she realizes she can't find her teammates on the eve of the final test. A figure offers something unexpected to another in the rocky, crystalline landscape, while two others watch. Yilin hands an envelope to the wary woman, urging her to look inside for answers. A nervous candidate arrives at the professional testing venue, joining a large crowd outside the grand building. A group of characters watches the boss monster results on a large digital screen while discussing their uncertain futures and upcoming jobs. The group steps onto a crowded city street, taking in the throng of people and adventurers. One girl encourages another, who looks nervous but eager, as a male character watches them prepare for an important event. Two characters quickly turn around, startled by someone suddenly calling out to them. Two enthusiastic spectators cheer from the non-student area, holding up a good luck sign. Two figures stand outside amid a protesting crowd, struggling over whether to reveal a secret to their family. He realizes the information is more tightly controlled than he expected. The crowd erupts as the arrival of the city lord is announced from the balcony above. A serious man announces to the students that the professional qualification exam will be postponed by 3 days. A commanding figure stands on a platform and announces the start of an important gathering to the assembled crowd. In the arena, the group anxiously reacts to news that the final exam is postponed, speculating about a city-wide incident and possible danger. A worried man and a frightened woman react with panic after hearing that alien creatures might have infiltrated the area. Yilin announces that special admission students are arriving in Jiang City for the first time. A new rule is announced requiring every special admission student and their chosen teammates to face a separate secret realm challenge before the final test. A secret professional test is announced, to be broadcast live so all students can observe and learn. A dramatic gesture signals the announcement of Jiang City's first special admission student. Yilin steps into the spotlight as the crowd reacts to his grand introduction as a student from Jiang City's #1 professional academy. The final test is postponed for 3 days as a student is named a special admissions candidate and assigned to face the original final exam alone. A wary man questions the suspicious timing and unexplained movements related to the bewildering descender. A sinister figure issues instructions to place the bewildering descender in the secret realm for an assassination mission, disregarding any consequences beyond their target. A stern young man receives urgent instructions to confirm the target's entry into the secret realm and proceed directly to the base without delay. A character smugly reveals he secretly disabled the mechanism without alerting the city lord. In a tense control room, professionals discuss the risks of being discovered and the possibility of the entire venue being sealed off. Armed guards and a wolf advance through a high-security facility as a dire warning is issued about being left alone in Jiang City to face death. A hand forcefully inserts a glowing golden card into the slot in the wall. A man activates his invisibility and reports that the target is about to enter the instance while checking if his ally has dealt with the threat. A man announces their success as the captive is securely held under guard. A heavily armored man pins another man face down on the floor while discussing their lack of contact with the white clown. As armed figures plot the assassination of Shangguan Yen, a bloodied character remains hidden in the shadows, listening intently. 3 students step onto the central platform as a commanding figure announces the arrival of special admission candidates. The crowd buzzes with excitement as they realize that not even renowned figures in the past possess such a rare achievement. One person confirms the other has already been informed about the upcoming news and instructs them to stand by. Yilin unleashes a surge of purple energy through the glowing ring on his finger. The group channels their combined energy into the swirling vortex as one raises a lightning-charged sword. The group reaches toward the swirling vortex of energy, initiating contact. A foreboding description reveals the group is about to enter a level 8 secret realm instance with nightmare-level difficulty and unknown dangers. The team plunges into the swirling portal and receives a return bone fragment, which enables immediate escape from the secret realm instance. A critical system warning alerts that the return bone fragment cannot be used while under attack, heightening the danger. Red warning signs flash as the difficulty of the secret realm instance suddenly escalates to disaster level, catching the group off guard. The escape item vanishes under the effect of a trap, sealing off any chance of leaving the secret realm. A character activates a glowing power as another quickly realizes that the instance has mutated. An urgent warning flashes across the screen as the secret realm's information suddenly changes. A mutated portal called the Forest of Yan'an, marked as disaster level difficulty, appears in the shadowy forest. The group enters the altered secret realm, preparing to face new threats and survive its dangers. 2 figures quickly organize a defensive formation in the glowing, ominous forest as they prepare for battle. 3 highly intelligent, golden-level monsters form the original final boss, each unleashing overwhelming power. With determination, the protagonist prepares to confront the simultaneous assault and encirclement of 3 bosses, focusing on strategy and survival. Masked figures surge forward as an unseen observer critically reviews their combat effectiveness and skill usage. She grips her weapon and assesses that the dungeon would be manageable if not for interference from the corrupted ones. Yilin affirms his stance with confidence as an eerie green glow surrounds him. Mumu clutches her head in distress, overwhelmed by guilt. A tense crowd of examinees gathers beneath a digital display as the boss challenge is announced and top contenders' profiles appear on the board. From the shadows, a scheming figure glares at the group assembled around the boss countdown screen, silently vowing their downfall. The group cautiously discusses the unpredictable effects the catastrophe bringer might have on the terrain and monsters as they survey the ominous forest. 2 travelers are ambushed by half-serpent people lurking in the dark forest, ready to attack with daggers and blow darts. A monstrous creature unleashes a venomous attack, lunging forward with glowing green eyes. A fierce energy blast overwhelms one character as another cries out in pain. Yilin unleashes a powerful energy attack. A surge of blue magical energy erupts as a dispelling spell is cast. A massive surge of swirling water energy erupts as a character unleashes their hidden power. A menacing green-eyed face suddenly lunges forward, startling the viewer. Amid swirling magical energy, orders are given for a coordinated attack on the 5 scattered half-serpent people to the right. A confident spellcaster unleashes a swirling magic attack, sending glowing butterflies into the air. With urgency, the protagonist directs a companion to attack 3 half-serpent people to the left using a sequence of spells. A blazing inferno erupts as Yilin thrusts his spear, engulfing nearby figures in flames. A monstrous creature is set ablaze by the flame storm, rapidly losing health as the burning effect intensifies. A surge of icy magic erupts, freezing several enemies instantly. A fierce combatant unleashes a powerful, glowing slash toward an opponent caught off guard amid swirling blue energy. A magic user launches a gale butterfly spell from above as their ally moves in to follow up the attack. Amid the blazing inferno, a determined figure kneels and calls out with urgency. A female warrior unleashes a massive fiery attack with her giant sword. A monstrous beast launches a devastating attack, rapidly draining the shadowed figure's health. A fierce attack erupts as one character unleashes overwhelming power while others brace for impact. A hidden archer prepares to attack while the man in the foreground remains calm and alert. A surge of dark energy erupts as Yilin activates destruction mode. A devastating red energy blast hurtles toward the recoiling opponent, forcing her to brace against its overwhelming force. Yilin unleashes a massive red energy attack that shatters the barrier. Yilin orders his team to advance and warns them to manage their mana as the next group of elite monsters approaches. A horned woman confidently activates her magical power, while two allies stand ready behind her in the dark forest. Spectators react with amazement as they observe one contestant wielding a sword and another summoning a clone during the competition. Two students animatedly praise their talented classmate, marveling at her reputation and exceptional skills. A man praises both children for their growth and abilities, feeling reassured about the future. He clenches his jaw in determination, bracing himself for what comes next. He insults the crowd, calling them pathetic and urging those seeking strength to join the abyssal forces. The protagonist rushes out of the venue, his red cloak trailing behind him. A vigilant operative reports that target number 3 has completely left the venue. A masked figure urgently commands the team to confirm the abyss gate's status and prepare to close in on their target. The scene shifts to a sunny view just outside the city, with greenery in the foreground. A commanding figure with a glowing hand orders the armored soldiers to close in on their target. The hooded leader commands Team 2 to start the coordinated operation against the abyss demon. He locks onto his third target, eyes sharp with determination. He unleashes the evil fallen playing card, dark energy swirling around him. Yilin sprints ahead, dodging armed pursuers as he breaks through enemy lines. The examination venue stands prominently behind autumn trees, signaling the start of an important event. Two glowing purple daggers fly through the air and slam into the stone wall. A man unleashes dark power and defiantly declares his unstoppable ambition. A figure steps forward from the crowd, radiating a surge of dark, abyssal energy. A surge of dark energy erupts as the protagonist raises a glowing card and begins a powerful transformation. A character dramatically summons the evil fallen playing card. A shocked figure recoils as a group of armored individuals prepares for confrontation in the background. Mumu stands her ground and issues a 10-second ultimatum to her opponent, demanding they dispel the abyssal power and surrender as armed soldiers aim their weapons at her. Yilin lunges forward with a furious shout, threatening his enemy. Two figures seize the protagonist from behind as he realizes there is a traitor among them. A tense countdown begins as one character counts down from 9. Empowered by magical gear and a universal card, one character unleashes a furious attack on multiple opponents, while another watches in shock. With fierce determination, she orders an attack. A surge of abyssal energy erupts as the empowered figure activates a powerful equipment set bonus. A character raises a glowing yellow card and announces its activation with a confident smile. A red-haired man brandishes a glowing card as an armed figure leaps at him from behind, escalating the confrontation. A blue magical attack blasts into the armored figure, interrupting their spell and forcing their card into silence. A fierce combatant unleashes a burst of fire magic and casts a spell that transforms the opponent into a slow-moving sheep, disabling their abilities. A massive explosion erupts, engulfing the area in flames and shockwaves. Engulfed in flames, he endures the searing attack with determination. A furious figure unleashes a deadly threat, declaring intent to kill as power surges in his glowing red eye. A violent surge of energy explodes from Yilin as he screams in pain. A surge of abyssal power erupts, shattering the ground as the character unleashes a devastating berserk transformation. An urgent warning is given as one character prepares a magical defense against the impending release of the abyss's power. A dark energy surges as the figure activates rapid regeneration and unleashes a massive barrier that blinds enemies. Radiating fury and dark energy, the figure threatens to kill everyone in the venue if not stopped. Yilin unleashes a violent, rage-fueled attack powered by dark energy. A masked character unleashes a shadowy attack as a glowing butterfly descends. Yilin unleashes a devastating strike with the silver blade, delivering massive damage and crippling the enemy's ability to recover. A wounded fighter unleashes a furious attack after being ambushed. Startled, he turns toward the sudden voice nearby. A fierce sword technique is unleashed, radiating intense power. The group urgently discusses the boss moving toward the venomous frog's pond to use it for a tactical advantage, questioning the purpose of fighting the creature since it only provides a buff. A massive venomous frog emerges from the toxic pond, confronting the group as they prepare for battle. A surge of red and black energy erupts as a powerful skill is unleashed, stunning everyone nearby. A figure erupts from the water, unleashing a violent surge of red energy. A monstrous creature lunges forward, stabbing its tongue toward its target. Two spectators in the stands cheer energetically as the battle intensifies. Yilin activates his divine boosted boots and surges forward with blinding speed as a monster attacks. The men react in shock to an unexpected move unfolding before them. A monstrous beast surges forward, wreathed in green energy, ready to attack. Yilin unleashes a catastrophic reversal spell, draining 2,587 HP as red energy surges around him. Red energy swirls around the uninjured figure, revealing he has already healed himself after the attack. A monstrous creature lunges with its tongue, but Yilin swiftly dodges using Blink. The boss monster lunges forward while two players hesitate, causing tension as the threat intensifies. 3 figures launch a coordinated elemental assault, with one confidently displaying a skeletal arm at the front. 2 girls unleash a devastating combo attack, combining a gale blade with a large fireball. A devastating joint attack blasts the unseen enemy, dropping its HP by 25-44. Amid swirling flames and debris, she acknowledges the overwhelming difficulty of the disaster-level dungeon after facing a tough small boss. Mumu confidently explains that the combination technique uses minimal mana and has no cooldown as a fiery spectral figure appears behind her. 2 figures stand tense in the firelit forest, tracking the seconds since they escaped the monster. A relentless fighter unleashes a series of powerful crimson energy attacks against a monstrous beast using the plunder technique. The venomous frog is defeated, granting the secret realm buff, Poison Blade trait. A magical buff activates for exactly 40 seconds as green energy swirls around the 2 characters. A powerful explosion signals the defeat of the monstrous enemy as the armed group watches its destruction. Standing over the lifeless body, she confidently announces the elimination of the 3rd target. With urgency, the commanding figure orders her team to advance toward the Abyss Gate and join the other units for a critical mission. The hooded figure responds curtly while the other character observes in silence. He pulls back his hood and addresses the group, urging them to acknowledge what they have all witnessed. Armored soldiers brace themselves as they are warned that the next battle will be more dangerous than any before. A towering armored demon tears through the defending soldiers, leaving almost no chance of survival. A determined leader urges his comrades to step forward if they wish to leave, then calls on those who remain to protect their fallen brothers' families and defend the city from the demon-plagued creatures. 2 young men in uniform look up anxiously, reacting to something unexpected above the city streets. The leader rallies the armored recruits, confirming their unanimous and resolute decision to proceed. Yilin shouts his approval with an intense expression. 2 figures raise their arms and rally a cheering crowd to charge into battle against the Abyss King. Hovering above the ground and radiating red energy, a victorious figure has just defeated the giant python elite, the demonized spider elite, and the giant wild boar elite, while 2 others stand ready below. Confident after her victory, the powerhouse flexes in front of the leaderboard and boasts she can handle even more challengers. Standing atop jagged rocks, the leader orders the summoning of the giant tree guardian as the first stage boss has yet to appear. A hand lifts a glowing, ornate bell that pulses with green light. Green magical energy swirls as she raises the bell, initiating a summoning ritual. A massive, glowing tree guardian appears and is instantly upgraded to platinum-level power. A startled onlooker witnesses a mysterious figure reveal a glowing magical bell. The group coughs and recoils in shock as an unexpected ability is revealed before them. A colossal crystal avatar appears in the arena, leaving everyone stunned as they realize it is the legendary secret realm boss summoned by the girl's avatar. An enemy force detects their presence, triggering an urgent warning as the group braces for imminent danger. A wild-haired figure unleashes a powerful magical attack, creating spectral copies and glowing runes with the sweeping strike of a large sword. A new enemy, monstrous and mind-broken, emerges wielding a blood-stained sword, ready to attack and kill any intruder. Yulin orders the giant tree guardian to begin the battle. A colossal spectral knight launches from the cliff, unleashing a powerful attack as observers brace for impact. A heavily armored fighter unleashes a powerful assault that knocks the shadowy enemy to the ground, while urgent instructions are given to allies to press the attack and maintain their positions. A powerful ice attack bursts forth as one figure charges forward with a flaming sword in the background. A devastating magical attack strikes, instantly draining the life from several enemies. A determined combatant charges forward with a flaming sword as several opponents are trapped in ice. A massive firestorm spell strikes the monstrous enemy, rapidly reducing its HP as onlookers brace themselves. A woman unleashes a powerful magical attack, summoning glowing butterflies and poison bubbles with her staff. With fierce determination, she unleashes a powerful, glowing sword attack. Blades collide with force, releasing a burst of energy across the battlefield. With all range skills depleted, the character prepares to engage in close combat before the glowing barrier. The shadow of Yanin 1 is defeated and vanishes from the scene. A monstrous figure unleashes a surge of rage, glaring with glowing red eyes and bared fangs. Yilin charges forward and strikes down with overwhelming fury. With explosive force, a devastating fiery attack is unleashed as the charge intensifies. A council reviews intelligence revealing the Abyss faction's plan to assassinate their target and set traps on 2 fronts. A composed figure outlines a cunning strategy to achieve multiple goals at once. A man acknowledges that the group's strategy has shifted to eliminate Lin Yi as their top priority. A serious figure analyzes the enemy's strategy, noting their clever attempt to isolate their target. Yilin mocks the Lord of the Abyss for acting recklessly despite his supposed cunning. Armed figures confront an injured captive, discussing how their ambush failed to deter their reckless opponents, and noting that the group at the old base remains unaware of Bai Xiao Chao's absence. A masked figure exposes that all the good news was fabricated to make them drop their guard. A man in a suit instructs the panel to send someone as a special recruit to the secret realm, aiming to deceive the corrupted group into triggering the Abyss Gate early. A man expresses concern about someone's son. The man reveals that the plan he discussed is actually a test. He explains that the Abyss Lord aims to recruit, not kill, so as long as the target resists, a mole will help him escape once the Abyss Gate opens. A subordinate urgently reports that while their main forces have gained ground in the Abyss domain, A demon tide will strike Jiang's city in 5 minutes. The leader orders everyone to evacuate to the inner city center and assures them of victory without casualties. A character with long white hair discovers a new and unpredictable threat while analyzing a digital projection of a menacing figure. A warrior in green armor charges forward, unleashing a powerful energy attack against the approaching enemies while another figure stands ready behind. Yilin spins around as a glowing figure on horseback charges toward him, brandishing a sword. A fierce flying kick strikes the monstrous opponent, rapidly depleting its HP. With a surge of blue energy, the lone figure defeats both platinum-level bosses using just 5 skills. 2 evaluators critically discuss a student's wasted talent and question his placement as observers from prestigious schools look on. A stern man analyzes someone's abilities, noting high damage, healing, mana restoration, and dispelling skills, but a lack of toughness and defensive techniques. A critical assessment highlights how one man's lack of key abilities leaves him dangerously exposed in combat. An older man warns the group that reckless strategies on the battlefield could lead to instant death, urging priests to avoid unnecessary risks. A man speculates that the new recruit might be hiding his true strength due to his special recommendation. One adult explains that while the student's basic skills are average, his timing, dodging, and tactical awareness earn nearly perfect scores in formal evaluations. The teacher explains that without awakened talents, surviving real combat is nearly impossible as chaos leads to certain death. One man dismisses the significance of a fighter, claiming he is easily replaceable among many geniuses and masters. The man stands silently at the center, commanding the tense crowd with his confident presence. The man analyzes the female student's clone ability, noting its exceptional intelligence, combat skills, and seamless synchronization with the original. A summoner positions herself safely behind her summoned creatures, relying on their resurrection abilities to serve as persistent combat units for dangerous missions. A commanding figure stands his ground as a uniformed officer rushes toward him, drawing the attention of the surrounding crowd. One character nervously listens as another whispers confidential information. 2 alarmed men confront a mysterious figure as a shocked woman observes the tense scene. A leader urgently instructs the crowd to evacuate to the underground shelter as the demon tide approaches. A purple-haired figure reassures the tense crowd while guards maintain control. Mumu anxiously warns the serious-looking man about the possibility of another demon tide emerging in the crowded area. The confident man urges his companion to move forward, trusting the Demon Tide Alliance's abilities. A digital message announces the shadows of Yan'an have been defeated and a new map has opened. A hand raises an ornate scroll, preparing to reveal its purpose. A massive sword is presented to the protagonist by an ally, while others watch in anticipation. Sensing increased danger in the newly opened map, the concerned ally urgently hands over a guardian barrier scroll for protection. A cloaked figure calmly instructs the tense swordswoman to save the artifact for emergencies if it is not used now. The group decides to split up, with one person staying behind with Mumu, while another leaves with the giant tree guardian. A massive dark portal opens above the burning landscape as the figures below brace themselves for what is about to emerge. With a grave expression, he warns that the next map is too dangerous. One figure warns the others to stay behind, emphasizing that the unknown danger ahead is beyond the exam's scope. He reminds everyone that he was the one who used the giant tree guardian. 2 women silently lock eyes while a third person watches in confusion. A character forcefully orders the others to take the targets with them as they move into action. Yilin freezes in shock, struggling to process the unexpected situation. He reluctantly agrees to the group's request as the others cheer in celebration. 2 figures leap into the glowing portal inside the massive tree's mouth. The giant tree guardian, boosted by multiple enhancements, unleashes its full power in a surge of energy. A figure in red armor charges forward, crackling with purple lightning energy. A group of black-armored puppet swordsmen wielding curved blades appears, radiating an ominous purple energy. Surging with energy, the protagonist charges directly at the line of black-armored puppet archers. A devastating attack slams into the armored monster, unleashing a burst of energy. A deadly black-armored puppet swordsman general appears, revealing its power to summon limitless puppet soldiers and its intent to eliminate all enemies. Perched atop the giant tree creature, the confident figure announces readiness to defeat the foes swiftly. He halts, sensing that something is wrong ahead. A determined figure unleashes a surge of red energy to expose hidden enemies lurking in the darkness. A colossal pillar of energy slams into the ground, annihilating everything in its path. A powerful puppet ninja general appears, ready for battle with deadly skills and a drawn katana. A wary man scrutinizes the arrival of another male-female pair. A focused leader swiftly directs the team to counter the bosses and prepares to confront the ninja in the crimson-lit arena. The masked, armored figure unleashes a devastating slash at the monstrous plant-like foe, overwhelming any resistance. A powerful figure initiates a summoning ritual, raising a glowing orb as dark energy gathers. Armored warriors advance through the storm, preparing to confront their enemy. Unleashing a surge of red energy, the lead fighter activates a devastating attack against the armed opponents. A devastating burst of red energy obliterates the shadowy enemies, leaving only the white-haired figure standing. He clenches his fist and steels himself for the challenge ahead. A caped figure throws a smoke bomb and uses the cover to escape. The leader signals for the next teammate to take action. An intense, butterfly-shaped energy attack is unleashed midair, catching an opponent directly in its path. The boss of the secret realm falls as the victorious figure stands amidst the aftermath of a powerful attack. A heavily armored warrior strikes a monstrous enemy with a powerful blow, sending energy surging through the clash. The black armored puppet swordsman general, cornered in a desperate situation, prepares to summon additional puppet soldiers. Yulin casts a dark spell that sends swirling energy toward the armored enemies. The boss collapses in a surge of red energy as the system announces its defeat. Armed figures and a wolf-like creature approach a fortified underground shelter guarded by soldiers. A massive area spell erupts from the center, leaving the crowd stunned as the boss loses over half its health in an instant. A group watches in shock as the older man realizes someone may possess a legendary tier DPS talent. An older man anxiously considers the possibility of encountering a god tier awakened talent. A hand adorned with a blue gemstone ring firmly grabs someone's shoulder, signaling a decisive confrontation. A composed man checks on the older man's condition and praises the exceptional talent of a student named Lin Yi. A group of adults enthusiastically prepares to compete for the opportunity to recruit a highly talented individual. Spotting ominous black energy in the sky, the group urgently moves in Lin Ye's direction. He grips the chain tightly and prepares to face what lies ahead. A tree-like figure urgently warns the caped man that powerful enemies are approaching. A shadowy figure with glowing eyes steps out from the swirling dark mist. The Annihilation which materializes with her minions, radiating a wave of ominous power. A warning appears announcing that enemy power in the secret realm has risen due to the catastrophe bringer, while a confident woman smirks above the alert. The protagonist confronts a powerful witch clone and urgently asks the mystical tree entity for information about this dangerous boss. He quickly assesses that the enemy is both a clone and an unidentified boss, likely a summoned entity. A confident woman reveals that the data confirms the presence of a clone as several masked figures with glowing eyes stand nearby. With unwavering resolve, he confronts the colossal, lightning-charged entity, gripping his glowing spear. He stands amid the lingering red energy, reflecting on the aftermath of the fierce battle. A sly smirk reveals sharp fangs as she expresses newfound interest. Supernatural figures descend from the sky to confront the giant tree guardian and the two onlookers. She realizes a clue has just been revealed. A menacing creature with glowing eyes reveals its presence, radiating an intense aura. A mysterious female figure unleashes a surge of magical energy, her glowing yellow eyes focused intently. A tense standoff unfolds as one character steps in to prevent a confrontation between the others. She shakes her head with glowing eyes, silently rejecting what was proposed. An armored figure is revealed to share the same magical mark as the observer, raising questions about their connection. The armored figure questions the magical girl about the mark as they discuss its connection to the Forgotten Nest Pass. Mumu stands amidst swirling magical energy and offers to let her opponent pass this stage without a challenge. Swallowed by swirling purple energy, the group is abruptly transported through the ominous portal. The Annihilation which vanishes from the battlefield in a surge of purple energy. The two stand in confusion as one tries to make sense of the escape and wonders if the missing person is also connected to the Forgotten Nest. She studies the unfamiliar girl and notices several origin marks, including the Forgotten Nest. A character realizes that the mysterious intruder shares the same power and aura as the catastrophe bringer, suggesting she is the source that altered the secret realm. The character considers that questioning the giant tree guardian is pointless, since it likely holds no important memories. Yulin decisively urges the group to set aside concerns about the Annihilation which and focus on the immediate situation. The two stand before the chained, glowing portal, realizing the true enemy has yet to appear as the instance remains uncleared. Yulin reaches forward in the tense atmosphere, calling out for Mumu. Two figures land beside their armed ally on the glowing ground, urgently regrouping after sensing a dangerous shift in their surroundings. One character reassures another, expressing relief that they are safe after a distressing event. The black armored puppet mage lunges forward, abruptly stopping the action as intense energy swirls around. A focused figure activates a targeting ability, locking onto the target as analysis begins. The black armored puppet mage surges forward, unleashing fierce battle intent. She panics, realizing she may have made another mistake. He steadies his glowing sword and urges the group to focus on defeating the final bosses. A character unleashes a devastating surge of dark energy, launching a fierce attack. A massive wave of dark energy crashes toward the armored group, catching them off guard. Yulin releases a surge of dark energy, splitting the ground with a devastating attack. A fierce magical blast erupts as the combatant attacks the towering golem. A commanding figure urgently orders the group to freeze the hazardous energy, orb debris to prevent further explosions as several descend through the chaos. A fierce magic user unleashes the ice-sealing technique, sending a surge of powerful energy forward. A cloaked figure is blasted backward by a surge of blue crystalline energy as another character watches in shock. A surge of dark power radiates as an intense eye glows with swirling purple runes. A glowing summoning array activates as black armored puppet mages conjure shadowy figures, alarming the group. A horde of shadowy, winged figures descends from the stormy, purple-lit sky. A massive army of black armored puppets launches a devastating magical assault. She freezes in place, overwhelmed by the sight of countless threats above. The wooden creature urgently asks its leader for the next move in battle. Yulin prepares to summon a powerful ally, holding a blazing artifact with a confident smirk. A character channels energy into a magical card, beginning a summoning ritual. A surge of dark magic hurtles toward the armored knight as the summoning is completed. Yulin raises his arm, summoning a massive, glowing armored figure behind him. A towering platinum-tier dark cursed knight materializes in a surge of lightning and energy, ready for battle. Two allies urgently discuss the sudden power increase of the cursed knight as they face its imposing armored form. A massive armored figure appears before a stunned crowd as news spreads that someone has summoned cursed knight. An overzealous fan's outburst stuns the crowd and leaves the target of their affection speechless. A hostile mob storms forward, shouting defiantly as a terrified girl clings to safety in the crowd. Yulin urgently questions someone about the total loss of contact with their superiors. The group quickly decides to take action despite being trapped. A rebellious figure seizes the opportunity to break free from control and initiates the summoning of the Demon Tide teleportation gate. A strategist orders his armored knight to lure the approaching enemies to their position instead of attacking. A character unleashes a dark curse, dramatically boosting their abilities and launching forward amid crackling red energy. A figure crashes down with a giant golden shield, unleashing a surge of destructive energy. A figure in golden armor bursts through an explosion, catching two hooded enemies off guard as they prepare an attack with glowing energy. Armored defenders scramble to dodge as a barrage of purple energy blasts crashes down, leaving their counterattacks useless. The group successfully lures the monsters into a trap with Cursed Knight, keeping the four bosses at bay for now. Two figures cautiously advance through the darkness, assessing how their enemies rely on weak attackers while conserving strength for the magic circle. A figure in an armored suit unleashes a surge of crackling dark energy as light bursts from their chest. An armored figure surges forward, confronting a horde of shadowy, winged enemies descending from above. With urgency, the leader commands the group to launch their attack. A heavily armored figure blasts a wave of red energy at the demonic enemies. A lone figure confronts a towering demonic entity surrounded by swirling red and black energy. A devastating skill attack surges with bright energy, striking the armored monsters repeatedly. A powerful red energy attack sweeps through the horde of undead, devastating their ranks. 3 elemental spells, poison, fire, and ice, are unleashed at once as the battle intensifies. A masked figure unleashes a powerful glowing attack, striking their shadowy opponent with a critical hit. A powerful force bursts outward, scattering smoke across the rocky terrain. A powerful blast shatters the black armored puppet mage group, destroys the magic circle, and inflicts severe backlash on the bosses. Surrounded by ominous red energy, the protagonist urgently commands the group to attack each enemy separately and prevent them from regrouping. A female character is trapped in midair as dark magic chains swirl around her, imprisoning her with a powerful spell. Surrounded by a menacing red aura, the protagonist unleashes his finishing move, Reverse Healing Plunder. A surge of intense pink energy erupts, filling the scene with explosive power. A devastating red energy attack destroys the black armored puppet mage general. Yilin braces himself as two attackers wielding flaming swords rush toward him. A horned figure defeats the black armored puppet mage general in a fiery explosion. A powerful attack defeats the black armored puppet mage general, triggering a victory notification. Bleeding and desperate, the wounded figure braces herself and summons a swirling orb of dark energy. A single, devastating slash destroys the black armored puppet mage general. A portal radiates energy as a system notification announces the completion of the Aberrant Secret Realm dungeon and the calculation of rewards. A powerful fortune ability activates, instantly upgrading all clear treasure chests to diamond tier as magic energy swirls around the group. A cursed chest materializes in a burst of magical energy. A prompt appears as the group stands before the skeletal treasure chest and selects to open both chests. Several powerful items appear as rewards, including the Blessing of the Stars, the Book of Divine Thunder, and the Eye of the Sun. A character stares in astonishment as a glowing display reveals the extraordinary effects of the Blessing of the Stars skill. A powerful weapon skill is unleashed, draining the health and weakening all targets within range. The group eagerly inspects the loot, discovering several rare and diamond-tier magical items. A red-haired figure leans in to whisper a secret to the composed man in the formal coat. A man with long purple hair asks about the current state of the war in the Abyssal Realm. A red-haired man asserts that victory is near as they arrive at the Abyssal Palace, urging his companion to prepare for the final battle. A group of armed fighters confronts a cavern filled with glowing red eyes as a deadly threat is declared. Inside the room, two allies discuss the dangers of abyssal demons and consider launching a decisive attack to eliminate them all at once. Two figures step onto a glowing stage as the crowd erupts in excited cheers. He quickly assesses the situation, questioning if the target is already in the shelter. 3 figures enter the glowing, rune-inscribed arena as an eager crowd watches their progress. Yulin watches intently as the two rivals face each other before the excited crowd. He stands alone in the industrial building, sensing that something important has been missed. Mumu waves energetically while the other character stands with his back turned in the glowing room. A determined girl raises her hand, proposing a plan to completely annihilate the abyssal forces as the crowd listens. He calmly agrees, expressing optimism about the situation. A monstrous creature suddenly ambushes the panicked crowd, targeting a terrified person. Yulin recalls an alarm upon discovering the presence of tide creatures. Startled by an unexpected breach, the protagonist reacts in alarm. A monstrous creature seizes a terrified human, who desperately cries for help. An urgent warning is broadcast as a crowd is told to fall back and immediate support is requested due to tide creatures infiltrating the shelter. A red-haired man urgently calls for immediate backup through his glowing earpiece. A surge of red energy crashes into the armored monster, forcing it back as stunned bystanders watch in fear. He activates his power with fierce determination. Yulin unleashes a devastating upward strike, blasting the monstrous enemy with a surge of red energy. A tense figure senses a powerful threat as ominous red energy crackles around their outstretched hand. Yulin advances with a blood-charged hand, forcing the shadowy enemies back as two bystanders shrink away in fear. He realizes the tide creatures were only summoned temporarily by someone on the inside. A terrified crowd rushes away as giant insect monsters rampage through the streets. Combatants draw their weapons and move to shield the students as the threat intensifies. A monstrous beast transforms and blocks the path of the advancing group. A monstrous figure lunges forward, unleashing a powerful attack against two armed defenders as the battle intensifies. A monstrous figure towers over her, forcing her to scream and stumble back in terror. Yulin urgently warns the city lord of imminent danger from behind. A dragon-like creature unleashes a powerful surge of energy from its mouth. At the front of the group, a resolute figure quickly reassures the panicked crowd that the wyvern's flames only harm abyssal creatures. A gigantic creature releases a devastating surge of purple energy, overwhelming everything below. Two monstrous insect-like creatures lunge forward to attack. A furious man demands to know if a summoning item is being used and where the insider is hiding as tension escalates in the room. A girl quickly assigns roles to her group, instructing them to watch for new threats as the team prepares to act. Surrounded by monstrous threats and a crackling red energy, the protagonist urgently debates whether to evacuate the shelter or hunt down the insider. Yulin realizes the insider is trapped inside the shelter, and failure to catch them will allow the threat to continue. Monstrous creatures break into the shelter, triggering an urgent mobilization of all combat teams as panic spreads. Amid the chaos of battle, a desperate fighter demands faster reinforcements as a massive dark energy beast threatens to overwhelm the defenders. Yulin urgently demands the presence of professional combatants as a dragon-like threat looms behind him. A soldier urgently reports that multiple demon tide teleportation gates have appeared near the inner city shelter, and the number of tide creatures has surpassed expectations. A panicked man urgently warns that the monsters are too strong and the guard team is unable to help as a monstrous creature closes in from behind. He realizes their group risks being trapped and annihilated as the enemy forces close in from both sides. Desperately defending themselves, the group is overwhelmed as monstrous creatures close in and one ally falls. A confident spellcaster unleashes a powerful magical attack on the insects while her ally prepares to strike with a large sword. Amidst the ongoing battle, one fighter urgently checks if their ally has enough mana, while the other reassures them and instructs a third teammate to take on more of the enemies. As monstrous tide creatures attack relentlessly, the man stands his ground, preparing to fight back. Yulin charges at the monstrous, red-eyed enemy with his black sword as he notes the presence of other powerful allies and combatants nearby. A strategist urgently reports that the local tide creatures are between level 10 and 20, with low magic resistance but high physical defense, suggesting stronger threats may have appeared elsewhere. Yulin quickly instructs the student mages to assist from a safe distance as the group prepares their magical defense. A determined leader rallies the student mages to unite and fight in the midst of the chaotic battlefield. A massive, glowing red blade slashes through the star-filled sky as a devastating attack is unleashed. A devastating fiery attack sweeps through the battlefield, drastically weakening the tide creatures. Two excited characters marvel at the impressive new diamond tier skill that was just used in the dungeon. As a fierce battle rages in the background, a determined teammate rallies the group to take action. Adventurers urgently channel magic to heal their injured teammates. A lone figure braces for a critical battle as mana supplies run dangerously low before reinforcements can arrive. Amidst the chaos, Yulin grimly contemplates the impending disaster as they approach the limits of human endurance. Surrounded by ominous red shadows, he unleashes a devastating attack on the hostile group, threatening to wipe out everyone present. Amidst the ruined floor, one character urgently questions the other about the shelter's supply reserves and delivery coordination. An armed group surveys the ruins as one of them realizes something is wrong while a giant creature with a glowing red eye looms nearby. One of the group shouts in alarm, realizing the enemy's attack is a diversion meant to draw out their strongest fighter. One character steps in to stop an outburst, holding out a hand as tension rises between the group. Yulin shoves a hooded figure aside and pushes forward in the red-lit room. Yulin confronts a hooded figure who appears unexpectedly amid ominous shadows. Amidst the chaos of attacking monsters, one character proposes a plan for the two to join forces and fight their way to the source. A group of armed defenders brace behind their shields as a monstrous, red-eyed creature smashes through the magical barrier. With urgency, he warns that any delay could result in casualties. A surge of glowing yellow energy bursts forth as the protagonist prepares to demonstrate his talent. Yulin is enveloped in blazing energy as he receives a massive boost to his skills and defenses from an unknown force. He reveals his awakened talent, Soul Link, and explains that he can transfer his soul for 1 hour with additional hidden functions. He urgently demands to know the risks and consequences of the offer. He realizes his awakened power is of legendary tier. One character reveals a dangerous plan that will leave her unconscious for a week, insisting her companion must protect her after she uses it. Someone abruptly grabs Yulin's arm, leaving him startled and confused in the dim room. One character grabs another's hand and urgently leads them down a red-lit corridor. A monstrous cockroach mutant lunges toward the group as someone urgently warns them to avoid its splattering mucus. Yulin launches a surge of dark energy upward with his weapon, forcing his airborne opponent onto the defensive. Yulin swings his scythe and releases a surge of dark energy toward the opponent engulfed in flames. Yulin activates Spirit Moon Concealment, causing red energy to swirl as the ability begins absorbing remnant souls. A surge of power courses through the protagonist as all attributes are greatly enhanced. Two figures dash through the shadows, urgently following the lead of the one calling out directions. Two fighters charge at each other, unleashing a surge of red and green energy as their attacks collide. A devastating red energy attack tears through the ground, shattering rocks and leaving destruction in its wake. He reveals that hidden surveillance has always been present, and questions the enemy's decision to place the summoning scroll in the monitoring room. A massive, glowing red sword unleashes a devastating attack, leaving several figures defeated on the ground. A dark and ominous sky looms over the city as the scene shifts to the outskirts of Jiang City. Giant insect monsters swarm the ruined city as a desperate fighter curses their return. Yulin furiously slashes his sword down onto the monstrous creature, venting his rage. An armored figure slams a glowing weapon into the ground, unleashing a violent shockwave of debris. Dark energy surges as the protagonist slams his hand against the wall, furious at being targeted and delayed. Writhing in agony, he struggles to resist the crushing force of the dark energy. Yulin swings his jagged sword and warns everyone not to follow him. Yulin grimly utters the name of his rival, despite his injuries. A muscular man ends his alliance and prepares to leave, stating he has other tasks to complete. One character warns another that although tide creatures will no longer attack, others may now mistake them for an enemy due to their corrupted arm. Yulin grips the glowing staff tightly, ready for whatever danger approaches. A commanding figure warns that surrender is the only option if confronted, while another kneels nervously before her as a shadowy presence looms behind. Anxiously weighing their options, they consider hiding until the demonic tide invasion passes before revealing the truth about the abyssal mark. Frustrated, he rejects the proposed plan and demands a better alternative. The two figures separate, each heading off to pursue their own mission. A confident woman confronts a man cloaked in shadows, demanding an explanation for his suspected betrayal. A stern man reveals he has always been an undercover agent and urges the person off-panel to reconsider their actions. A furious man with sunglasses and a cigarette shouts a threat. A furious man charges forward, unleashing a deadly attack on his opponent. One man lashes out at his opponent, questioning the value of his humanity after being mistreated for his weak abilities. Seething with envy and frustration, the masked man vents his desire for power and recognition. A man urgently warns that relying on the abyss is unacceptable, despite the original intention being good. A devastating blow lands, sending the character reeling from the impact. One character stands confidently and calls out with a playful tone as another walks away in the background. Mumu greets the other person with a confident, playful energy, signaling the start of their reunion. Yulin angrily drives someone away with a harsh insult in the middle of the city. She demands clarification with a piercing, skeptical glare. He abruptly turns, startled by an unexpected disturbance. One character corners the other against the wall, blocking any chance of escape. A forceful blow lands from behind as one character taunts the other for only being good at cursing. The armored character recoils in anger, loudly insulting her unseen opponent's power. Yulin cruelly mocks his rival, belittling their appearance and prospects. Yulin, furious and restrained by glowing bands, threatens his enemy with death. A fierce figure restrains the shocked captive, who panics about the threat to his life. Mumu urgently restrains her ally with a pink glowing weapon to prevent a reckless response, and reminds them to focus on the mission. A shirtless figure unleashes an immense wave of corruption power, stunning those who recognize his rare potential and plot to capture him alive. The character's eyes widen in shock as she suddenly realizes something alarming. One character stands over a battered opponent, taunting him about his broken defenses. Mumu readies herself to step in after agreeing to help despite her reluctance. One character tightly embraces another in an intense, emotional moment. An attacker with a glowing, spiked fist lunges at the shocked woman, catching her off guard. A powerful, fiery attack slams into her, sending her body arching backward. A muscular, bald man launches a devastating, glowing punch forward. A furious barrage of flaming fists pummels Mumu from all sides, leaving her struggling to withstand the relentless assault. Mumu is heavily wounded and all her attributes are drastically reduced. A shocked man recoils, unable to comprehend how his opponent is overpowering him despite their equal levels. A figure shrouded in dark energy threatens to kill the defiant opponent standing before them. Two attackers leap toward the bald adversary in the alley, launching a forceful assault. The bald antagonist mocks his opponents, declaring their efforts futile and boasting about his newfound advantages. The protagonist's eyes widen as he reacts with shock to unexpected news. Two figures urgently press their glowing hands against a muscular enemy radiating with energy. A devastating awakened ability is unleashed, massively increasing damage against monstrous enemies as the battle intensifies. A dragon-like creature thrashes in agony as fire consumes its face. The bald man, radiating energy, rejects any hope of reconciliation and prepares to pass judgment. A monstrous creature unleashes a massive beam of energy at a woman who is falling backward. Yulin channels his energy and unleashes a decisive, glowing uppercut at his opponent. A powerful energy blast strikes the massive shadowy beast as a determined figure attacks. A monstrous creature unleashes a powerful attack, roaring as it is engulfed in blinding yellow light. A giant glowing hand crashes down toward the shadowy monster and the red-cloaked figure, unleashing a devastating attack. A figure erupts in golden light, violently breaking through the magical barrier. The corrupted one lies dead on the ground as a notification declares her defeat. A radiant man activates his power, gripping his face as energy surges from his eyes and hand. A bald man with glowing eyes locks his gaze on a shadowy figure hidden in the clouds, preparing to confront his opponent. A man in sunglasses runs for his life as an explosion erupts behind him. A sudden ambush pins the smoker in place as yellow energy crackles across the scene. Overcome by fury, he transforms into a monstrous figure radiating a menacing aura. He lunges forward, unleashing his monstrous power in a fit of rage. Surrounded by streaks of energy, the fighter charges forward and unleashes the Patriarch Vajra Palm attack at the glowing opponent. A muscular figure unleashes a devastating attack, blasting energy outward with overwhelming force. A fighter unleashes a devastating, glowing punch that blasts his opponent away. A fierce man lands a devastating uppercut, scoring a critical hit. A figure delivers a decisive blow, defeating the corrupted enemy in a burst of energy. The warrior confirms the defeat of the corrupted enemy as smoke settles around the battlefield. Amidst the wreckage, one character questions another's mental stability after finding them sleeping on the street. Yilin collapses to the ground, overwhelmed by pain and exhaustion. A determined man swiftly carries an unconscious person through the city, intent on getting them to safety. A magical flame pulses in the darkness as a call for Black Fist is sent out. Outside Jiang City's north gate, an armored man urgently reports that they are escorting an unconscious ally who was incapacitated by pursuing corrupted enemies. The man confirms that he has already eliminated the corrupted pursuers who were once his teammates. A shadowy figure orders the armored characters to bring the student directly to them and make him an undercover agent, despite concerns about his lack of training. An older man learns that Huang Xiaofeng's corruption talent greatly exceeds previous assessments, hinting he could rise far above a corrupted lord. A character is stunned upon realizing that the king of corruption will gain immense power and influence within the abyssal realm. Wreathed in dark energy, the protagonist staggers forward and resists the overwhelming power of the menacing throne looming behind. With a surge of newfound power, the protagonist raises the glowing scepter and prepares to strike at the Emperor of the Abyss, aiming to end the war once and for all. A man in a suit announces that, after unanimous agreement with the Alliance and the individual's father, a major decision has been made regarding a uniquely talented corrupted figure in the abyssal realm. A calm, authoritative figure asserts that she can grant abyssal power while ensuring its corruption is prevented. A battered young man is held up by the collar in a ruined city as his captor questions his true intentions and mentions his fixation on Lin Yi. An armored figure braces for battle as his monstrous opponent prepares to draw on abyssal power. A confident man asserts he has a plan to unlock the kneeling boy's hidden potential, dismissing concerns about the boy's difficult personality. A boy is held down and cries as his childhood trauma, connected to another noble family's secret, is revealed. Yilin reveals his overwhelming power, causing the battered man to recoil in fear. A determined figure glares fiercely while gripping a blood-stained weapon, consumed by the resolve to defeat a powerful rival. Two unmatched super geniuses face each other as one stands resolute, wielding a glowing sword amid swirling dark and purple flames. Amid swirling flames, Yilin readies his ornate staff, preparing to coordinate a powerful attack. A determined disciple receives instructions from a spectral voice and sets out to retrieve the target through the swirling portal. A muscular man with bandaged hands tenses up, readying himself as he mentions an incident in Jiang City. A character refuses to help after something unexpected occurs. A commanding figure in a crimson cloak appears on the mystical stage, drawing attention as his presence is announced. A character stomps the ground, unleashing a surge of red energy. A powerful red aura engulfs the area as the confident figure advances, leaving the injured opponent stunned on the ground. He approaches the massive portal, observing that the surrounding monsters recoil in fear and none attempt to emerge. Armored fighters from the Alliance defeat the Abyssal Lord and the controlling demons in a decisive battle. He explains that these creatures are followers of the Abyssal Demons, strengthened by Abyssal energy. A monstrous creature's telepathic ability to contact the Abyssal Realm is revealed. With their commanders defeated, the Abyssal Demons hesitate in fear as the dark energy radiates from the dominant figure below. A white-haired figure restrains a bound captive with rope and mocks their helpless condition. Mumu questions the captive's suspicious condition while keeping them securely restrained. A male figure charges his hand with energy, preparing to unleash a powerful ability. The white-haired man asserts that none of the captives will escape and demands strict judgment, as one prisoner hangs helplessly from the ceiling. Yilin examines the mysterious scroll and reports that his ability cannot destroy it. He examines the rune-covered object and explains that it cannot be destroyed or moved. Two figures stand silently over the defeated insect monsters, tension lingering in the aftermath of the battle. Two hostile insect-like monsters with glowing red eyes appear, threatening the area. He studies the creature intently, questioning if it is truly a tide creature. A surge of red energy erupts as a devastating attack sweeps through the sea of undead. The pair quickly confirm that only the hostile tide creatures are being targeted, ensuring the corrupted ones remain alive for now. Surrounded by a fiery red aura, the character unleashes a devastating attack with a crimson, glowing weapon as energy crackles around him. A massive explosion of fiery energy erupts, blasting debris in all directions. Yilin assesses his opponent's overwhelming versatility with astonishment. One character surveys the mostly clear path ahead, raising a glowing red-bladed weapon while another stands silently behind, both preparing for the next step. One character insists on continuing their plan to close the portal, emphasizing that the summoning scroll cannot be destroyed. A figure activates the Spirit Moon's annihilation form, preparing to counter the portal with a crackling, energy-charged sword. Yilin charges forward, attacking the towering red-black creature with his glowing weapon. He unleashes a massive surge of red and black energy upward with his sword, shaking the entire area. Yilin unleashes Spirit Moon Concealment, Destruction form, shrouding himself in intense red energy. Yilin unleashes a devastating, energy-charged sword strike. A surge of purple and red energy erupts as one figure charges forward while another stands nearby, witnessing the attack. The ground trembles violently, catching everyone off guard. He raises his glowing hand and urgently assures the crowd that the shelter's reinforced buildings will hold. Someone bursts onto the scene just as the dragon looms over the group. Anxiously peering into the shadows, she suspects trouble may be coming from Lin Ye's side. A powerful energy attack strikes the portal as one character calmly observes and comments on its strange behavior. Yilin relentlessly drives his weapon forward, ignoring the desperate cries to stop. Someone quickly reaches into their coat pocket, preparing to reveal something hidden. He quickly puts in the earplugs just as ominous shadows gather around them. The summoned scroll suddenly emits dark energy, startling both characters. A desperate figure raises his sword and attempts to close the swirling dark portal, while another watches anxiously from behind. The enemy escapes as one character announces its retreat while another surveys the lingering dark energy. A severed, bloodied limb is hurled into view amid the chaos. A violent magical explosion erupts as one figure shatters the seal with a sword while another observes cautiously from behind a fan. Yilin scans the aftermath and questions if the confrontation has truly ended. He announces the end of the crisis while standing atop the rune-covered tablet. The squad advances defensively through the jagged cave as the situation shifts dramatically. A gigantic purple sphere unleashes destruction as explosions devastate the city below. As the portals begin to close, the fighters charge forward to eliminate the remaining monsters. He recoils in shock, his eye widening as he confronts something unexpected. A wave of mysterious energy sweeps over the city, instantly dispelling all negative effects as glowing jellyfish float above and armored figures watch in astonishment. A powerful technique is unleashed as a shining sword rises among glowing jellyfish in the water. Glowing, ethereal creatures gather around the central figure, radiating mysterious healing energy as the surrounding soldiers watch in awe. Glowing energy from floating jellyfish rapidly restores the group's health, astonishing the onlookers. A powerful healing ability activates, rapidly restoring the health of professional combatants every half-second. A man in armor loudly expresses disbelief at the arrival of a remarkable new student. One character channels supernatural energy over another while discussing the exceptional range granted by the Soul Link talent. A dramatic close-up introduces Yilin as he makes a memorable entrance. Armed men in tactical gear react in shock as a renowned priest descends rapidly from the sky above the city. A character unleashes a surge of radiant energy while invoking a powerful blessing. The lone figure charges forward through beams of light, launching a powerful attack with a glowing weapon. A surge of blue energy erupts over the city as a figure ascends, unleashing a powerful purification skill that engulfs the entire inner city. A powerful group buff envelopes the team, boosting their defenses and greatly enhancing their abilities. A man unleashes a powerful healing magic that radiates across the entire area, astonishing everyone present. Startled by the sudden magical snowfall, the two look up in confusion as concerned bystanders gather around. One figure soars high above the snowy city as another watches in astonishment from below. Mumu reaches out and calls for Yilin, her eyes filled with longing. A surge of green magical energy burns through the tattered sleeve as the attack lands. Two young men are shocked to discover their injuries have healed almost instantly. A reinvigorated warrior declares his readiness to keep fighting as his companions look on in surprise. Mumu cheerfully agrees, expressing her enthusiasm to the other character. Mumu looks up with a bright smile, celebrating their victory. Two armed figures urge their group to act quickly after announcing that the city lord and students have recaptured the underground shelter. A fierce figure unleashes a powerful transformation, activating the Spirit Moon Concealment form's destruction state as red energy swirls around him. Surrounded by intense red energy, Yilin charges up for a devastating attack. A figure unleashes a surge of red energy, forcing another to recoil in shock as the city around them is ravaged. A red-haired man rushes forward to help, ignoring a warning about an enemy's evolving weapon. A monstrous figure's blade begins absorbing abyssal energy as two startled onlookers watch. He channels swirling blue and black energy into his sword, absorbing the power in the middle of the street. A serious man explains that the weapon can defeat tide creatures and grow stronger by absorbing their souls. The absorption ritual completes as the Spirit Moon Concealment's quality improves. A surge of blue energy engulfs the rune-covered blade as it transforms and gains powerful new abilities. A massive sword is thrust into the ground, unleashing a powerful energy wave that transforms the surrounding area and empowers allies while weakening enemies. A powerful skill is revealed, summoning a lunar meteor that unleashes massive earth magic damage and stuns all enemies in the area. A jade seal shield activates, granting all allies a protective barrier that absorbs incoming damage and can stack with additional shields. Two girls watch in astonishment as massive glowing runes light up the sky and meteors fall overhead. Someone is shocked to realize that a kid has single-handedly changed the status of a profession. Two figures observe as young adventurers enthusiastically thank their healer after a successful battle. A squad leader reports that Sector A has been cleared of tide creatures as the team secures the street and assists civilians. All outer city areas are secured as the team restarts the signal towers. A serious man with glasses demands an update on the inner city situation as tension fills the room. The 1st Legion secures the central inner city walls and begins sweeping through the area as armored forces and a massive wolf-like beast advance down the street. The armored leader informs his team that the 2nd Legion is assessing the shelter's losses. A monstrous corrupted figure is revealed to have infiltrated the student group, highlighting the underestimated threat of a possible tide emergence. A uniformed man demands to know why the secret went undiscovered. Terrified citizens rush through the ruined outer city as monstrous creatures with glowing red eyes pursue them amidst widespread destruction. Medics tend to the wounded as the aftermath of the battle is assessed and key figures approach, leaving the consequences of recent decisions uncertain. A distressed man struggles to recall who ordered the main forces to the encirclement. Communication and monitoring equipment are back online as an excited report is delivered. Officials report that there were no deaths or serious injuries in the inner city after the incident. Two men discuss the impressive leadership displayed in the bustling room. The group reviews the involvement of the city lord, Shangguan Yen, and confirms that all their enemies are insectids. He reflects on how the situation would have changed without Lin Ye's presence. The speaker emphasizes that without the hero's intervention, the inner city would not have avoided casualties. Two hooded figures in ornate robes descend the grand staircase, drawing attention with their dramatic entrance. A woman pulls back her cloak, revealing a large, ornate pendant hanging at her chest. A hooded figure launches a magical attack at the flying, one-eyed monster while another observer watches from the rooftop. The group hears that all tide creatures have been eliminated and the city is now focused on post-disaster cleanup. After enduring intense combat, everyone involved is taken to a dedicated lounge for medical inspection and treatment. The medical checkup confirms that no one has suffered any serious issues or aftereffects. While reviewing the advanced medical data, she notes that free high-level recuperation services were provided. A group rushes an unconscious person on a stretcher toward the portal while a worried woman watches. The exhausted young man collapses after the soul link and is carried back to the spiritual realm sect by his companions. The insider is handed over to a strict alliance supervisor for interrogation, visibly trembling with fear. A squad of armed soldiers unleashes gunfire in a dark cavern as part of a ruthless crackdown on those behind the demonic tide. A judge delivers a grave judgment, citing the lack of guards in the inner city and shelter that nearly led to a mass casualty event. Armed guards escort the dismissed city defense supervisors down the hallway as they are taken into custody for investigation. Yulin sits on the hospital bed, troubled by the sense that a major issue remains unresolved. The older man reveals that the Alliance anticipated the insider's plan and reinforced security throughout the inner city and examination venues. Yulin examines the peeled banana in his hand, deep in thought. An injured figure, supported by an ally, recalls questioning the Alliance's decision to send all main forces against the Abyss and remembers a related plan document. She hurriedly explains that she was in the central control room when the incident occurred and immediately rushed over. He silently wonders if the other's talent comes with the drawback of lowered intelligence. He suddenly remembers their bold plan to wipe out the Abyssal forces in a single strike. A squad of armed soldiers swiftly advances as the city's main forces are mobilized for support. One character, supporting an injured companion, voices concern that everyone is missing the same memory, suspecting something unnatural is at play. He scrutinizes the enemy's tactics, questioning why they would risk transferring all their main forces even if defense was neglected. He slams his accusation at the group, demanding to know why they allowed the insider an opportunity to open the demonic tide portals. The group questions why the elite encirclement team stayed behind instead of returning to the inner city with the students. Ordered to join the assault on the Abyssal Realm, the group silently prepares for battle as a stern man braces himself behind his shield. Three sinister figures confront their enemies in the shadows, radiating menace. Everyone realizes they have forgotten the original orders and deployment plan. He nervously realizes that if someone truly possessed such powerful mind control, they could easily annihilate both the city and the Abyssal forces. A fiery, monstrous eye looms over the devastated city, signaling a new threat. He leans forward, about to reveal a crucial realization. Yilin confidently reassesses the opponent's abilities, realizing they are not as formidable as previously believed. A group discusses their strategy for deploying multiple guard teams under the watchful presence of an authoritative emblem. A character warns that abyssal demons may have secretly placed corrupted individuals among the general population. A serious man explains that the group consists of many individuals with mixed backgrounds, but most lack significant strength and have not acquired abyssal power. He explains that this group lacks abilities, avoids normal activities, and only interacts with abyssal demons for missions. Two figures discuss the challenge of uncovering hidden identities and gathering evidence. A stern man outlines the team's preemptive countermeasures against the unstable corrupted ones. The plan failed because no one followed it. A character realizes that a powerful corrupted individual was hidden among the group and that their memories have been erased. A man anxiously questions the possibility of a powerful insider sabotaging their efforts. The man questions why the enemy agent failed to warn the abyssal forces in time, suspecting deeper motives. Monstrous creatures battle each other violently as dark energy swirls around them. He considers the possibility that the real target of the attack was the King of the Abyss. A massive red vortex appears above the city as orders are given to alert combatant alliances about a new, potentially more dangerous threat. In a dim room, a determined investigator insists they must uncover the techniques and tools behind the memory erasure to identify the culprits. A commanding figure urgently orders the assembled personnel to re-examine everyone in the control room. A giant, winged creature appears before two robed figures, alerting them to the risk that their actions may have been discovered. The hooded figure acknowledges that their exposure was inevitable due to their blatant actions. Yi-Lin is evaluated within the ominous red eye as his exceptional combat abilities are confirmed. The fallen Dark Curse Knight's immense power is revealed as the cloaked figure stands unscathed, having earned its recognition. The confident woman leans in and taunts, directly questioning another's feelings toward the human child. A menacing figure questions whether the abyssal demons might target the human genius as Yi-Lin stands resolute within the fiery portal. Two hooded figures discuss how their recent plan was merely a test of their target's strength as they survey the city below. Two hooded figures notice a sudden red energy burst over the city, signaling the arrival of someone significant. Two figures brace themselves as a blinding red portal bursts open before them. A devastating red energy attack is unleashed against the monstrous enemy. Surrounded by swirling red energy, he unleashes his power with unwavering determination. A red-haired character lowers their hood and smugly acknowledges that someone possesses extraordinary strength unlike anyone before. Mumu stands her ground and questions the urgency to evacuate as a fierce attack unfolds in the background. Yi-Lin, shocked and confused, demands to know what is happening. A hooded figure suddenly notices something suspicious nearby. A glowing figure summons a massive tree guardian, leaving her astonished by the unprecedented power. A glowing spectral figure appears, revealing that even the Annihilation who created the fluorescent descenders has been drawn to this place. Realizing something is wrong, the protagonist anxiously questions if they made a critical mistake. Radiating power, the human student commands both the biotears and the giant tree guardian as onlookers realize the extent of her abilities. Mumu studies her opponent closely, trying to uncover the mysterious figure's true background. A bloodied fist slams forward with tremendous force. A monstrous eye erupts with red energy as a horrifying revelation sends panic through the scene. The hooded figure realizes that the prophecy actually refers to the human female student, not the one who defeated the Dark Curse Knight. A surge of radiant energy erupts as the true chosen one is revealed before the glowing sword. A woman lies motionless underwater, clutching a staff as mystical energy swirls around her. One character sneezes loudly, catching the other by surprise. The protagonist notices his phone ringing and looks at it with curiosity. A notification appears, confirming that 1 million Alliance coins have been credited as an unexpected bonus. Three characters eagerly gather to compare the new notifications they've received on their phones. With sparkling eyes, she excitedly announces that she got some too. A wounded man in a hospital bed receives a large reward certificate from an officer as recognition for his contributions during the demonic tide invasion. The armored figure explains that the injured students must recover while preparing to retake their final exam. He learns that the final exam, crucial for assessing physical recovery and mental state, will take place in 1 month. A hand knocks firmly on the door, breaking the silence in the hallway. Yi-Lin opens the door and demands to know who is there. A man arrives and announces that the city lord has sent him as a representative. A suited official hands an honorary medal and plaque to the protagonist, announcing the opportunity to upgrade equipment skills. Someone scrolls through tablet options and discovers a mysterious glowing helmet. The group examines the tablet's crest, considering its significance despite low expectations. The protagonist analyzes his current gear and decides to upgrade his boots and belt for better effectiveness. He examines his magical resistance and realizes the belt of invigoration offers redundant benefits, admitting he only chose it to fulfill the final exam requirements. He decides to replace his boots to gain more speed and increase his potential strength. Two formidable bosses, known for their overwhelming attack speed, dominate the dungeon and intimidate all challengers. The strategist explains that without high attack speed, the enemy's power would drop significantly, making them vulnerable to sustained attacks. While a confused challenger listens, he firmly decides on a course of action, signaling a turning point. A character decisively selects the flame boots and the healing wave skill book from the available items. An ornate boot enveloped in flames is introduced as the flame boots, revealing its powerful stats and unique fire-based abilities. Two people analyze the benefits of flame boots and question the choice of the healing wave skill for its tier. A finger taps a glowing, ornate badge on the table, drawing attention to it. A powerful wave of healing energy surges from the scepter, rapidly restoring the health of surrounding allies. A powerful skill called Reverse Healing Wave is introduced, detailing its effects and cooldown. A focused fighter activates his talent skill, targeting multiple enemies to deliver stronger single-target damage amid the chaos. One man informs the group that while they can relax, he must go negotiate with Shangguan Yen, who is expected to demand significant compensation for the spiritual rhyme sect. A younger man calls out, stopping the older man as he begins to walk away down the hallway. Yi-Lin questions if there are any issues concerning Huang Xiaofeng. The man in the suit steps forward and declares that he will take full responsibility if anything goes wrong. One character presses for information about a missing person, but the other refuses to reveal the secret. One character declines to join the group, explaining she still has responsibilities, while another expresses surprise and questions her decision. Startled, she quickly offers her help when the captain is mentioned. Stepping forward with dark energy swirling around him, the protagonist insists on handling the mission alone while the others watch with concern. A system prompt announces that new universe upgrade requirements have been unlocked, detailing the next conditions needed for advancement. Two groups enter the ornate building, searching for Lin Yi and calling out for the student's whereabouts. A group discusses their failure to locate the missing student. A hand pounds on the door as a stern man in a suit waits nearby. Mumu informs the adults that Lin Yi is inside a dungeon and suggests they wait for him at the exit. She issues a stern warning, making it clear that despite being a highly sought-after recruit, important boundaries must be respected. An older woman urgently warns the younger person to choose wisely between prestigious universities and those with lower standards. She looks up abruptly, startled by the unexpected revelation. A character smugly reveals that the captain has decided to attend Apocalypse University, which is ranked 10th. An official announces that only Apocalypse University will admit her other teammate as papers scatter outside the building. A determined student refuses to compromise, insisting his teammate must be included despite the teacher's strong objections. An agreement is finalized as the team commits to join Apocalypse University. A startled authority figure recoils in shock upon hearing the name Apocalypse University. He explains that university rankings do not matter to him and urges the other person to leave soon. One character angrily warns another not to get overconfident as the other walks away unfazed. An older woman warns that today is the final chance for special recruitment, while a pink-haired girl responds playfully. A cautious figure quietly slips into the dimly lit room, careful not to draw attention. Mumu stands inside, concerned as she reflects on Lin Ye's harsh approach. Someone impatiently checks their phone and sees that their messages have gone unanswered for 2 days. Yilin unleashes a devastating, explosive attack against a group of massive rock-like creatures. Yilin smashes through the stone golems with a surge of red energy. A chained hand activates a reverse skill to eliminate monsters, with the counter reaching 1,500 out of 10,000. Yilin is violently pulled through a cosmic rift, transporting him between two dungeons. Yilin unleashes a massive energy attack, blasting through the horde swarming the ruined battlefield. A surge of purple energy violently rips through the dark forest, obliterating everything in its path. Yilin unleashes a reverse skill, killing hundreds of monsters as his weapon glows with power. He steps toward the glowing portal, relieved the dungeon is finally behind him. He evaluates his progress, planning to complete the monster count before the holiday ends despite the slow leveling. A confident woman announces that Apocalypse University offers abundant dungeon resources, special attention, and is the most suitable academy for their group. The 10 major academies serve as exclusive institutions for nurturing elite combatants, each fostering a strict hierarchy and a competitive network, with the top 3 refusing entry to anyone admitted by connections. He clarifies that the school does not accept ordinary students, even those with connections. He reflects on how the support from others changed his situation. The man realizes that even a top-ranked institution would have dismissed his request for a permanent team. Walking alone on the rocky path, he reflects on how lacking powerful connections limits his opportunities. He reflects on how his recent connections have changed his status as a student. Startled, Yilin turns as someone suddenly grips his shoulder in the tense, red-lit scene. One character urgently informs another that she has located the dungeon exit and asks for a status update. A character confidently explains that clearing the dungeon, which contains 200 to 500 minor monsters, can easily be completed before the holiday ends. The group agrees to attend Apocalypse University together and remain a permanent dungeon clearing team. Mumu enthusiastically assures the group that everything is fine. One character firmly tells the other to pause their training since the mission is already well prepared and there is plenty of time. One character scolds another for forgetting about the graduation trip, prompting a sheepish admission of forgetfulness. Graduates equipped for adventure head out onto the field as their official, all expenses paid trip begins. A massive demonic threat forces humanity to confine themselves within heavily protected cities, forbidding anyone from venturing outside. Outside the city, persistent monsters and small demonic tides continue to threaten anyone who leaves the fortified walls. Alliance forces deploy from a helicopter to secure and patrol a fortified outpost on the city's edge. An arrow flies toward a leaping monster during a training exercise in the forest as a companion watches from behind. He agrees to head into the wild, recognizing the value of the experience. Mumu claps her hands excitedly as the group reacts to the captain's unexpected agreement. Students gather at the platform beside an armored train, preparing to begin their graduation trip. The group arrives at the bustling station, discussing their exam results as 2 students quietly enter together. A confrontational figure demands to know why non-students are present, startling another person in the industrial setting. A confident sect master announces his intention to join the team while enjoying street food with a cheerful companion. 2 startled figures confront a mysterious white-haired person who appears before them. A shadowed figure silently observes a group of 4 gathered on the deserted train platform.